The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey,
What?
let's go!
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for. The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers,
You pig!
damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Sport!
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Commissioner Wednesday, November 1st. Rabbit, this sports program starts right now.
Football!
It is obviously happening all around us, and there was massive news overnight that we will certainly dive into here in a matter of moments, but also massive news today on this program. In about 29 minutes or so, we will have the first and only NHL Commissioner, Gary Bettman, on the program.
Wow! Gary.
Cannot wait to chit-chat with Gary Bettman about what life is like as a commissioner, what's going on with the NHL, what the future plans are, and how do we continue to build the momentum that we currently have for a sport that nobody really realizes how great it is until they get a chance to watch it. How do we get more eyes on hockey so they can continue to grow and be a sport that kids and everybody can fall in love with? Cannot wait to chat with him. We'll also have J.J. Watt on today for his weekly segment. Can't wait to chat with him. Kirk Herbstreit will join us in the third hour in between all of his meetings. Because, you know, he meets with every coach of every team that he's calling in every game and then everything he's got going on. One of the busiest dudes of all time making time for us today because the first official college football playoff top 25 ranking was released just yesterday on the College Football Playoff live show that's hosted by Reese Davis. Speaking of Reese Davis will be with us here in the Thunderdome for our next megacast simulcast on Saturday night. That'll be a take on Red Zone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it'll be a college football frenzy.
Okay.
A college football primetime cover. Basically, every game that's happening on Saturday evening, we will be cutting in and out of whenever things heat up. Now, if it's a little bit dry and if games are getting a little cold, boom, we'll hit some highlights from earlier in the day. So what I'm thinking Saturday night is going to be, hosted by the incomparable Reese Davis, will basically be everything you need to know from the college football day that was in the primetime games that are happening. That's the vision. We'll see if we can execute it. We can't wait for it. It's a beautiful time to be alive, and I'm very lucky to be alongside the Talksu table at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. Con man, love what you're doing on your chest there, pal.
Oh, yeah, nice. The two wolves, the yin and yang, if you will. I know it has something to do with Ragnarok and that type of culture, but I like the wolf shirt.
Well, yin and yang.
Oh, yin and yang, excuse me.
Yeah, I think the Americans messed that one up. I learned that whenever the Olympics were in Korea, and they did a full yin-yang thing. That's at 69.
That's right.
That's that 69
That's
thing.
right.
You know, because one, good.
Yep.
Two, full.
That's right.
You need the one to complete the other. It's love. It's perfect. It's simpatico, like those wolves on your chest right next to Ty Schmidt. One of your best days you've had yesterday.
Thanks. I appreciate that. Yesterday was a lot of fun. Like I said, I wasn't, in the morning, I was very, very bummed that the Hulkster costume didn't come in time because I was looking forward to, putting that on and doing that all day. But my voice in the end, I'm glad I didn't have to do that. I'm glad I got to do the Pete Thamel. He enjoyed it. He came on the show. So, yeah, yesterday was awesome.
I wonder how long it takes for you to just get out of it. Like last night, were you talking to your wife and your baby? You were like, going to get gobsmacked with. Like, how long are you still in the impression, if you will?
No, I kind of just dropped it right after the show because I'd been doing it for so long. So it was like, hey, if I do this for another hour, I will be doing it all night. So I needed to immediately.
That's like draft spectacular nights.
Yeah.
Afterwards, whenever we go off air after we've been live for however many hours, the round one of the draft takes like 10 hours somehow, 32 picks, 10 hours, come spend a year with us. The NFL draft round one pretty much is what that show has become. Cannot wait to see what we're able to do now with the potential hands that we are able to shake in the setup we're going to be able to have for that evening. Always going to be awesome. But your Mad Mel Kiper until basically the next morning, all the way into like the next show. Whenever you're talking, even if we're just shooting some hoops, having some drinks, we got Mad Mel Kiper here joining us. So I appreciate the fact that Pete Thamel has joined your repertoire, and I think he's going to be a valuable piece of this college football season. One half of the hammer, Dahn, Cowboys tone digs. This Michigan sign stealing stuff is growing, growing, and growing. Every single day, somebody on the internet finds something new that we're all going to be incredibly pumped about. Now, it's this dude was undercover on Jim McElwain's sideline of the Central Michigan team. Jim McElwain, known fisherman.
Yep, that's right.
Known fisherman.
Nice boat.
Jim McElwain was one time a wide receiver coach for Michigan. Now his name's being brought into the Michigan controversy because allegedly this Connor Stallions guy, former captain of the Marines, was hiding on their sideline, maybe with recording sunglasses. Trying to get Michigan State signals. Now, I believe what Michigan's going to say about all this is, this captain of Marines, we appreciate his service.
Hell yeah.
Of course.
And he went to the Naval Academy, obviously, and he was accepted to Michigan, always been a Michigan man, wants to be a Michigan man. But whenever we hired him, we said, yeah, we would like a guy that can maybe decipher some signals. He's a rogue agent. You think we're sending Central Michigan to worry about Michigan State? You don't think you think we're worried about Michigan State? That's what Michigan's going to say, and then the entire conversation is going to be like, "Well, Harbaugh, you did reap the benefits of what this psycho was potentially doing without your knowledge of it all." It's going to continue to grow, and every day it's something new. Last week it was against Ohio State, where everybody on the sideline. Go to the sky. This time it's a guy hiding on Central Michigan sideline. And now Jim McElwain, head coach of the Central, there he is, put his head down. Oh, no, camera. Camera. What are you looking for down there, guy in the hat? We don't know. Maybe he lost his contact.
Could have been.
You know, the sidelines are a little hectic and everything like that. But it certainly looked like he was going, whoa, 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 whoa. Like he's an undercover cop. You know, and whenever an undercover cop is potentially working somewhere and they're in the background of a photo, that's not good news. Obviously, NFL teams see this type of stuff. I've seen some undercover police do, whoa, 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 not now, not now, don't need to die. That feels like that's what Connor Stallions was doing. Here's what Jim McElwain, head coach of Central Michigan, avid fisherman, former coach of Florida, and at the University of Michigan as a wide receiver coach, which is a big part of this because that's allegedly how it all ties together. Here's him talking about the hat sunglass man on his sideline against Michigan State.
You know, before we go any farther, we've obviously are aware of a picture floating around with the sign stealer guy. You know, our people are doing everything they can to get to the bottom of it. We're totally unaware of it. I certainly don't condone it in any way, shape, or form. And
we lost the game.
You know, I do know that his name was on none of the passes that were let out. Now we just keep tracing it back and try to figure it out. But it's in good hands with our people.
Yeah, of course.
Sure. And again, you know, there's no place in football for that.
Hell, I didn't even see him. Yeah. I was on the same sideline as him. I didn't see. You saw how good he was, like kind of just mixed in, kind of stand-looking guy. So once again, the story continues. But there's internet people now who have talent in apps.
Oh, yeah.
They're dragging his face from like photos onto that particular face. I saw a video and it's like,
that's the same guy.
Lines up.
that's Captain for the Marines.
Yeah.
That's Connor Stallions. I will say he was never deployed. Okay, when he was with the Marines. I do believe he was stationed in California. We do appreciate the fact that he signed up for the Marines and he went to school at the Naval Academy. I think he was a GA, but this thing's only growing. And this Michigan team is so damn good. It's a shame that this is going to get hung over their head, but it's like, it's certainly real, and it's only getting bigger and bigger. In this college football world, too, and they released their college football playoffs for the first time last night, which is a big deal because it's the one that matters. Now, the general, Bob Carpenter's been right all along.
Yes,
The whole year.
And we feel like his ranking does matter, and people need to take it a lot more serious, especially with what we're seeing now. He basically has the feel of what this college football playoff committee is going to do. This is pretty much where he's been sitting the last like 4 or 5 weeks. But these are the folks that are going to determine who's in the playoff. These are the ones who are going to determine what bowl game you're going to. In the future, there's going to be 12 teams. This is the group that is deciding it all. Heard Boo Corrigan talk a little bit last night about the Michigan situation. He said that's an NCAA issue. That's not a college football playoff committee issue. But everybody from the outside is looking in like, kind of, though. Kind of.
Little bit.
Because has competitive advantage and nobody else is doing what they're doing. So it's all getting a little bit muddy. But Ohio State, number one team in the country in their eyes, I can respect it. 2 massive wins. I feel like if you're the champion, you remain the champion until somebody knocks you off the pedestal, especially if you play your best football game after losing the best player in football. But I don't think Kirby Smart's pissed off that they're number 2. He's certainly using that. And I also appreciate the fact that if you get ranked 3rd in the country or 5th in the country, you're like mad about it.
Yeah.
Super mad.
Pretty good. Pretty good start so far.
Yeah.
The whole top 25 is filled with storylines, and congrats to Oregon being the one-loss team that is represented at the highest. Alabama's in there as well. Kirk Herbstreit last night on the College Football Playoff live show at 7 o'clock on Tuesdays, where they're unveiling that whole thing. He said, right now, the team that I don't want to see, Oregon.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'll tell you what, I don't know if it's just recency bias or not, but nobody's supposed to go into Utah and do what they did to Utah.
No.
Wild.
That is not how it's supposed to go out there. Like, that is a tough place to play. The stats say it. We're not saying this just because we fell in love with the state.
No.
We're just telling you, stats say it's a tough. That team, tough team. Like, tough team.
Yeah, dogs.
Going to be in it. Like, it's going to be a Big Ten type game.
Right.
Whenever Utah's in the game. And instead, Oregon just went in there and just beat the hell out of the team we fell in love with.
Crazy.
We fell in love with. So it's real. A man who is a 9-year NFL vet and has been joining us Monday through Wednesday all year this year. A host of the Man to Man podcast and everything DB, Darius J. Butler is here looking incredibly cool. Hey, you look super cool today, D-Butt.
Appreciate you.
And also joining us, 12-year NFL vet, Super Bowl champion player coach, a Jackie Moon for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but he also played for the Arizona Cardinals, the Pittsburgh Steelers,
Right.
the Philadelphia Eagles,
Right.
the Indianapolis Colts,
Right.
and the Baltimore Ravens. Ladies and gentlemen, a true journeyman. And the only reason why is because he was drafted late, because he had short arms.
Yep.
And a big gut.
That's right.
Now he's got no gut. Properly jocked. Ladies and gentlemen, AQ Shipley. That's an accurate assessment.
Perfect.
How about Penn State being a main reason why Ohio State is currently ranked number 1? That's going to make you feel good as a Penn State alum, huh?
Yeah. I mean, they
respect your team.
And then
They respect your team enough
To put
that
them
it's like
number
that big win.
That's it.
They beat a good team. So that, hey, James Franklin has built a good enough team
Yep.
to impress the committee to put Ohio State at number 1
the banner.
over Michigan, Georgia, and everybody.
Yeah.
Good for, hey, Penn State. We are Penn State. We are Penn State. That's big news.
that was it.
Congrats to you guys.
But then they laid an egg against Indiana and had
They
to have-
won.
and then they had to have a players only meeting.
Oh,
And we know what happens there.
no.
UConn was not in the top 25, but in the next 10
Bummer.
years, there's a chance.
Maybe.
I have 20.
Maybe they go on a run.
Maybe.
Let's talk about the massive news that has happened in the NFL world while we were all asleep, especially on the East Coast time zone. The Las Vegas Raiders here. Just 25 games into a 6-year contract worth somewhere near $60 million. Josh McDaniels has been canned as the Las Vegas Raiders head football coach, and alongside of him, sent packing his GM, Dave Dolph Ziegler. Now, I will say that this was certainly surprising to all of us whenever we awoke this morning. A 6-year deal, especially with Mark Davis and how the Raiders kind of have been run, not saying financially, but financially, you would think they would not get out from underneath a $60 million contract with $40 million roughly still owed after this season to a head coach. Mark Davis couldn't take it anymore. Now, yesterday, whenever we were asked, does Devontae Adams need to command a trade to get the hell out of town? We thought to ourselves, the natural thought would be, are the Raiders going to figure this out over the next couple of years while Devontae Adams is on contract? Do we think the Raiders are going to fire the head coach maybe after this season? Maybe fire the GM? And it was almost felt like we were being sports media people, just being dramatic. Like, are they going to fire the GM? Are they going to fire the coach? He's only 25 games into this thing. He's got a 6-year deal. Are they going to do? Mark Davis said, yeah, I am. I'm sick of it. This means that, to me, Mark Davis talked to probably Max Crosby, probably talked to Devontae Adams. He said, hey, listen, I'm on your guys' side. I'm not on the coach's side. We're going to rebuild around you. We're not rebuilding in their vision. Now, if you do recall their vision, Darren Waller,
Yep.
They're out.
out of the building.
See ya.
Derek Carr, literally kicked out of the building.
Yep.
You talk about Hunter Renfrow and what has happened with him under this whole thing, pretty much out of the offense. You chit-chat about, what's that? Chandler Jones situation. Josh Jacobs was going to hold out. It's like a lot of the things that have happened with Dave Dolph Ziggler and Josh McDaniels, for them to have the lack of success that they've had, they've made some big swings and done some things to the kind of the core of the Las Vegas Raiders. So they move on now. Ex-player, Big Pierce, Super Bowl champion for the New York Giants, who's an old school guy, I do believe. He is now the interim head coach. Champ Kelly, who none of us know, is the interim GM, but congrats to him having the name Champ. I think he's probably going to bring positive vibes in there. Aiden O'Connell allegedly going to be the starter. And if you look back in history, you think to yourself, after week 8, this guy gets fired. That seems pretty early, not only in a season, but in a 6-year tenure that was supposed to happen. So we dug throughout the history of the NFL. Look at some of these firings. That's going to be tough for me to read out. Okay. 1938, okay? In year 2, Hugo Besdick was fired after 3 games. Jeez. Listen to this one. 1968, year 7, Joe Collier. 2 games into the season. See you later for the Bills. How about the team formerly known as...
Right. Of course.
The Washington. Not saying it, obviously. But it is part of NFL history. And George Allen certainly coached for them for 2 preseason games. In his first year, 1978, they said, this guy stinks. Wow. I don't know what they saw. I don't know what the hell happened in these 2 preseason games, but they knew quickly, this guy ain't got it. He ain't winning a Lambeau. Let's get him the hell out of here. 2 preseason games, this guy left. We don't know if he got arrested for murder or what happened, but he was 2 preseason games into his tenure. He got canned. Jack Patera, year 7 over there for the Seahawks. Lane Kiffin in his second year, 4 games in. If you do recall, that got real loud.
On the tarmac.
Real loud. Real like this comes after a USC situation or before a USC situation. Lane Kiffin went through a lot of boom, boom, boom to find himself at Ole Miss right now. I think they're ranked top 10. I think they're ranked 10th in the country right now. Bobby Petrino in his first year, 13 games it lasted. Now he resigned, so it's not necessarily a firing, but I do believe the team was going to fight him. So that was kind of a decision made in a firing spot. Dennis Allen, Raiders, after 4 games in his 3rd year. Joe Philbin, his 4th year, 5 games. Hugh Jackson, 8 games in. Urban Meyer, 13 games in a year 1. That was a long 13 games.
Yeah, a lot of stuff happened there.
In our head, like 10 different things just happened. Oh, he kicked the kicker. No, he was on the dance floor. Shouldn't have went to the dance floor. Like, he got laughed out of the thing. He didn't fly with his team. That was only in 13 games.
Yeah. Crazy. Missed those times.
Those were fun times.
That was a great
Remember
time.
Tebow? Tebow was in there too.
Yeah. Oh my God! Do you remember what he was going to do to this Jags team too? And he goes down to Jacksonville with the Khan family. The Khan family owns All Elite Wrestling, which is another wrestling promotion. And
I forgot about that.
In his first week down there, he goes, "We're throwing this word elite around too much, way too much. We're going to be on the edge. Okay, we need to be on the edge." Elite, everybody's elite. It's like, well, maybe everything's elite where you are because you were actually on an episode of something called All Elite Wrestling.
A guy on a laptop.
Oh, I'm going to need to build a new building too. Remember, he wanted to build a whole new town? I need a new practice facility. I need a new town within Jack's Beach. I need this whole thing. And then the way that unfolds, I bet you the cons were just like, we could have got this more terribly wrong.
How's this guy doing?
13 games, though, he lasted. So congrats to him. Frank Reich, obviously, the writing was on the wall. That was 9 games. Jeff Saturday would go on to be the head coach after him last year. Matt Rule got fired after 5 games. Carolina Panthers kind of have that as his MO with the new owner. Remember, Ron Rivera got fired early as well. Whenever they knew they were going to move on from him, Matt Rule, see you later. And then Josh McDaniels in his 2nd year, 8 games into this thing, he is canned. Darius J. Butler, I know an early firing is a good sign to your fan base, like, we ain't putting up with this shit anymore either. But it is also maybe an early look at who the next person is. Maybe Antonio Pierce gets a real opportunity here to lead this team and see how they do. Mark Davis has done crazier things. But the big story for me is Tom Brady becomes an owner of the Raiders. And then all the people, including Mick Lombardi, I do believe, all the people that came from the Patriots out, and Giants won a Super Bowl, right, against the Patriots. Now, interesting kind of times in Las Vegas. And what do you think about what the future holds for all of them?
I mean, not extremely shocked. We all saw what's been going on in the program. We always talk about
the death sentence that players only meetings are. They had a players in coaches kind of meeting where they air out all the grievances, and then a couple of days later, these moves are made. So like you said, maybe they did talk to those players, Devontae, Max, and say, hey, what's the direction here? Which way do you want to go? You hate to see it, in the middle of the season, especially for the players, because now Antonio Pierce, you got to come in there mid-season and try to, steer this ship. Champ Kelly, he's been around the league for a while in the personnel space. When Rick Bisaccia got the interim job, I feel like most of us felt like, hey, this is the guy. It was kind of like Wilkes in Carolina. That's probably the guy you should at least give a shot with what he did in that locker room with everything that went on that season.
Yeah, Jeff Saturday.
Yeah.
Playoffs.
No, not
I
mean, in the Raiders. Remember, that was Ruggs. That was it was a bunch of shit going on, and he had that team playing. So I think he should have definitely got a shot. So we'll see, what Mark does here. But it's anytime you get a mid-season fire, and that's definitely a shock, especially in the middle of the night, the day after. Same day of trade deadline?
In their eyes, same day as trade deadline,
Wow.
but I think it had passed because Eastern time is the whatever the case. AQ, for these coaches now, do they see it as an opportunity to okay, this is our opportunity to run a team? Or do they say, man, they are punting on this season. This is a move for next year, and we're kind of all in a bad spot?
This is a move for next year. I mean, you are literally just trying to right the ship, I guess, culture-wise, because I was a part of a team where we fired Mike McCoy mid-season as the offensive coordinator, and whoever this new offensive coordinator is that's coming in, you can't change terminology. You can't run a whole new offense. You can't do a whole new install. You can't do all these things. Exactly, just like they had in
Frazier was
Indianapolis.
the only guy that knew the plays. He was 29 years old.
Exactly.
And he got handed the keys to the offense last year.
Killed it.
And same thing, they did the same thing with Mike McCoy, and then Byron left, which Byron obviously came from a different philosophy, the whole Bruce Arians world. You couldn't implement a whole new offense when he was put in. Same thing in Vegas right now, and it's going to be, hey, we're just going to try and right this culture. That's all we're trying to do.
Yeah, and for Antonio Pierce, it probably sucks a little because you look at the Rich Bisaccia thing, and they somehow made the playoffs, and he still didn't get the head coaching job. But I go back to when the Raiders played at SoFi, and Mark Davis is basically sitting with the fans in that front row, and people are walking by like, hey, fire McDaniels, fire McDaniels. And he responds and says, you don't even know what you're talking about. I assume it got so loud in Vegas that Mark Davis just couldn't take it anymore, and he was like, all right, we're not going to the Super Bowl this year. Everyone seems to hate this guy. Like Waller, who's been on, he seems to be just like a great dude.
Everybody loves Waller.
Everybody
Inspirational
loves him.
story.
Yeah.
This guy's awesome.
Really good at football. And if he couldn't make it work with him, and the weirdest part about that is that they signed him to an extension the year before the season started last year. Those guys, Ziegler, however the hell you say his name, and McDaniels gave Waller an extension and then shipped him out of town a year later. Like, how does that happen? Especially in an offense where it's like, hey, this guy's coming from New England. They use the tight ends a lot. Waller's going to be a huge part of this thing. And then he doesn't get invited to a wedding, so he ships him out of town. Like, that's absurd.
Yeah, well, not just only doesn't get invited to the wedding, outs where the wedding's going to be, allegedly.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
That kind of says, hey, 2 superstars here in Vegas are getting married, Ray. I wasn't invited, but you guys can certainly go ruin it if you want to. And I guess that kind of happened, allegedly. We could have asked both Darren and Kelsey, but we decided not to because we want to have a good convo with them. But shortly after that, that was the story for why Darren wanted out, because Josh McDaniels potentially ruined his wedding day. Now his wife playing for the Las Vegas Aces and him being in New York now is not necessarily great, but it was anything to get away from Josh McDaniels, it feels like. And this leads to the conversation of this Belichick coaching tree. And we're trying to put a graphic together, but it's tough to put it together because so that is certainly a part of the tree, but it's tough to put together because the stats are so terrible.
Yeah.
So terrible. It is very, very bad. There's a couple college coaches on there, and Vrabel didn't coach for him, so he's just a player. Saw that tree. We're trying to put a graphic together. But as we pieced it together, it is very apparent, like, hey, is Bill doing everything? So, this is what you have to ask.
Actually.
Is Bill doing everything? Now, he is the general manager, obviously. But it would be a funny scene to kind of learn after all this kind of ends. Like, hey, the offense that Josh McDaniels ran very, very well. Yeah, that was actually Tom and Bill. They were putting that offense together. And then Josh McDaniels just calling their offense pretty much. And on defensive side of the ball, like Matt Patricia, he goes up to Detroit. He's supposed to be the savior, greatest defense coordinator of all time. And it's like, well, was it Bill, actually, that was potentially the one that was doing? How about special teams? You take Joe Judge. He gets a head coaching opportunity for the Giants, and it's like, well, was it actually Was it actually Bill that was doing this entire thing? Because other legendary coaches, and I'm not saying that Bill Belichick isn't the greatest coach of all time. He is. He's also the greatest general manager of all time. But I think he's also potentially the greatest offense coordinator of all time, the greatest defense coordinator of all time, maybe the greatest special teams coordinator of all time, maybe the best running back coach of all time, maybe the best quarterback coach of all time, maybe the best wide receiver coach of all time. Like, I think that is what this lack of success from his tree showcases. But also it might say, like, damn, Tom Brady was probably a very, very important piece to all of this thing up there.
Oh, and you look at Man in the Arena, the whole behind the scenes with Tom Brady, one of the plays specifically he mentions is how Bill told Brady that a defense will come out, it was Buffalo, that they'll show this look. And he found this on Saturday watching film. And he told Tom about this before the game. And that was one of the touchdowns they had. But the coaching records, I believe the two best were Bill O'Brien and Flores. And Bill O'Brien was 52 and 54, and Flores was 24 and 25. And those were the best by far, looking at those coaches. Like Crennel, he coached a long time, and he was a D coordinator too, but his head coaching was way below 500. I believe Joe Judge was like 10 and 33 or 7 and 15. I think he coached more of the games than that, but it's terrible. It's really bad. And Belichick, obviously, he'll get bashed with the Brady thing on how it was all Tom. But when you look at stuff like this, it is just impossible to deny how much better and how much Bill really does do for teams.
AQ, now this is from DraftKings. They put this graphic together, which this beautifully indicates it. I mean, great find here, ZD, around the internet. Saban was head coach of the Dolphins. People forget about that. So, like, that's why he's on here. There's college guys, too, that have gone on to have success that have come from the Bill Belichick era. But I think it's because in college you can act the way Bill Belichick acts without the resume. Like, that's how college football kind of operates. The big thing is everybody tries to implement the Patriot Way. Is that what you think, AQ? And it doesn't work because they don't have the resume of that guy that's right in the middle that's going to be considered the greatest of all time?
Well, I think the biggest thing, we've talked about this a bunch, is the fact that it's easy to implement that way when you're winning. It's very easy when you're winning.
Hey, we'll wake up 5:30 a.m.
Yep.
We'll be there.
Yep, we'll
hey,
do
we
it.
do your little Oklahoma full pad 7 a.m.
Yep.
You got it.
You got it.
Practice.
We're going to go win. But
we'll run that hill after practice.
100%.
We better have 5-6 Super Bowls.
Exactly.
You know, if we're going to be committing this type of misery towards football that nobody else is doing that is winning. You know, now granted the Chiefs do their thing, but the Patriot Way is just supposed to be this, militant, very serious, although Bill Belichick has a great personality and teaches well. But it's like, this is how this goes. Like Mangini, when he went to the Browns, heard stories of him implementing Oklahoma drills Wednesday morning, 6 a.m. for guys that weren't starters only. And it's like, that makes its way around locker rooms. And then you check the records, like, yeah, they won 2 games that year. It's like, you think anybody is looking to go to do Oklahoma drills at 6 a.m. on Wednesdays and have 14 losses in one season? That's misery compounded. So if you don't win, automatically you're just going to get set aside by your entire roster, and it can end quick, as we're obviously seeing.
And AQ mentioned obviously winning, but having your best player, invested and bought in. And Tom Brady, okay, obviously that's our best player. That's the best player in the league. That's the best quarterback in the league. And every day he's bought in. So he's that, that captain, that lieutenant or whatever, right under the general, and he's fully bought into that culture. So that's
Connor Stallions.
Yeah,
right.
that's going to trickle down.
Just like
so
Brady.
if Brady's bought in, if Matt Light, if Vince Wilfork, if these pillars, Devin McCourty, Julian Edelman, all these different guys throughout the years, if they're bought in, then that kind of goes throughout the locker room. We all been in the locker room, so that's how it works. The players start to police themselves and, hey, this is the way we do things around here. And look, Monday through Saturday, it's not going to be great. But when you run out of that tunnel and he runs to the end zone and does his thing, you got a damn good chance. Like, you should win that football game. You feel like that every Sunday you run out of the tunnel. So you can buy into the bullshit. And it's harder when you go and deal with these other personalities. You deal with these individuals, got a lot of money. A lot of them making more than the coach when you in this locker room. It's hard to go somewhere like if you're Mangini or if you're Matt Patricia and go to Detroit, where I'm sure Stafford or whoever, they've been doing their thing, how they do it.
Well, I remember he lost the locker room at one point.
Yeah, you lose the locker room.
Right away.
Guys can't.
And there's no getting it back once you lose.
Yeah.
There's none.
What is it? What the fuck? Like, what is this? We can't do it. No, I didn't
D-Bud.
get it out. I didn't get it out. I didn't finish it.
That was the record.
I didn't finish it.
That's true, actually.
No, I didn't
Sometimes
finish.
Dick Good does let it go if you don't
myself.
finish it.
I caught
Happened to me.
myself.
I did
caught
that
myself.
for you.
I mean,
check
you're
swing.
certainly
I caught
saying you
myself.
caught yourself, but
Yeah.
my ears are saying, hey,
It's like check swing. Check swing.
I got.
Hey.
Yes, he did.
I think me and Dick Good are sitting on third base.
We got to check the aerial view.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, there's no review.
Bring them up.
Yeah. Dick Good's the review.
But yeah, it's tough.
Oh
man. It's tough to
no!
represent.
And look at what we're doing. Look at our first impression,
Oh no.
ladies and gentlemen. Joining us now,
Okay.
Yes.
sir. We apologize. We had a 7-day record going.
Best we've ever had.
This is the best we were doing the most mature show
Yep.
we have done in so long. You know what? I think the reason why it happened is because we're all a little jacked up today.
A little bit.
Yeah.
We're all a little zeked up today.
Absolutely.
Aren't we?
Low on edge.
We're feeling real good today because this is the first time in this show's existence. Now, I know some people just got introduced to us whenever we came to ESPN, and welcome to the Ridiculous Show. We've been doing this a long time. And, we have had a little bit of a following for a while, and we don't understand why either. And this is the first time ever that a commissioner of a league says, you know what? I'll go talk to those idiots. Ladies and gentlemen, the first and only ever commissioner of the NHL. Ladies and gentlemen, Gary Bettman.
Ray.
Thank you for having me, and I think it's great to be with you. I'm getting used to the look of one of our sweaters without sleeves. I do like it, though, and I love the fact that you have your Hockey is Awesome segment.
Okay, commish, two things. I cut this myself, so I apologize for kind of disrespecting one of the tarps. I like the way I breathe out here, but if I was to ever get on the ice, that thing would be all the way down. I'd have the elbow guards. I'd have the thing. I'd do the thing. I would do it all. I grew up in a hockey town. Very lucky to say that. I think a lot of people that are from hockey towns would say the same thing. So the Hockey is Awesome segment is just a very natural thing for me because there's a lot of people that don't know this sport, which leads me to this conversation. How do we continue to grow it? I know you've been the commission's 1990?
93.
Hey, congratulations. That's incredible run.
They're going to keep me at this until I get it right.
Well, hey, we're continuing to build. It feels like we're in the middle of a boom right now for the popularity of the NHL. How do we continue that? What are some things you think that you guys are focused on to get this game in front of more people because it's the best game on earth?
Actually, the attention that we're getting, particularly from ESPN, both for the promotion and production of our games and how they're being carried and scheduled has been great. The Frozen Frenzy was a good element to that. Our attendance, we're tracking for a record year on attendance. And we try to do things, whether it's at the grassroots level or I just came from a press conference announcing the public sale of one of our outdoor weekend events. We're going to put on 2 outdoor games at MetLife Stadium on February 17th and 18th. Tickets went on sale this morning. The Devils are going to be playing the Flyers on Saturday night, and there'll be a concert as part of that evening. The Rangers are going to play the Islanders on Sunday afternoon. The Giants and Jets have been great in sharing their home with us. And so we want to continue to create ways for fans to connect with our game and have a great experience. In addition to that, we've been using technology, puck and player tracking in particular, to bring people closer to the game, inside the game, and create more data around the game. But things like today and what you do with the Hockey is Awesome segment, that helps grow the game, and we really appreciate it.
No, I am a small doofus in this entire thing who happens to love
Hardly.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. Hey, you're all right by me, Commish. I'll tell you that. But let's talk about that. I appreciate the kind words and acknowledgement, but lucky to do it. Let's talk about that stadium series. That felt like a brilliant concept from the very beginning. Obviously, Pittsburgh Penguins have been a part of a lot of them. Whenever you go to a stadium outside, it's a spectacle. There's more people. It's a different view. You introduce that sky cam, drone cam thing. Whenever you see the success of the stadium series, what is the next steps of it, and how do you continue to make it special? I feel like that MetLife, this is a brilliant festival weekend almost of the stadium series.
The MetLife games will be outdoor games number 40 and 41, I think. They're all sold out. They're all unique. We dress up the stadium, whether it's a football stadium or a baseball stadium, and it becomes unrecognizable because it's very hockey-centric and it's themed based on the area and the history and tradition of hockey in that area. What's really great about it is the players love it. It conjures up notions of them as young kids learning to skate outdoors on outdoor ponds. And for fans, there's tailgating, which you don't typically have for an arena sport. And we're coming together in numbers that you're not quite used to because, we play in front of 18, 20,000 people in an arena. But when you put 80,000 people outdoors together, braving the elements, it's really taking the game back to its essential roots. And people just love the experience and dealing with the climate, which takes sports, which is the ultimate reality show, in our case, taking it outdoors and making it even more unpredictable. I was in Edmonton on Sunday where we played the Flames against the Oilers in the Battle of Alberta, which is a 40-some-odd-year-old rivalry. And the fans, it was sold out with something like 55,000 people. It was 20 degrees out, and it was just awesome.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And also the jerseys that get made for the special event, it just feels big. The NBA's... Go ahead.
No, and, we're going to do a fan fest outside MetLife. We're going to have a concert on Saturday night, probably before the game itself, not just during the intermission. It's really a celebration of the sport. And hockey in New York, you've got the Devils, the Rangers, the Islanders. We've brought in the Flyers, so 90 miles down the road. Great rivalries. And hockey is so big at all levels in this area. Not just at the NHL level, youth hockey is exploding as well. And that's another way that the game is growing.
Okay, so let's talk about that a little bit, because I think the NHL, what you guys do with expansion teams, should be the standard bearer in every other sport. You expand into new cities. Most recently, obviously, Las Vegas. They go on to win the Stanley Cup just 5 years later. You have the expansion draft, and you get great players in there. You're at 32 teams right now, obviously. Where do you feel at 32? Are we expanding more? Are we doing, because it feels like that's been a home run for the NHL, and how do we get more hockey towns?
So that's a great question, and I have to answer it two different ways. One, the success that Vegas and Seattle have had is actually no coincidence. Our competitive balance based on our system of the salary cap and revenue sharing gives us the most extraordinary competitive balance. You see it in the races in the regular season to who makes the playoffs. I mean, every one of our regular season games has meaning in terms of getting into the playoffs. And then once you get into the playoffs, as we see, anything can happen. And so we made the decision, the owners made the decision, unlike typical expansions in every other sport, including our own historically, is you admit a new team, you give them a mediocre draft, and there's initial enthusiasm for 3-4 years, but the losing gets old, and then 10 years out, the team gets competitive. We decided, because of our competitive balance, we didn't want to bring in teams that couldn't be competitive. Bill Foley predicted, the owner of the Golden Knights, that he would bring a Stanley Cup to Vegas within 6 years, and he did it. Vegas has turned into a great sports town and hockey town. We were the first ones in. People ridiculed us at first. They thought we were nuts. But we always believed that Vegas, which at the time I think was the largest city without one of the major four sports, there, and people wanted to have a professional sports experience. And now everybody else is gravitating. Obviously, the Raiders came. Baseball's going to come. The NBA is talking about it. I mean, imitation, I suppose, is the highest form of flattery. In terms of moving forward, we get expressions of interest all the time. We're getting it from Houston, Salt Lake City, Atlanta, Quebec City. Expansion isn't on the forefront of what we're thinking about. I take meetings all the time. I listen to expressions of interest. I'm not ruling it out, but it's not something we're focused on or we're pushing to do right now. So we like where we are. We think we have a good balance. And, it also makes us a little bit different in terms of the competitive landscape and even television ratings. 7 of our franchises are in Canada. And so our footprint is a little smaller in the U.S. than the other 3 majors, but we think we're doing just fine, and all of our franchises are stable, healthy, and competitive.
Well, there's one out there in the desert, obviously, that everybody has to talk about, but Phoenix is like top 5 city in the country, and it's that city's beautiful. Yeah. People, I mean, it is obviously a fantastic place, but that's a big focal point, I think, whenever these new cities are talking about how they would treat hockey if they were to go. We were just in Salt Lake this past weekend, and I know it's been brought up. The people, like the Hockey is Awesome segment that we do, The amount of people that came up and were like, hey, we love hockey here in Salt Lake. That hockey is awesome segment is up there. And I'm sure they're not the only city, but that city felt like, and we went to the Jazz game, 251 straight sellouts, 18,000 people in that place. It's like those cities see what's happening in Phoenix and they think it's a crime almost. How do you fix what's going on with the Coyotes, and how do you kind of see that going, Kamish?
The Coyotes need a new arena. It's that simple. And you know, to go through the history of how they got into the situation they are isn't interesting and would take too long. But the point being, the current owner, Alex Morello, is committed to getting what he needs done in order to get them a new arena. And our hope is that sometime this season we're in a position to announce that there will be a new arena for the Coyotes coming out of the ground. That's the goal because, as you said, it's an awesome market. It's top 5 or close to it. And it's a place we want to be. And there are great fans of hockey and of the Coyotes. And we're hoping to work it out. Having said that, that doesn't mean that we wouldn't do well, perhaps with expansion in the future in a place like Salt Lake City, where we know there's tremendous interest.
Yeah, you're in a good spot, it feels like. The NHL is in a very good spot.
We've probably never been healthier as a sport. The game has never been not only more competitive, but more entertaining and more exciting. Great young players. You recently had 2 on your show with Bedard and Matthews. The skill, the speed, the entertainment value. As important, something that I track is I think we're trending to set a record from come from behind victories, lead changes. We're a team that was losing that comes on to win, and it's getting close to 50% of our games, which makes it exciting and fun as a fan to be entertaining. And as a fan, you know, whoever you root for, your team likely has a chance of making the playoffs, which most sports can't say. And then once the playoffs begin, as I said before, anything can happen. Our franchises are healthy. Our ownership is strong. The sport has, on all of the metrics that are relevant, has never been in better shape. We like where we are, but there's always more to do. And we've got to keep moving forward to make sure the game is healthy, that we're relevant, and that we're connecting with our fans.
Should I call you Gary, G, Mr. Bettman, Kamish? What should I call you?
Gary, I like the best.
Okay, Gary. Well, everything you just said was a lie about the Penguins. I've been told we're done this year. I've been told we stink. That's what I've been told. But I appreciate where you're coming from because every game is electrifying. And you talk about how healthy the sport is, how healthy ownership is right now in the NHL. And we're all incredibly pumped because it wasn't that long ago, I guess 2 decades at this stage, the lockout happened. And I was doing some research on you because I'm very lucky to get a chance to chat with you. There are still some fans, I guess, that are very mad at Gary about the lockout. But I would like to say this. What did you learn from that experience? And how do you think the league has become stronger because of everything that happened then?
We were fundamentally in a place going back to 2004 where the game wasn't entertaining. The players weren't having fun. There was no competitive balance. We wound up losing a season, and collective bargaining didn't go very well. I wish it didn't take a full season to convince the union that we needed a new system. We got the system, and that's what's opened up the game, because when teams can compete, and all of our teams can, it makes you play to win, not play not to lose. And that's why the game's gotten better. And what's interesting is, and I know there may be some people who still are upset about what happened, but when you look at the shape that the game is in now, there's no question that what we did, for lack of a better set of words, was worth it. But even when we came back from the year-long lockout, no sport had ever done that, one, we set a record for attendance, we had record ratings, and we had great competitive balance. No business that I'm aware of shut itself down for a year and came back stronger than ever. And that's a testament to how great our fans are, how connected to the game they are, and the fact that they understood what we were doing and what the end result was. And what we're seeing now in terms of the health of the game is a function of we got the system we needed to make the game healthy.
Hey, you should talk your shit on that, by the way, because sometimes some hard decisions have to be made. And in your seat, those ones are going to affect every single team or at least one team at it. And with where hockey is, I think everybody would accept the path that it took to get here, and it's only going to continue to grow. I think you should talk your shit on that, Gary. Tone has a question for you about growing the game.
Yeah, I do. Mr. Gary, I lived in the same city as Sidney Crosby for 15 years, and I don't know anything about him. Now, Connor McDavid doesn't talk a ton. Austin Matthews was on the show, but you don't hear the stars talk a ton in hockey because I feel like it's just part of who they are. They don't like to make it about themselves. They like to make it about the team and stuff like that. Do you wish the stars of the NHL talked more, put themselves out there more? Do you think that would help grow the game?
That's a great question, and I think historically, the culture of our game was more team centric than individual centricity, and our guys are great on and off the ice. And the younger ones, and our teams are supportive of this, as is the league, younger players understand the importance because they are Gen Zs, and they are now putting themselves out there on social media more than ever before. And it's something that we encourage. And yeah, when you look at the things that we've been doing, Road to the Winter Classic, the Stanley Cup videos behind the scenes, we know that fans, particularly younger fans, want more insight into the game behind the scenes and more about our athletes and how great they are and how personable they are. And that's something we're encouraging and emphasizing. And I think in that respect, the culture of the game is changing, and that's going to help grow the game as well. You're 100% right.
It's just kind of been the culture, I feel like. Like, it's not about me, it's about the team, which is very noble. It is very, very noble.
But they also get the world that, listen, they're younger too. They're part of a newer generation, and they're more instinctively out there on social media and, the behind the scenes stuff that we do and what they're now doing on social media, which is now being encouraged, I think is one of those things that's going to help make fans appreciate the players more than they even do and help grow the game.
I think there's people that are always going to be fans of the team. For instance, I'm always going to be a fan of the Pittsburgh Penguins because I grew up in Pittsburgh. My father was a fan of the Penguins. My father's father was a fan of the Pittsburgh Penguins. But there's also a generation that is fans of humans, and they're fans of the people. So that anything that's going to bring them. Austin Matthews was great on our show. Shout out to Scottsdale, Arizona, by the way. Connor Bedard was great. PK Subban was fantastic. Patty Maroon has been on the show. He's been good. It's like there's a lot of great personalities. I'm excited we're getting to learn about them,
Yeah, absolutely. And the more casual sports fans, not just hockey fans, get to know our players and the people associated with the game, the more they're going to love the game and feel connected to it.
I'm a meathead, even though I was a punter. From Pittsburgh. Father was a truck driver.
Hardly. But go ahead. We'll play along.
Okay.
Hardly.
You got it. But my dad, truck driver, from Pittsburgh. Not scared, every once in a while if we have to, even though I was a guy that punted footballs. A massive part of hockey for a long time has been fighting, has been the acceptance of fighting, of like, hey, you disrespected or took a cheap shot on my guy. We are handling this right now. To be honest, I think society kind of needs that back in moderation, in a healthy way, instead of what we become. Now, I know that you guys have kind of leaned away from potential of the fighting being a major part of hockey. Is there a happy balance there? I think there's more fights this year than there's ever been. What do you think about it, and how do you guys view it going forward? Because for me, dipshit in a sleeveless hockey sweater here, love it whenever he says, oh, you want to hit my guy? I don't think so. We're doing this. But I know there's people that feel differently. I understand that there's people that feel differently, Gary.
There is a balance. So let's take a step back. First of all, when you think about the nature of the game, it's high speed. Players are encouraged to make physical contact with each other. It's emotional. It's nonstop. And by the way, everybody's carrying a stick. Fighting in the spontaneous sense tends to act as a bit of a thermostat when things happen in the course of a game, and it keeps the game under control. What's really come out of the game is the staged fighting and the designated fighter. And part of that is because the competitive balance is so intense, teams have concluded you can't have a designated fighter anymore. What you really need is skilled players, and you don't want to give up a roster spot. 80% of our games don't have fights in them, roughly. The other 20%, the fights tend to be spontaneous in the heat of the moment, And I think the game's in a good place with that. We're obviously aware of health and safety concerns, and that's something we've been dealing with the Players Association for decades. But I think right now we're in a good place. Yes, fighting is penalized, but fighting in the heat of the moment is something that has been a good outlet, and we don't need the stage fighting anymore, and I think the game's better without it.
Hey, feels like that's probably the right answer, especially if I was sitting in your seat. But I'll tell you what, when the boys form a circle, and he's got the sticks, and they say, have at it, boys. You know, that's, your sport's the only one that has that. Your sport's the only one that has
happens.
it. Yeah, it's going to happen forever, we would assume. Let's talk about safety of the game, though, because you just chit-chatted about that there at the end. Obviously, devastating thing happened in the hockey world. Devastating.
Horrible.
And I know in the NHL, and rest in peace, by the way, he was a Penguin, so we appreciate him mightily. Got hit with a skate in the throat. Now, this is international. This is over in England, I do believe. There's a full conversation about did that guy do that on purpose, and he has a little bit of a rap sheet doing this. Nonetheless, let's stay out of that. Let's keep with you, though. Rest in peace, Adam Johnson. Let's keep with the NHL. There has been a conversation of potentially wearing a throat protector because there is sticks and skates. Where do you fall on that, especially with what is happening recently in hockey?
That's something that's been an ongoing discussion in terms of safety and equipment and Kevlar, whether it's for legs or wrists or the neck. And to the extent anything would be mandated, it's something that A, there needs to be the appropriate education, and B, it's something we do in consultation with the Players Association. We have a standing committee that meets regularly and studies these issues. And this has been a topic of ongoing discussion, and it will continue to be. Players are free to wear Kevlar protection for the neck and whatever. And I think as part of the evolution, it's no different than what we did with visors. It took us a couple of decades to agree to make it mandatory, but more and more through education, players had increasingly been wearing visors. They were coming into the game from other places as they were youngsters, wearing visors, and we continued to encourage them not to take them off. And then ultimately we got to the point where we made it mandatory. I think over time, as we continue to work with the Players Association, we'll get there as well. And as I said, there's nothing to stop players from better protecting themselves, whether it's the neck or wrists or legs, from wearing more protective equipment. And that's something we're going to continue to study and educate on. But I think it's part of the natural evolution. And what happened in Europe was nothing short of a horrific tragedy, no matter how it happened. And it's something that I think has raised consciousness. And in terms of the consciousness raising, that the discussions are not a bad thing to happen.
Absolutely devastating what happened over there, especially with hockey. But what I think a lot of us learned is, they're playing leagues over there, which leads to AQ Shipley's question for you, Gary.
Yeah, Gary. So obviously the NFL's had a ton of success over in Europe. Has there been any talks? Obviously, you guys have done some stuff in the preseason, but has there been any talks of growing it more into Europe and having like maybe an international series over in Europe?
We do that. We've been doing that. Last year we played in Finland. In November, we have 4 teams going to play in Stockholm, Sweden. People tend to forget 2 things. One, that a third of our players come from outside of North America, and these are some of the most skilled, coveted players in the world. And the fans, the hockey fans in their native countries, are always anxious to see them play in the world's best league for hockey, which is us, obviously, which is why we've been for years taking regular season games and some preseason games to Europe, and which is why we're doing it now. The other thing is, and we're very respectful of it, there are highly developed leagues in European countries, Sweden, Finland, Czech, Russia, and so we're very respectful of the fact that they're developing world-class players, and we try to work collaboratively to use our games in Europe to help grow interest in the game worldwide. And as I said, that's something that we're going to be doing again in November in Sweden. We just played 2, as a different aside, exhibition games in Australia, in Melbourne, in the preseason. So we are probably, in terms of the demographics of our players, the most international of the 4 major sports.
Yeah, let's talk about the most international of the 4 major sports. I assume you have to deal with a lot of different international relations with a lot of these things.
We do.
Yeah. So
We do.
Is that something you have to actively focus on diplomacy whenever you're dealing with, you just talked about Russia. They're currently in a war. There's some other stuff popping off. Like, how do you go about dealing with everybody's different cultures, backgrounds, and happenings currently to kind of run a nice league?
We have to be respectful. Obviously, after the war with Ukraine started, we cut off all of our relationships, commercial relationships with Russia, which was many millions of dollars that we just stopped doing business with. And in terms of our international relations, we're very respectful at the governmental level of what our country tells us is permissible and impermissible. But we try to have relations with the federations that govern hockey throughout the world. We have a very strong relationship with the International Ice Hockey Federation, and we're trying to work together with the IIHF to get our players back into the Olympics, because in addition to everything else that our players do that's important, they love representing their countries and they love international best on best, and we're going to try and make arrangements for Milano Cortina to get our players back into the Olympics. It's a logistic nightmare. It takes place in the middle of our season. It's very expensive, but it's something that we're working on because it's important to our players.
It's right in the middle of our season. It's very important for the game of hockey too. A lot of people watching that maybe don't watch the NHL because they're watching Team USA or their own country. But also, if this guy gets hurt, like in the International Baseball Series, well, Buddy blew his thing, that kind of affects her. But yes, we are trying to make it happen because.
By the way, I pointed out that way. And you're right the way you were sort of parroting me, but the fact is, it's hard.
No, because Gary, hold on.
We were supposed to go to the last Winter Olympics, and then COVID got in the way because we had to reschedule 150 some odd games, and we couldn't take the Olympic break. But the fact is, we do want to go. Because first and foremost, it is important to the players. Listen, we don't make any money by going to the Olympics, and that's not the be-all and end-all. But the fact is, in the middle of the season, you don't see the other leagues willingly taking that on because it changes the momentum of the season. And because of the composition of our teams, our NHL teams, some teams may send 1 or 2 players to the Olympics. Some may send 9 or 10. Coming back from a 2.5-week break halfway around the world means whatever conditions the teams were in, the NHL teams before the break, some are coming back well rested and some are coming back pretty tired. And that's something that impacts the season. Having said that, if we can make it happen with the IOC and the appropriate arrangements are made, we're going to go.
Gary, I want to tell you, the only reason why I'm saying that is because I was one of the people that was like, why are they not in the Olympics? Yeah. Like, it just seems like such an easy thing. I was very loud about it. What a dumb decision by the NHL to do this. And then you just laid out like, there's about 1,000 reasons why it's very difficult, but we agree. We would like to be in there. So I appreciate that from you a lot. And also, I know you have a lot of things happening every single day. The fact that you just took 25, 30 minutes of your life to talk to these idiots in this particular room, we are so incredibly thankful, Commish.
I'm thrilled to be with you. I expect all of you to join me at the 2 games at MetLife the weekend of February 17, 18. Okay. And I hope you come as my guests, and I'm happy to join you anytime you want to have us on the show because I know you think hockey is awesome.
I appreciate the hell out of you. The commissioner of the NHL. We'll see you out there, too, by the way. Can't wait to see the spread in the commissioner. Whoa. Ladies and gentlemen, Gary Bettman. Thank you, buddy.
Yay!
Hey, he was good.
Awesome.
He was really good.
Yeah.
Did all that shit right there. I assume commissioners normally walk into, like, stage questions.
Right.
Nothing. He had no idea. We don't operate like that. Shout out to him. We'll be back on the other side of this 3-minute break with more bullshit. You're the best. Cheers.
He's saying don't go off the top, it's too shallow.
All you're going to hear this stadium do is they put the big paw up, they start shaking it, they go, whoa. Hey, what things are going good, they say, yeah, he loves the defensive side of the ball. He said yesterday to me that this is a blue-collar team. They win it on special teams. They have 5 block kicks this season. The defensive side of the ball, Lynch leads the Big 12 in sacks. But also on the offensive side, Denzel Mims is an absolute animal. He is a weapon. Charlie Brewer, the quarterback from Lake Travis. His dad was a quarterback in Texas. Yeah. His grandpa was a quarterback in Texas. And the people here in Waco just so happen to get a chance to see Charlie Brewer on a daily basis. Hey. Yeah, boomer here is going to mean a little bit different than what it means on the internet currently. And hopefully here in Baylor, they hope they're not hearing a lot of boomer sooner. Everybody wants to be a punter, including quarterbacks. If I was a quarterback, I'd want to be a punter as well. 0 yards on that punt. That's an embarrassing situation. The Dak dance that gets on national television has led to a lot of losses, but you got to respect the hips being able
What sign am I going to make for college game day? Well, I want to make something creative. I want to make something fun. No, to hell with it. I don't like OU. It's so thick. Look how thick that thing is. That's years and years of patience. 19. You're heading right for the boat. Right now? Okay, let's do it.
We are out here on the Brazos River, which you can take a boat to the game. One of the only stadiums in the country that you can do that. It's beautiful out here. A lot of people would say, this is the last time I'm going to be on game day. The last time I allegedly did what I'm about to do, I ended up in a jail cell. Let's go! A lot higher than I thought.
You look like Ric Flair.
It was like 5 feet. I was standing there. That's full commitment, by the way.
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey. What? Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for. The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers,
You pig!
Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Sport!
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Commissioner Wednesday, November 1st, 2023. Hour 2 of this program starts right now. Football is what we normally talk about, but we just got a chance to talk to the commissioner of the NHL, and Gary Bettman. I appreciate the hell out of you, sir.
Thank you, Gary.
Hey, Raj, don't be scared, pal. Welcome to the Thunderdome. The Toxic Table is here at Bosa Connor and at Ty Schmidt. One half of the Hammer, Dahn. Cowboys turn Diggs is here. 9-year NFL vet, a man who played nickel, safety, corner, linebacker. Never a holder, though. Could never be a holder.
I did in practice.
Heard you stoned.
One time.
The greatest kicker of all time.
That's
on my resume.
One time. Greatest kicker of all time. Fired this man as a holder, ladies and gentlemen. Darius J. Butler. 12-year NFL vet, Super Bowl champion player, Coach AQ Shipley's here. He'll host the trenches later, as will Everything DB. And joining us now from an attic in Ohio is a man who was Edward Scissorhands. Just yesterday, had white paint on his face with some emo goth hair all day on ESPN yesterday because he commits to the bit. This man is a father of 10, a COVID survivor, a Super Bowl champion, the all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers. Ladies and gentlemen, Aaron James Hawk. What's going on, buddy? You look a little down today. You okay?
Oh, no. Anything but down. We did a great trick-or-treat last night, man. Like little flurries of snow. It was real windy. It was perfect.
It was real chilly, real windy, he said.
No, I'm saying it felt very like Halloween-ish, where I'm looking around like it was like 20-mile-an-hour wind. It's cold. It started to snow a little bit. It was perfect, man.
I agree. Back in the day, whenever it would snow and we'd go trick-or-treating, it's like those are the ones you remember. You know, like that's South Florida. Ever snow on?
Absolutely. Now, how do you go about your costume? Do you switch it up? You gotta.
What do you mean you're sweating anyway? Because you're running house to house. So you're already sweating. You need it to be like 20 degrees.
Yeah, and we're trying to get from neighborhood to neighborhood too.
Yeah.
We got to get to the neighborhoods with the big homes because they're going to give us the big chocolate. That's where we need to get to. So you're hiding, you're dodging, you're ducking, you're diving. You always think, oh, maybe this neighborhood's going to kick us out because we're not from here. They're going to know. So you're just always on edge. The anxiety's high. Thank you. King size. We knew it. And we're out of there. We're not worried about how cold it is. What are you talking about? You South Florida folks just live in a different mindset.
Soft.
Never worried about that.
This dude had a hoodie on when it was 95 degrees.
Yes, he did.
Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
That was absurd. How's the golf game, though? You look like you're playing
Golf
great
game
golf.
is solid.
That's what you need. South Florida, you need to be golfing.
This shit right here humbled me. And I actually had my best putting day ever this past Saturday.
Here?
Yeah,
Or
Saturday.
nobody
Sure.
was there?
Bet you did,
How many
D-Bud.
witnesses
Bet
you
you
got?
did.
Yeah,
I mean, what? One.
You got a couple witnesses that would co-sign on
Is there
that?
another member of the Butler Birdies?
Oh,
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah,
All right,
okay.
yeah, sure.
But
I got
that's the
one.
last person that will co-sign. The
you're right.
last person that will co-sign some bullshit.
You're right. The Butler Birdies account has been fun to follow. The whole family's getting into the game. It feels like you guys are starting to ball. Speaking of ball, Josh McDaniels might be balling. He got fired in the middle of the night last night. See you later. Same with Dave Dolph Ziggler. He's out there as well. Now you got Antonio Pierce as the head coach, a man named Champ Kelly as the interim general manager. They stick with Devontae Adams on the trade deadline. They stick with Max Crosby. They stick with their guys that they've paid and they want to be around. Now they're turning over the coaching staff and the front office yet again. What does this mean in your eyes, AJ? What are your thoughts?
I mean, they're paying a ton of money to coaches that they've fired, so that sucks, right? How much?
$40 million allegedly over the next 4 years, guaranteed. Josh McDaniels might be a professional golfer over the next 4 years, or he will work for free with the New England Patriots. This is a classic Bill Belichick move. We'll let the Raiders pay him $10 million a year, and we'll pay you nothing. You're an intern.
Yep.
So do you think this was all right to do in season? Are you a fan of in-season firings like this when it feels like, hey, this is not going anywhere we want to go?
I don't want anybody to lose their jobs ever. Okay. Yeah. Now that got written about us earlier whenever we came over here and things happen. Anybody that wants to work, I hope you have a job. We're lacking people with work ethic, so I never want anybody to ever lose a job, especially people that would like to work. With that being said, I'm also a big fan of ownership telling their fans, yeah, I ain't happy with this shit either. You know, and that feels like this particular move because we did see videos earlier in the season where Mark Davis was sitting there, great hair.
Unbelievable.
Super cool look. And he just won another world championship
Yes, he did.
with the Aces just 2 weeks ago. And he's getting cussed out everywhere he goes because of how the Raiders are. He's thinking to himself, guys, just won another world championship with the Aces. You're welcome. Brought it to the town. Nobody's ever done that. And instead, all he's hearing about is, these Raiders stink, bro. This guy ran Darren Waller out of town. Hunter Renfrow doesn't even want to play football anymore. What happened with Chandler Jones? What do we do? That's all he hears probably all day, every day. So I appreciate the fact that he made the move. I don't know what it means for this year. Okay, what do you think it means for this year? This is a punt year, but they got a lot of money on the books still.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a let's set ourselves up for next year. So next year, this doesn't spill in and be a disaster next year. And possibly, though, very, very optimistic that something positive could come out of this year with Antonio Pierce, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
That's the hope.
AQ, former player, coach, 1 year, 2 years. How many years did you coach?
1 year.
1.5.
Yeah, with the player coach.
7 months.
Coach for 1.5 years. Won a Super Bowl.
That's right. Pretty good.
What's Belichick's ratio?
Whoa,
Years
not
coach
that.
to Super
Not as
Bowl.
good.
Not that. Not
I don't
anywhere near there.
I don't know.
Put him in the hall.
Played and coached same year. Unbelievable.
Jackie Moon.
Bill ever do
Bill
that?
never did that.
Never did.
No, he didn't.
No,
ever.
he didn't.
Get the funk
Pete Rose
out
did
of
that.
my face. Get the funk out of my face. Get the funk out of my face. Get the funk out of my face. That's Jackie Moon you did. And Pete Rose did, and he did some other things as well. Actually,
Confirmed.
he actually did. Antonio Pierce, though. What are the chances that he's an incredible coach? You think as a former player, now Jeff Saturday coming in was not with the team all year. He gets dropped in there. Jim Irsay wanted a clean house, clearly, and he wanted somebody that he had a lot of trust and faith in to restore the culture that the Colts were, because from what he heard, I assume, all hell is broken loose. Late to meetings, missing treatment, gambling against the Indianapolis Colts while you're on the Indianapolis Colts. Like, everything was shit pretty much behind the scenes. Somebody would have loved to have that opportunity. Jeff Saturday's the one that was supposed to go turn around. He did not. But as a former player stepping in this moment, what do you think he does, and how do you think he does as the coach of the Raiders interim?
Yeah, one thing that's huge with former players, what they do is they hold people accountable. That's the first thing they're going to
Yeah, but normally players, remember, not. But players are normally players' coaches, remember? Too soft. I don't think
are.
that's ever the case whenever players are coaching.
No, it's not, because they understand what it takes, right? Like, they understand the pulse of the locker room. They understand all of the inner workings that maybe the guys who are never in a locker room don't understand. So I think the first thing he's going to do is he's going to come in, he's going to try and change the culture. And the first thing he's going to do is hold people accountable. Hey, listen, all this stuff we've been doing that isn't working, whether it's late to meetings, and we've heard in other places, obviously don't know if that's going on there. But if that's the case, he's going to come in, he's going to start hammering the fist right away, and then gain the pulse of the locker room and go from there, and now start to develop the relationships with the offensive side. Now you just try and develop culture, because again, we said it earlier, you cannot change things personnel, terminology, scheme-wise in season. You got to kind of stick with what it is and just hope that we're doing it better.
Aiden O'Connell allegedly going to be the quarterback, so they're moving on from Josh, Ziegler, and Jimmy, and just saying, Tom Brady being the ownership group now.
Is he officially?
I think they approved it, didn't they?
Oh, did they?
Well, I just never knew if they approved it or not because there was all that trouble.
I thought they got to a point where they did approve it. I'm not 100% sure.
I'm not sure.
I think because I heard a new, I think they approved. Oh.
Yeah, I wasn't sure because the last time it was like, why isn't he? I didn't think they did because the last time we talked about it was like, why aren't they just letting him in?
The last news I'm seeing was from October 19th. It was still held up.
So the reason why it's held up allegedly is because he's not paying enough money.
Correct.
Yes. So they're saying like Mark Davis is giving this guy too good of a deal, which then leads to like how other teams are going to be sold in the future. It's like Tom Brady, greatest player of all time, would like to get into ownership. The person that owns the team was like, yeah, it's fine by me to sell this percentage at this rate. And the rest of the NFL is like, whoa. No. Tom who? Who cares? He's retired, is who we're talking about in this entire thing. So you're right. I guess Tom Brady's not a part of this at all, but them moving on completely from what they thought it was going to be. Seems like there's another, seems like it's the Raiders.
Oh, yeah.
Merry-go-round.
A long time.
You'll pay another coach now.
And then guess who's going to still be in the division? Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
And then, we're going to do the whole, and then guess who's still going to be in the division?
Not Braden Staley.
Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
Still going to be in the division. Definitely not Brandon Staley, we would assume, but Travis Kelce's still going to be there. Andy Reid's still going to be there.
Yeah.
Feels like there's going to be a lot of turnover potentially in the AFC West. We've already kind of seen it. I assume that happened in the AFC East when the Patriots were doing what they were doing because you're literally staring at the top of the mountain 2 times a year, and you're just watching it take place, and every owner is going to naturally say, why is that not us? That could be us. I need to find it. Well, now you got to pay Josh McDaniels $40 million for the next 4 years. Yeah. Those coaches' contracts. Shout out to those agents with those coaches' contracts, figuring that entire thing out. Joining us now is a man who I assume has a thought or two about this. You see him every once in a while on Sundays on CBS. He crushes it.
Best on there.
He's already in the Houston Texans Ring of Honor, 3rd person ever put in there.
Yeah. Whoa.
He's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Very tall, but properly proportioned, so whenever you see him on his FaceTime, he doesn't look abnormal. Ladies and gentlemen, J.J. Watt.
Yay!
It's a good description.
Thank you. It was a good description. I try to look proportional. I mean, that is a goal of mine.
Yeah, because you're overgrown.
Yeah, for sure.
Like whenever you see you in real life, you're like, yeah. This thing is much bigger than it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Taller, wider, seemingly the jug of the head
massive
is gigantic.
Huge head. Just a gigantic head, figuratively and literally.
No, we don't think you're
talking
you
about.
Don't think you're an arrogant psychopath. No, we don't say it. But whenever you look, you go, this guy's overgrown. But then it's like, oh, properly proportioned. This guy. Properly proportioned. Good for him. Now let's get it out of the way because it's right there on your big forehead. Boy. We can't be losing to teams like Bournemouth.
My
we can't.
God.
Those are supposed to be wins. Those are supposed to be wins. Gumpy, what the hell happened to Burnley? I thought we were supposed to win this past weekend.
We're up 1-0. Top bins had a beauty. I mean, just had to hunker down, close it out. JJ was there for the taking.
What happened, coach or owner? Sorry.
It was a frustrating one. That was certainly a frustrating one. Last game against Brentford, I was frustrated with that one, but then this one, like you said, we went up 1-0, and then they put some pressure on, and we didn't handle it very well. We have a match coming up today in a couple hours in the Carabao Cup against Everton. So I'm really hoping we have a bounce back and we show some resiliency and some resolve here.
The Carabao Cup.
Let's take down the Toffees, JJ. Take down the Toffees today.
Yeah, nearby. It's a battle. This is the manager of Everton is the manager that was previous to our current manager. So there's a lot going on today. It's gonna be a
little revenge game in the Carabao Bowl. The Carabao Classic.
Look
Not
out.
good. Not
That's
good.
awesome. What is the Carabao Classic?
Yeah.
Do we got a trophy on this?
Oh yeah, big trophy. I mean, there's 4 or 5 different competitions going on at any one time.
Of course.
In English football, it's pretty wild. So this is one of those competitions. So we obviously just played Saturday. We played today in the Carabao Cup, and then we have another Premier League match this weekend. So it's bang, bang, bang.
I got good news. Probably not going to be playing on Wednesdays, right? Isn't that the Wednesdays are the
Champions, Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
Yeah, it seems like that's
Champions
not gonna,
League.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, that's a little ways away. That's a little ways away. We're working towards it.
You guys
We're
might
working
get
towards
there.
it.
Close to top 4.
Hey, let's go,
We're working
Burnley.
towards it.
What do we say?
Come on,
Yeah,
Burnley.
let's go, Burnley.
How many games we got left? Because I know we're in the danger zone.
Yeah.
We're in the danger zone right now, right? How many games
I
we
mean,
got
we're
left?
10 games in. We're 10 games in. We got 28 games left.
Oh,
We got
that's
time.
time.
Yeah, we're getting everything together. We're building our chemistry. We're understanding the style our coach wants us to play, and we're going to be just fine.
Oh, execution is the problem here.
It's he runs a very specific style of play, and it takes guys a while to understand exactly what he's asking and to execute it. So yes, execution is key.
Gump, what's the style this guy's running? How come he's not letting his players just play freely out there on the pitch?
I mean, he learned from Pep Guardiola, so he's probably doing the same thing. But you get up a goal, JJ.
Park it.
Nothing wrong with putting 11 behind the ball and getting 3 points.
Park
lads.
it. Absolutely.
I mean, we talked last week. The defense, man. It's the defense is. We got to step it up.
Luton Town lost, though. You're still all right. You just got to jump Luton Town.
You'll be able to beat Gluten Town.
Hey, so
Everybody knows Gluten Town can't do anything late in the season. And you guys are a closing horse. You're a finishing horse.
I hope so.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hell yeah.
How was Utah, guys? How was Utah? Was Utah good?
Better than Burnley is on the soccer field.
For sure.
I know that.
Yeah.
I know that. No, I'm joking. Utah was awesome. We just talked to the hockey commission. Did you see that?
I saw that. I was preparing. I was looking over my notes for my interview, so I didn't get to listen too much. What do we got? What's the best piece of insight out of there?
I'm sure you were looking over your notes, and I appreciate you preparing so heavily.
Oh, wow.
Note section.
It's a pro.
I'm not lying.
Okay. What did we learn? Hey, Gary Bettman's kind of a dog, dude.
Yeah, he's
Little
the
bit.
man.
Kind of the commissioner's kind of a dog. He's the first and only commissioner of the NHL. Obviously, in 2004, they had like their lowest moment. Now they're at like their highest moment. It's quite a build.
First and only commissioner of the NHL. What happened before him?
Everybody's just kind of running roughshod. That's why like the Red Wings were winning games and stuff like that back then.
Whoa.
That's why.
They're still
That's
winning.
why. That's why.
That's why. Yeah, that's why. It's the only reason why.
And 93 came, and all of a sudden the Red Wings were
Stevie
And then who goes
Eisenman,
back to back?
Osgood, Mike Vernon. I mean, what a team. Fedorov. Those guys were awesome.
Thank you, JJ. Dogs.
Yes.
Just
dogs.
those days are long gone.
And they actually started winning when Gary was commissioner, so that's how that goes.
No, we went back to back just a couple years after he like you don't even know what you're talking about, right? You weren't even alive. You weren't even alive. So shut up, young buck.
I got it, Pat. Actually, this brings up a good point. I was having a conversation with my wife about this the other day, and I'm fascinated by this debate. We were talking best cities for where the stadiums are located, like all the stadiums together. And I was putting Pittsburgh up on that mount. I was like right around the rivers. All 3 of them are like, you take that overhead shot with the rivers and the bridges. I mean, there can't be too many cities that have all the stadiums in that
Philly
badass location like that, right?
Philly does have that incredible setup where it's all one parking lot.
Yeah.
Pretty much for all of them.
Yeah.
In Cleveland, they're across the street from each other.
And Cleveland's got that Jack's Casino that's
Cincy's
very
right
giving.
next to each other.
What's that, AJ?
Cincy's right next to each other. The Reds, who are unbelievable always, and the Bengals.
On the river, too?
Is Arizona the worst?
Kansas City.
Arizona's so far away, right?
I mean.
Everything is like,
Yeah. Arizona's out there. It's 45 minutes away from everything.
New York City.
hey, your Diamondbacks also. What are we doing?
They suck.
It was a rough game last night. Guys, there's plenty of time. Jeez, calm down.
Don't have
Everybody
plenty of time. Got 9 more innings.
Yeah, gotta go tonight.
Lost twice at
Yeah,
home.
you don't need more than 9. Just 9. Just go out there, play great. AQ, give us the scouting report. You've been a fan for all of 17 minutes.
Yeah, tell us, AQ.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so SeaWorld, he blew the save game 1. That was it.
No, SeaWorld, our guy?
That's
Our
what
guy SeaWorld.
What about Hinkie?
Was it? I saw poor umping, which we're seeing
Well, yeah,
a little
always.
bit poor officiating in the NFL also, but poor umping. Is there ump issues?
I think the box is the box, however it is. But I do believe the MLB, especially, and this ties back in good, the NHL is going like this. I think the NBA is doing the same thing. They go like in, and then the MLB ended up with, the Diamondbacks and the Rangers, which I saw George Bush go out there and skip one in at his age. The way he was walking, had a little Vince McMahon.
Oh, yeah.
Had a little Vince McMahon strut
he
going
still
out to
got
that
it.
entire thing.
Yeah.
I know there's some explosion, but I don't know how many people are paying attention. Tonight, though, we're watching.
That's right.
We're watching.
Is there a game tonight?
It's a big
Yes.
one. This is potentially a World Series winner.
Okay.
Anyways, let's get to football here, JJ, and we appreciate you joining us. You just talked about officiating. Let's talk about not only officiating, but like punishment. Mr. Warren of the Pittsburgh Steelers, who is on a rookie contract, did not get paid a lot of money. Signing bonus not that large. He's getting fined like $50,000 to the tune of like $50,000 for a multitude of hits that took place in the game that both of them kind of ticky-tack. Now, whenever you think about this type, there's one right there. Running back is getting fined for that hit right there. Go back to the beginning. Running back, boom, you'll miss it. Yep, that. Fine.
Yeah, you will miss it.
What?
Anytime you got to watch the play 10 times to figure out which person is getting fined, I think you messed up. All right. Like I posted that on Twitter, and everybody was like, "Which player is it? Which one am I supposed to be looking at?" Like if we're having to do that, maybe we shouldn't be taking the guy's entire paycheck. I mean, he's playing for free. He's literally going out there and playing for free 2 weeks in a row.
So there was.
What do you want him to do? It's a 300-pound man.
Well, so there was another hit in that game as well where he was running down the sideline and he lowers his head and he hits his helmet off the shoulder pad. So I think it's the NFL saying, like, we need you not to be ducking your head like that. But nonetheless, checks and balances with officiating and everything that's kind of tying in. Where do you think we stand as an Yep. Where do you think we stand as an NFL, and how do you kind of fix it all, JJ? And how many times have you
I got takes. I got takes here. Okay, we want to talk about that. We just showed the play. You saw that play. If that's considered lowering your head and dangerous, like, okay, that's what we're going to talk about. Let's talk about cut blocks. Let's talk about a tight end coming across the formation, throwing his head at the knee of a player, trying to wipe out his player. Perfectly legal according to the rule book. You're allowed to just go wipe somebody's knee out and try and literally the goal of a cut block is to blow somebody's knee out, basically. And we're going to be okay with that. But we're going to take this guy's whole paycheck because he tried to block a 300-pounder and he tried to get lower and use his leverage. I mean, there's a lot of things that we wear these guardian caps in training camp because it's 10 times safer for concussions, but we don't wear them in, I don't know. Like there's a lot of things going on that's like, are we doing it or are we doing it? AJ, you with me?
JJ, yes, AJ's definitely with you. Did you see that second one there?
It's a physical
finish.
finish
Run it back.
here.
Sorry, I was too hot. Yeah.
Fine.
Oh, okay. He's lowering his shoulder. He's trying to get an extra yard. Like, what? Is he just supposed to take the hit? Should he just take the hit?
Is this football? Are we playing football or not?
What the hell?
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Like, are we like the discussions of flag football and like now we're getting in the Olympics, which is great. I love flag football. It's a great sport. But like we are literally headed towards that direction as a league. And
say it loud.
I mean, if that's what you want to be, fine. Just say it. But I don't love this like middle ground we're in right now.
I love the fact that if somebody had to grab JJ's flag, that thing's like right here.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? That might be an actual advantage. I don't know. In eyesight, not 100% sure. But I do appreciate that you are alongside a lot of people that played football that are like, what are we doing to the game? We actually just talked to Gary Bettman about fighting in hockey and potentially them trying to lean it out. He didn't say he wanted to get rid of it, which was, I think, a big deal for NHL because a lot of people think health and safety, which we agree, being health and safety for players. We're obviously a pro player show, and we would like everybody to be safe, but it's like sports are going to have things that are going to happen. Football is going to have things that are going to happen. And I think once the league acknowledges that, we would all be much better, but I think they assume they're just going to get sued by everybody if they don't make progressions. We got to figure out how to keep the game, though, JJ. We got to figure out
how sweet is it that the NHL is just like, yeah, no, we're cool with it. Just let it go. Just these guys are going to handle it, and then they're going to go, and that's going to be over. Like, that's kind of badass. Just let them do it.
Super badass. And they said, we don't mind the spontaneity fights, okay? But we can't just have the stage choreographed, goons coming out. We don't want that. But if it's spontaneity, it's cool. And in the NFL, it's like some of these hits, they're flying real quick, and then we're punishing people. It's like, what do you want people to do, and why do you want to change the game so much from what people love to watch? Like, it's just...
The fines are really upsetting me also because you get like there's certain those two. Obviously, he didn't get penalized in the game, and he gets a fine later, and he's got a full game check taken away, and then you have to go through this appeals process and hope they give you half of it back. And like that's its own conversation. But now we're talking like there's these unsportsmanlike conducts, or like TJ takes his helmet off in that one game and he gets a penalty, and then also gets a fine. Like at some point, the penalty hurting your team is the problem. We don't need to also go back. I think there's been more than like $9 or $10 million in fines this year. Like it is mind-boggling how much we're taking away from these guys.
And where's it going? Huh? Can I pick where it goes?
Charity.
Nope.
What's charity?
Yeah, charity, AJ.
Exactly.
Who writes it off? Who writes it off? AJ, have you ever gotten to write off a fine? No, I haven't.
Nope.
Somebody gives it to charity and writes it off. I've never gotten to write it off.
What charity? Do?
Exactly.
What is
I believe it's the United Way.
Is
believe.
it? Do you know that? That's the first
I
time I'm hearing it.
No, I can't prove it. I don't know.
Well, shout out to United Way. I'm all about what they're doing, but that's the first time
but I
I'm
don't
hearing
know.
that.
But no, the money comes out of my check and it's gone. I don't know where it is. I don't know where it went. I just know I don't have it.
I got fined for a lot of tweets, and I don't know where that money went. And I was very wondering, if
you got fined for tweets in the league?
Like to the tune of like $75,000, bud. Not just,
From your team, though, not the league, right? From your team.
Yeah, not from the league, from the team.
Oh, all right. That's a different.
Yeah, it certainly was.
Yeah, I don't know where the team fines go. I have no idea where those go.
Yeah, I'm sure it went somewhere really good with the guy that decided.
What was your worst tweet? What was your worst tweet?
They're all still up. Just know that.
What was it? I'll go look.
The worst one, the one
like,
that made me decide to retire and say this league's not for me anymore, I was standing in the equipment room during like the Thanksgiving break where, it's a pretty dry time around, but everybody's in there. And I'm holding an electrical box outlet like this, and I'm acting as if I'm cutting a promo like Mr. Anderson from the WWE. And I actually just put a tweet out that was like, I'm just waiting for the WWE to call me. And I put a promo out. And I was just bored in the middle of the day and just put it out. One of the equipment managers, a guy who's been with the coach for like 30 years, is the one that took the picture. And it was like, yeah, all right, I'm hanging out with the equipment room. I put it out. Then I got fined like 10 days later, could have been a whole game check, I was told, because this was multiple times that I've done conduct detrimental to the team. Oh. And it was like, okay, all right. And
I'm done.
Yeah, you don't say. Yeah, it was my profile photo for a very long time because it was the reason why I decided to finally retire. I'm like, to hell with this guy and this place. Yeah. I don't want to be here anymore. But then I met Dave Chappelle, and it was like, all right, I'm going to take a picture with Dave Chappelle. I'm going to put that up as my profile photo. But yeah, fines around the league are something that need to be talked about more because it feels like there's only one side being heard, and then where's it going? I guess the United Way. Anyways,
it should be some type of scale too. Like Jaylen Warren, obviously if he's making $15 million a year, you should get fined at a certain point. You're making league minimum or $600,000 or $7,000, like $700,000. You should get fined on a different scale. Like some guys get fined in preseason. Like Quan Alexander, I think he got like a $20,000 fine in preseason. We're not making anything in preseason.
We just Googled in preseason. We actually lost money playing in Canada because of taxes. Couldn't even imagine if you got fined up there as well. The fines collected are donated to Professional Athletes Foundation to support legends in need, and the NFL Foundation to further support the health, safety, and wellness of athletes across all levels, including youth football and the communities that support the game. All right, sweet. I'd like to see what a lot of money's come from that, so I hope we're really kicking ass in this support.
Sure they are.
Why don't
D-Butt, to your point, D-Butt, that's part of the reason that I am choosing to talk about it, especially in like a Jaylen Warren situation, because he's a young guy, obviously not making a ton of money, and something like that happens where that in my opinion is a ridiculous fine.
Yeah.
If he speaks out about it, or if he says something in the media, that has a chance to affect him and his career, and also may not get the same, pickup. Mm-hmm. I feel like you need older guys, you need people that have been through it before to talk about it. So then hopefully, obviously this is massive first world problems where guys making a ton of money getting fined. No. But I do think it's ridiculous.
Do you know how much money I got fined for one of those tweets? I thought it should have been a federal crime. This guy stole from me. This is grand theft getting stolen from me. It was like a $30,000 fine for a tweet. I'm like, this is a federal crime. This guy's stealing from me. This is how much my parents made combined growing up, and I'm getting this for, and whenever
Dude, you got $30,000 from your own team? That's
nuts. Crazy.
Buddy, you start adding it up. Yeah, this isn't just one. Obviously I was a multiple offender, but it was just like, Bud, I'm not deleting them either.
That's stealing. Yeah, that's stealing.
Grand theft. Yeah. I wanted the guy to go to jail. I'm like, what the hell is going? We've moved past it, though. Anyways, AJ has a question for you.
JJ, going back to all the fines that are happening for people leading with their head or helmet-to-helmet contact, what's the answer? Like, how do we find the balance? We know there's 17 different helmets they can choose from that are super light and have zippers and not real chin straps, and everything is all space age now and has different rivets that claim it helps with concussions. Okay, why is there 15 different models then if one is better than the other? But you can maybe enlighten us on that. But what do we do? What's the NFL supposed to do here?
I mean, I think that there's a massive difference in determining intent. Like, you watch those two plays from Jaylen Warren, he was not intentionally doing anything. There are plays where you watch it like, oh, that guy was literally trying to decapitate a human being. Like, yeah, we want to take those types of hits out of the game. We want to take the things where there is malicious intent, where somebody is trying to do, harm outside of the realm of playing football. Those are the things that we need to find. Those are the things that we need to take out of the game. When we start doing these little fines for things that happen in the regular course of a game, that's frustrating. That's the same to me why we shouldn't be fining every single roughing the passer call, because some of those roughing the passers are a little bang bang thing that it happens in the course of the play, and sure, we gotta flag it, but we don't need to fine it. I think there's a massive difference in intent versus just some of these regular plays.
Who's that? Runyon, right? That runs that?
Yeah.
Dahn?
I don't know.
He just
It was like,
appeals.
I've gotten in so many arguments over the years on a fine appeal call. It's you just get into an argument and you're like, I can say anything in the world here, and they're not changing their mind.
Derek Brooks handles some of the appeals.
Intent does not matter to them. I know that.
Intent should be a part of, I think, the refs, which then leads into we need full-time refs so then they can have a better feel of the game and what the intent is, like hockey has with their NHL refs that are kind of a part of it all. Hey, we'll figure it out. This show, we'll solve it.
We're gonna get to the bottom of this.
Yes, we are. And it's also, all of this might be why Raj won't come on our show. The NHL commission.
It could be part of it.
It could be part of the reason.
I don't know if I'm gonna get canceled as an analyst here soon, where they're gonna be like, hey, you're talking about stuff we do not want you to talk about.
You know what I'm interested by is when we came to ESPN, everybody, I think, assumed that we're going to be told what we can talk about, what we can't talk about, because ESPN has a massive relationship with the NFL, obviously. Massive. Now, granted, we're paying multiple millions of dollars to the NFL as well through NFL Films, so we can run highlights on social media as opposed to just on our show. So we have a relationship with it as well. But there's been things in the past where networks, I think, have been scared to say anything because they don't want to affect future relations. We're just trying to make game better. They know that.
That's all.
You know what I mean? We know, and ESPN has said nothing to us about anything. So I appreciate. Hey, shout out ESPN.
Yeah, clap out.
Shout out. Honestly,
you know what's fascinating? About that? When I signed on with CBS, one of the first questions. I guess you being a former player, you have a similar thing that I do. One of the first questions I asked was, all right, are there topics that they give us that we're not allowed to talk about, or is there we're not allowed to say things? And they were like, no, you can say whatever. And so I was like, I just assumed that there was a list of blacklisted topics that you can't speak about.
Listen, we're not talking about Roger Goodell's history of punishing players. We're not doing this. We're not doing all this stuff. It's for us, thus far, it has been everything that they said it was going to be. Go ahead. I think it's potentially agents telling people that go on TV what they're supposed to say, what they're not supposed to say. Let's stay away from this, as opposed to the networks. I think the networks have gotten blamed for a long time. I don't believe it's necessarily the networks, but it might be the network telling the agents.
Didn't your feed cut out at a certain time yesterday? Didn't your feed cut out at a very specific moment
provider.
yesterday?
That's fake news. Don't listen to everything ML Football says on the internet. You can't do that. That was only one provider, but Aaron did text me. He was like, heard we got cut off.
They cut me off?
Heard we got cut off.
What's that about?
Heard we got cut off.
They censoring me? Big Brother? 1984? What's going on, guys?
They scared a 4-time MVP hippie guy saying some stuff. Oh, must have hit too close to home. I was like, we've been told that it was only one provider, and we don't know if it was one Connor Stallion's rogue agent.
Could have been.
Yeah, could have been.
At that provider, kind of hitting it, or if it was just technical difficulties at the exact same time. But it was not ESPN, from what I've been told. Let's move along. Connor has a question for you, JJ.
Yeah, JJ, great Michael Scarn shirt. That's a classic.
Thank you.
Also,
Brett Level Midnight.
Yeah, of
Brett
course.
Level Midnight.
Fantastic film. I mean, that's just The Office to a T right there. Goldface.
Man, what a good show. That show's really good.
Yeah, you
So
love
good.
it. Tell us about
it,
that
Pat.
yesterday.
Yeah.
Bro, Baumgartner.
Yeah,
Kevin Malone.
He's so good on it.
He is.
Every time I see him on Cameo, I'm like, this reminds me of the guy from The Office. And I love him in that.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
And then that guy who's just like Dwight.
Dwight,
Dwight, what a character.
Zany.
He really mixes up. Jim, when he looks at the camera.
Classic.
The best.
Oh, my God. That's
Creed.
great. And then he's in love with the
Pam.
Yeah.
She is so good at the show.
Yeah, well, but not everyone loves Pam.
Really?
Well, the
Yeah.
later
Does everybody
years-
love Baumgartner?
Yes.
Yes.
Everyone loves Kevin
Yes.
Malone.
Universal.
I don't know if I love
Universal.
Baumgartner.
Whoa!
Couldn't imagine why. I can't wait to hear about it.
Well, it's probably because what I've said about how Baumgartner's looked at me every time I've seen him in real life. The guy always side-eyes me, this Baumgartner guy.
Really?
I think he senses that I've never watched an episode of The Office, although I am a big fan of what they did. I love that they were out there doing it. From what I've heard, it's amazing, and I will dive into it at some point. But I feel like he senses. He's always looking at me literally like this.
Yeah.
It's literally like it's
So
actually.
do you encounter him a lot? Like, are you in restaurants together often, or how does this go?
Once a year, the last couple of years, I've been around this guy every single time. Literally doing that.
Yeah.
I've never had it, never experienced it before. I'm like, this guy's actually side-eyeing me right now.
It was very evident at Tahoe this year.
I am on 80 milligrams right now. Okay,
Yeah.
we're at Lake Tahoe. This guy actually side-eyeing me right now? Am I punching this guy in the face? What is going on? And it's every combo I've had with him. But hey, Kevin, you were great.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kevin, you were absolutely great. Great shirt. Anyways, let's get back to it. Sorry about it, Connor.
No, please. I mean, are you kidding me? If we can talk about The Office and Kevin Malone, why not?
Such a good show. I mean, I put it right up there. Friends. Whoa.
Yeah, you're right there.
Rest in peace.
Man.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
I thought we were never going to do this again.
All right.
Man.
Moment of silence for him.
Yep.
Moment passed. I wish I knew more about him, but everybody loved that guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they
That's
do.
what I learned over the last couple of days.
For sure.
Rest in peace.
All right.
Anyways,
Connor, to you. Transition out of this. Here you go.
please,
Good luck,
we had a
bud.
moment of silence
Yeah.
for a very
Yeah.
beloved guy.
That was very nice. Just to kind of stay in the same vein, there's a guy that was killing people on Sunday against the Panthers with the
Good transition.
Houston Texans.
Professional.
I believe his name is John Greenard. Might be Greenard. Not exactly sure. Is this guy out of nowhere? I mean, everyone's focused on Will Anderson. Is Johnny Greenard the new face of that Texans D-line or what, JJ?
First off, it's Jonathan Grenard.
No!
But I
Damn it!
appreciate
No!
you were so
Translate.
close. You were so close.
Can't trust that.
Gosh.
Translate said Greenard.
Well, it's spelled.
But he had a great game. 2.5 sacks. He's been playing really, really good football. I mean, here, just go ahead. Just knock the guy straight on his ass right into a sack. I mean, what a great feeling that is. And but the thing I'll say about Jonathan Grenard, he's a great guy. He was down there when I was playing. And just continues to get better, continues to work. And he just had a baby a couple weeks ago. And the thing that I've learned about dad strength is you turn into a monster on the field because there's a new sense of purpose. There's a new sense of, and he turned into a monster. He's got 2.5 sacks this past game alone, and he's just throwing grown men to the ground. So shout out John Grenard. I love giving shine to guys that don't necessarily always get it. And we're giving it to John Grenard today.
Yeah, especially for the Houston Texans, it's going to mean a lot coming from you. That celebration right there tells me maybe he's a Q. I'm not 100% sure.
That is correct. I believe his rookie show, he did the Q Dog dance. It was pretty badass.
Very,
Always
very
cool.
Very
Pretty
cool. Very cool. And also, you don't know how many Qs are in the room until rookie stands up in the front and starts doing it, and it's like, in the back. It's like,
coaches, everybody.
Yeah, you see
Atomic
like,
Dog, come on.
Yeah, you see an assistant coach for the running backs just like sitting back there, and then all of a sudden, it is awesome. It's always electrifying. I have no idea what's coming, but it's like, all right.
That and the haka. Somebody does the haka for the rookie dance. That shit is gonna hit, man.
How about they did one at Utah this past
Yeah,
year?
start the show.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. Fantastic. Shout out to Grenard, you pig.
Grenard. No, sorry. Look, AIs are telling me what to say, and Greenard is what it told me.
This is ESPN telling you the wrong stuff. We just talked about ESPN not telling you. D-Bud has a question for you, JJ.
We're staying in the AFC South. Somebody else who I think doesn't get enough shine, absolute dog, Jeffrey Simmons, in those sweet throwbacks had another dominant afternoon. What should we know about him that most casuals don't?
I mean, true NFL fans have known it for a long time. He's consistent. He's great. He does it every single year. He's a very, very good player. Casuals, I don't know if fully understand and appreciate what Jeffrey Simmons has been doing for years in Tennessee. And yes, the uniforms looked spectacular.
Oh, so good. Best in the league.
Gorgeous.
Come on.
I see that jacket.
But I mean, guy just makes plays, man. He's dominant. He plays the run. He's in the pass game. He's got a double swipe here. Comes around, just doink, get the ball out. I mean, just the guy's a great player. He deserves more shine than he gets, and He's a guy that's been doing it for a long time, very consistently, just a solid player.
I was watching Inside the NFL last night on the CW.
Oh, really?
Found it, was watching it.
Nice.
Jeffrey Simmons was mic'd up, and he was doing a lot of I told you guys in training camp about Will Levis.
Yep.
He was talking up a lot about what he saw from his arm and what he was able to do. Seems like Will Levis is won over. I feel like you win over Jeffrey Simmons, you probably won over the entire defense, at least, maybe the whole roster. But in the mic'd up that I saw, he's very much yup, we got a guy. And then we asked Coach Vrabel out of Tahoe after Baumgartner side-eyed me. We asked Vrabel if he thought he could beat up every coach in the NFL, and he scoffed at us with 2 cigarettes in his mouth and an entire tin of Zyn and Cope, I think, at the same time, with a vape in between the 2 cigarettes. Kind of scoffed at that. And I said, you think you can still beat up players? And he said, yeah. I said, you can beat up any players on your team? He said, everybody but Jeffrey Simmons, is what he said, pretty much. So I think he's got the respect of everybody, JJ, or Jeffrey.
So Vrabel's coach competition, I mean, it's got to be Salah, D'Amico Ryans, MC.
Staley.
That would be a great 4-way cage battle, man.
Takedown, yeah.
Yeah, but you got to think about Bill Belichick.
McDaniel.
Exactly.
Belichick coming in there, I think, late, scrappy, gnawing and Achilles.
Yeah, hungry Andy Reid after he hadn't had a cheeseburger
Hey,
day.
we were practicing at the Greenbrier one year. We were doing our training camp at the Greenbrier, and the Patriots were coming in for a joint practice with us. And I went in the weight room one morning to do my workout, and Belichick was in the squat rack, man. It was fucking sweet. Damn it. Are we still live? Damn it.
That's 2 in 1 show.
No, I didn't go through.
Yes,
that was
I said it quiet. I said it really quiet.
Don't matter. Yeah, we heard it. It was your outside voice, JJ. But to be clear, right situation to use it. You see Bill Belichick squatting.
Fair.
That's something that certainly can maybe get you past a filter or two. But yeah, we saw that photo of him squatting. It's actually on a T-shirt now at this point, I think. Because it was
the Eagles.
He had actually 2 big, I don't know if they're 45s, but maybe 25s on either side.
Yep, 45s.
315 on there, I think. Didn't he have 315?
Yeah. No, yeah, he had 25s on the end, but then he had 3 45 plates inside of those 25 plates.
All right. I mean, if that's how we're going to... Bill does not like that we're lying about this.
We're not lying. That's how I remember
it. The picture I saw.
JJ, you were there.
315? 315?
With ease, brother.
Are we talking about the same photo? I don't think I took a photo of it. Did I take a photo of it?
He squats every day, so.
Well, if you took a photo of it, we owe you some money because the shirts did well.
Didn't. Yeah, they did.
Shirts did really well because much like you, anytime you see him on the squat rack, you go, well, that's absurd. I'd like to see that again. And then you buy the shirt. And then...
Are you guys still getting in the squat rack?
Yeah.
Every day.
Are you still getting in there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Diggs has not been under a bar in a decade.
That's a lot.
Who's squatting the most out of this group?
Whoa, look at this.
Who said 315? Who said 315?
That's a warm-up.
I saw a different one. I saw a different one. He was doing maybe 375.
Just real quick, you go back. Exactly what I said.
Yep.
Yeah. Exactly what I said about this photo from how many years ago was that whole thing?
I believe that was 2 years ago. Sirianni's first year as head coach.
Hey, Bill, I have respect for you, pal. I'm not gassing you up and lying about you. Your resume's already good enough. These guys are lying about it.
Warming up.
I'm not lying.
Warming up.
I'm not lying. There's other stories, too.
Pounds.
There's other stories.
What are you saying, A?
That was 95 pounds.
That was his.
He's 90 years old.
What do you think?
He's lived in the same years he's been on Earth.
Yeah, you're skinny now. Shut up.
Yeah, you're scrawny.
He squatted
Hey,
yesterday.
dude, what are you squatting today? We put you under the rack.
He squatted
right now.
yesterday.
What are you squatting? Hey, what'd you squat?
I can still do well over 400.
What did you do yesterday, though?
I did 275 for 3 sets of 15 yesterday.
Wuss.
We're just taking his word.
Yeah, I don't agree. It's a shipyard. A lot of lies happen. They don't flush the toilets. There's been pissing
Cameras
every
in
2
there.
weeks.
I can pull it up.
But we did lunges this morning. This could be my new thing. I've heard this is the real cheat code to keeping yourself in shape. I'm not going to be able to stand up from the dumper later. I don't know. You still
Lunges suck, dude.
Suck,
Gosh,
dude.
are they the worst?
Are you still squatting?
Yeah, no, I squat. I do lunges. Single leg, reverse, like a reverse single leg, man.
Yeah.
Anything single leg has got to be the best, but also like just the thing you hate to do the most.
Bulgarian split squats, best.
Yes.
Bulgaria, man.
Yeah, the Soviet ones.
No,
too.
the Soviet shuffle.
Is that what you're talking about?
No spies.
You're talking about the Soviet
Turkish get-ups with the kettlebells, the core.
Too much.
Oh, Turkish get-ups, yeah.
Yeah,
Kettlebell
AJ, how many years you been retired, AJ?
I don't know. 6, 7 now? I don't know.
So AJ still every morning does team lift. 5:30.
This is the person whose answer I wanted. Like, what's your squat right now, AJ?
That all depends on how much cartilage I feel like I have in my right knee, but it's different. I mean, I'll do just like basic 315 for 6 or something, do 5 or 6 sets, but then if I feel good, I can put more weight.
5 or 6 sets. I'm doing 315 30 times at 5:30 a.m. 7 years after retiring.
All depends on how you feel. Knees don't lunges are not in my repertoire at the moment. I fall down if I try to do a lunge with no weight. So
yeah, they were tough. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I'm gonna stick with them, but the internet's been telling me they are the cheat code. I tried them this morning. I don't know if they're gonna carry into tomorrow because I'm gonna be very sore. How long are you gonna do this? This whole I'm still a player lift thing. JJ.
I do not know. I'm in a very interesting place trying to figure it all out. Like, I can't let it go, but I know that at some point for my long-term health, it's better to switch up the styles.
Yeah.
But I really can't figure it out. I honestly don't know exactly how I should be proceeding with my workouts because every time after I do a big, good lift, I feel great. Like it makes me feel like I'm actually doing something. So I can't let it go.
And then the next day you're like, why did I? So there's no reason.
You're so right. I mean, when you go to the bathroom, that's when you know like yesterday's workout was a really good workout because I can't stand up for the shit.
Well, I love the fact that you're still 20% lift, 15% grit, 40% power.
Yeah.
Do you hate that scene?
You got it. You got it. You got it. You got it.
I don't know the words as well as you. Did you hate that scene? Did you hate that scene?
I mean, I definitely, anybody that tells you you don't have regrets in life is probably lying. And, there's things I'd do differently.
Yeah.
I won't bullshit.
Yeah, but I will say, a lot of us said, look at that machine.
God, holy hell.
That guy's a machine. AQ has a question for you about another machine.
JJ, so Nick Bosa only has 2 sacks this year, but he's got like 45 pressures, right? So everybody's saying he's having a down year, but can you talk about the difference between pressures and sacks and kind of which stat you think is more important?
For most important, I will always go with sacks because it is a true end result of a play and it's quantifiable to say this guy got home and did it. Now, there's definitely, I love to say any pass rusher will love to tell you, they don't ask how you got them, they just ask how many. You generally say that after you're unblocked or the quarterback falls down and you get the sack because we'll take them however you can get them. But pressures versus sacks, pressures are obviously massive because they can force interceptions. They can force a quarterback into bad decisions. There's all different things that they create. But it is interesting to look at this 49ers defense and to know that they're not putting up the numbers that they normally put up with all those guys they have on that side of the ball. To be on a 3-game losing streak with the offense and the defense that they have, it's certainly curious. And you go out there and you watch, and now they bring in Chase Young, obviously, and it's kind of one of those situations where you're like, don't they already have an embarrassment of riches at defensive line? But they aren't getting home. So they come in bunches, and I would imagine once they start to get rolling, they're going to have Nick Bosa will rattle off a couple 2 or 3 sack games, no problem. But I know how he feels right now. And when you're sitting there this deep into the season with only 2.5, you're itching to get there. You want that one, and sometimes you start to reach a little bit because people are expecting it from you. So he's just got to keep playing his game. He's got to keep going out there and getting after it, and they will come.
Yeah, we assume Bosa will figure it out whenever it's needed. Yeah. He's a big-time player for a reason. They paid him a contract for the reason. Still getting pressures. But, hey, let's get home. Speaking of getting home, hey, Thibodeaux, 3 times in the Jets-Giants MetLife Bowl. This guy obviously highly touted coming out of college. Was supposed to be the number 1 overall pick, but he liked to use words like Liddy.
Yeah,
and
like Bitcoin.
And he was, this guy's weird. That's what was being said about him through the draft process, and we know the draft process brings a lot of bullshit, but for him, it was certainly louder, it felt like, than anybody else. He's now in a system with Wink where it seems like he's played his best ball this past weekend, biggest game he's had. What did you see from Kayvon Thibodeaux, and what do you think the future is for this guy?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it just like everybody else. New York City is a place to play where people are going to scrutinize every single thing, and they've been waiting for this guy to go off from the beginning. He's sitting there at 8.5 sacks on the year now. I mean, he's in the top 3 for sacks. He's playing good ball. He's getting after the quarterback. He's got some moves that are coming along. He's got some power. He's got some speed. They obviously have dogs on that defensive line. I mean, Dexter Lawrence is incredible. And this is what they wanted to see from him. And if you can do this consistently in New York, you can turn into a superstar. And it's a lot of fun to watch. He's got that motor right there. That's a perfect example. He tried inside, didn't work, so he comes back outside, comes around, makes a play, and he knows it. And then obviously at the end of the game, we all saw the situation with the offsides, and he posted the video. Was it offsides? As a pass rusher, I feel that pain. I know that pain.
So you're saying not offsides. He started leaning his upper body before his lower body started going, and he has it right down the line. And sorry about it, he said.
Man.
Everybody's letting the offensive tackles do it.
Yeah.
Everybody's letting the offensive tackles do it. But a guy who has 3 sacks can't get his 4th. Why do you offensive linemen always have such an advantage? Why do the refs always try to screw the defensive ends, AQ?
I don't see anything wrong with that play. I'll take his defense there. Nothing.
Wow.
That's never happened.
Wow.
That's big.
Wow.
Very mature of you.
Timed it up. That was perfect.
Who is this guy?
AJ, go ahead, pal.
JJ, I'm pretty sure they changed the rules on how you can hit a quarterback during your time when you were playing to where you couldn't land any weight on him. And when that happened, like, how difficult was that to do? Because I feel like guys actually, they're very conscious of it now. You see them like bracing their arms. I mean, some guys I'm sure have hurt themselves trying to not land all of their weight on a quarterback or even a receiver or ball carrier. But how difficult is that to do in the moment?
Yeah, it certainly is difficult to do. I will say if you're conscious of it, you're cognizant of it, and you know what they're looking for, you can be very successful at it, and you can actually earn yourself the opportunity to hit him more and get a little more leniency if you know exactly what they're looking for. It's something that as I was learning those rules, started to figure out, okay, is it 1 step? Is it 2 steps? It's actually like 1.5 to 1 3/4 if you do it properly. If you hit him and you roll off, or if you hit him and you clearly put your arms out to brace yourself, the ref is going to give you a whole lot more leniency than if you hit him with your shoulder and you kind of take him down to the ground. So you really have to learn how to do it. But one of the reasons I had so many quarterback hits in my career was I found where that line was, and then I was constantly pushing at that line but not going over it. And those hits affect quarterbacks. Like any quarterback will tell you, the more hits they take, you start to think about it. It starts to get in your head a little bit. So I always tried to make sure that if I had the opportunity to, I lay those hits into them. And we would always talk in the D-line room. There'd be guys that lay up because they're like, I don't want to get the penalty. And I tell them, no, that was one where you could have gotten away with that hit. Anytime you get that shot, you got to take it.
Yeah, I love the fact that both offensive linemen are trying to cheap shot you guys, and you guys are just trying to dance on the line. Hey, is this football? Is there a competitive edge? Potentially, but also mental warfare. If you're right at the feet of that quarterback every single time, a natural human thought at some point is like, wow, 99 is real close. 99 is real close. So if there's a play where you got them single blocked, it's like, all right, all of a sudden things are a little bit quicker. Not only you win the physical battle, you're winning the mental one, JJ. I like that about you. Nobody talks about how smart that big head is.
There's a lot of air up there, plenty of space.
Well, you need to take all that air and put it towards Burnley. Not playing great, but a team that showed up for the first time, long time. Ty has a question for you.
Yeah, JJ, we're just a couple weeks removed now from people saying, like, hey, the Broncos are hammered dog shit. They suck. They gave up 70 points to the Dolphins. They need to fire Vance Joseph right away. Granted, Patrick Mahomes was very, very sick on Sunday.
He was. He had a flu.
He was.
IVs. IVs.
That's what they're saying. But the Broncos made him look terrible. What has been kind of the key to their resurgence? Do you think that was more a product of them just being in the division and knowing how to play him? Or is that something that's going to kind of carry them through the rest of the season here?
I think you look at it as a trend. I mean, obviously it was 4 weeks ago now that they gave up 70 to the Dolphins, and everybody wants Vance Joseph and the whole defensive staff gone. And everybody's asking, what's wrong? But if you look at the last 3 weeks, I believe they haven't given up more than 20 points the last 3 weeks. And then they obviously hold one of the best offenses in the NFL in Patrick Mahomes to save for a victory there. So I think there's a part of it that certainly is the team figuring it out. I mean, they have a new head coach in Sean Payton. They have a new D coordinator in Vance Joseph. You do need time to understand the systems, to build the culture, to do the things that you want to do. And sometimes it just doesn't happen that fast. So these guys are now starting to fly around. They're starting to play a little better. They're starting to force these takeaways. They're putting these guys in tough situations. So I think there's certainly a part of it that is just, it takes time to figure it out and for you to implement your system. And so it'll be interesting to see going forward if this defense continues to get better and better every single week. And I think I'm a guy that if everybody wants to crush a coach or a unit early in the year like they did, and rightfully so after a 70-point, somebody's hitting 70 on you, yeah, you're going to take a little criticism.
Yeah.
But when they turn it around, you got to also give them their credit there.
Patrick Mahomes did have IVs.
He did.
All night. He was sick, just like Matt Hasselbeck against the Houston Texans back in the day. And as we wrap up this beautiful time here on this glorious Trenches Commissioner Wednesday on JSPN Journalism Sports Network, we'd like to say thank you to JJ for taking time out of his life to join us every week. JJ, you got about 10 seconds here. Would you like to say anything to the JSPN crowd as we end our second hour here?
Burnley's going to have a big day today. Win coming. Tune in. ESPN Plus.
That was 4 seconds. See, that's the thing. 10 seconds is a lot longer than you actually think. First year in.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Still got time.
Still got another one. AJ Hawk, very strong.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye. Nailed it. Hey, you did great, JJ. That was really good TV out of you. That was really good TV.
Unbelievable.
The people at ESPN just got to love it. Yeah. Yesterday, we're in full costumes. Hey, your costume was awesome last night with the fam.
Great.
You look good.
Thank you. Yours was. Willy Wonka, the Oompa Loompas, man, that was great.
Yeah, the wife put it all together, obviously. Great. She's the big brain behind it. I assume same thing for you?
Same here, absolutely. I came home to a 3XL Incredibles outfit, and she was like, here you go, this is what you're wearing. All right, sounds good.
Hey, you look superhuman. Are you going to get back into the movies? And we need more action stars, don't we?
We do.
We need more action stars.
Oh, yeah, you never have enough action movies.
What's your problem?
That's true. The hell
What's your problem?
Good.
No, they make like $1 billion. Yeah, I'm down. Let's do it. Okay. Yeah, Marvel, you guys need somebody? I'm right here.
They actually do.
Literally sitting right here.
Right now, because they got a strike. Nobody's available.
They still on strike? Who's on strike? Writers or actors now?
Writers figured it out.
Yeah.
Actors. Good. Yeah, now it's actors. I'll step in. I'll break the line. I'll be that guy.
Scab!
Wow.
Scab! I did that ESPYs.
You guys need somebody? I'll be the replacements. I'll be Shane Falco.
Nice.
Hell yeah. And Nigel, I'll be your Nigel there if you need me in there. You know what I mean? You need me to kick and smoke cigs in any of your movies you do. I would definitely get out there.
That'd be a great costume for you.
Yeah, it would be. And I have potentially did it before. A lot of comparisons to that guy. I never smoked cigs, though. Not really my thing.
Missing out.
Nicotine's not my...
Oh. Not your bag.
Not my MO. It makes me sick every single time.
Especially those cigs.
When I did the ESPYs, though, they were calling me a scab for writing and doing the whole thing, because that was happening.
But did you write your own?
Who's they?
I don't know the answer to that. I'm not trying to.
You do know the fucking answer.
Yeah, you sound like a Mark a little bit.
He's saying yes, of course, he wrote his own situation.
Yeah, well then why would somebody get mad at you? Like,
because I wrote in my head what I was going to say out there. Now, did get a couple lines from a human who's one of the funniest of all time in Tom Segura. So it was a compilation. It was a compilation writing together. But yeah, I was called a scab and they attacked me. That was a long time ago. They're still not doing stuff.
Yeah, that was this year.
Holy
shit. The writers are, just not the actors. Yeah, actors are striking.
What do you got the rest of the day? You on CBS this weekend or no?
No, I am. My parents just got here because my wife and I are flying to Pittsburgh. We are going to go to the Steelers game tomorrow night. Thursday. Yeah, tomorrow night.
Are you? Oh, mama, I'm in fear. Oh,
I'm excited to see it, man.
Yeah?
I'm looking forward to it. I was having a conversation with my brother. What do you guys think? Do I wear Steelers gear to this game or do I not?
Yeah.
I feel like I do, right?
Yeah, you wear a TJ White jersey with a long sleeve underneath, maybe terrible towel hanging out of back pocket, have boots on.
I do want to wave a towel. I want to wave a towel.
Could split with Derek, too.
It's not just
what kind of towel?
It's not just a towel, JJ.
The terrible towel. Not a little yellow towel. Coach Cowher and I Coach Cowher was fired up about it. And I kept trying to talk him down. I kept trying to be like, hey, watch the video. He didn't say it in disrespectful. He's like, I don't care. He said the words. He said little yellow towel.
I do not want to watch the video. I am very content being mad at
you
this game.
Pittsburgh people, after I watched that video, are so dramatic. It is unbelievable. It was the most harmless thing you could ever say.
Hey, sorry,
you guys got
we're busy
so
working. We don't have time to watch a full fucking press conference.
Your head coach is on TV every week crying, Fox.
Well, you guys are crying about a towel. He's crying about his players. You guys are crying about a towel. You guys aren't working. You're crying about a towel.
Terrible towel.
That was unbelievable.
Then they went there and backed it up.
Yeah, then they played Pittsburgh football.
Yep.
Against Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
In Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
In front of Pittsburghers. And then left. That was tough. Are you going to talk to the team?
No, I'm not.
What if you went out there and were like, all right, tonight, boys, you know what it is. 10% luck, 20% skill.
What a move, guys! We have a relative of somebody on the team that would like to speak.
Team only meeting.
How weird!
Listen up.
Hey, they had Debo twirl the towel. I believe is what's twirl the terrible towel. Is that he's doing the twirl before the game?
Wave. Twirl.
Wave the
twirl.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't. I saw it happen. I'm like, this is a good idea. Okay, I like
just a tank of a human being, man. I mean, just a freaking tank.
He's gotten bigger and stronger, more Debo-like since retiring than whenever he was in there. And let's fucking go.
Yeah, he would have done something.
When are you going to do that? Are you doing the terrible towel wave for the?
No, I'm not doing any of that. I have no correlation. I have no relationship to the team besides the fact that my brother plays. I mean, I love
the best player on the team.
Brothers.
I wish I had more time because he has said I can come to practice. I want to sit in his meetings. I want to see what it's like. I mean, he seems like an incredible coach. I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, no, James Harrison. I have to say he's. My brother tells this story. My brother has a severe tree nut allergy. And they were at a team dinner one time, and he had a nut allergy. Yeah, no, tree nuts, like tree,
like acorns,
pine,
like almonds, like pine nuts. Yeah,
really.
And at dinner, like somehow something got into his food, and he had an allergic reaction. And James Harrison put him in his car, took him to the hospital, and sat with him at the hospital the whole night until he was good to go. And then the next day, and got him home and everything. So. I'm a big James Harrison fan from whatever happens from here out. I love the guy.
Hey, thank you, Debo.
Yeah, cool.
Pittsburgh is very happy for Debo, not only what he did on the field, how he represented himself, but also saving DJ Watt's life. Exactly. Sounds like. Tree nut allergy? I don't think I've ever heard that. Like, that's the nut allergies are a big deal.
Yeah, it's really, really scary, man. We were in Rome one time. We did my brothers and I, we did a little European vacation, just the three of us, and we went. We're idiots. Two parts of the story. I'll show you how big of morons we are. So we're at the Pantheon, which we're going in. We're checking out the Pantheon, and we're standing in it. And TJ goes, "Hey, I've heard one of these buildings around here has a huge hole in the roof. I want to go see that one. Can we go see that one next?" And I literally just said, "Dude, just look above your head. The Pantheon is the building with the giant hole in the roof." We were literally standing underneath the hole.
Okay, classic. Jesus. Where's my glasses? They're on your head type situation. Yeah. Love that. TJ Watt, great tackling quarterbacks.
And then we went to lunch, and he knows he has a severe tree nut allergy, and I do also. None of us were aware of the fact that pesto is made purely of tree nuts. So he ordered a massive pesto pasta dish and literally stopped breathing at the table. And we had to get him to the Italian hospital. It was one of the scariest experiences of my entire life because they wouldn't let me go back with him either. So they took him back there when he literally wasn't breathing. And for about 45 minutes to an hour, Derek and I had no idea if he was
wasn't
going to make it. This was probably 2014-ish. 2000. Yeah.
Does he have to carry
an EpiPen? Shit, man. Yeah, but he won't do it. I'm like, dude, where is? And that was eventually it got to that point where the doctors, they didn't speak English, he didn't speak Italian, so they they did like the motion, like EpiPen motion, like, do you have one? And he was like, yes, and they said, use it, and so he just stabbed himself.
TJ, stop skimming your own pool.
Yep. Yeah.
And let's stop with the tree nuts, okay?
Yeah.
Football needs you, Pittsburgh needs you, and obviously the Watt family and friends need you. That's wild.
Very good,
how many grazis? Yeah. How many grazis did we give out there? Grazie.
Oh, yeah. Love it. It's the only word I know. Grazie. Yeah. Please. What else? I don't know any other word.
Mi scusi.
Yeah.
Ciao. Pizza.
Mozzarella.
That city is the coolest city in the world, man. Just to know that, like, these gladiators 2,000 years ago were just literally fighting for their lives in there. No.
Hell yeah. I believe Jesus got killed by somebody from there as well.
Pontius Pilate.
Yeah, he was a Roman.
Double P.
Yeah.
Well, he's hired by not the Romans.
Let's get to a break.
Oh, we're going deep here. Yeah,
Old Testament. That's what Dabo Sweeney said. This guy went Old Testament on me. I went Old Testament back. I don't know what that means, but I appreciate that Dabo's out there swinging. Last question for me, JJ. Obviously, as a Big Ten guy, Michigan's cheating. Can't take it anymore. Were you at Central Michigan?
Yeah, a long time ago I was.
Oh, a long time ago. You don't want to claim it. Okay, interesting. They're a part of this whole thing. Connor Stallion.
You have glasses? You have glasses that record people? Do you have any of those?
What's that all about, JJ?
So with blue dots on them, a little blue dot. I saw, so like when they first put out, I don't know, when ESPN, they put out that report, the very first report saying Michigan has a scout that went ahead and they're now being investigated. Under that post, I wrote, yeah, that's called scouting. Everybody does it. To which many Michigan people were like, yeah. Many athletes were like, yeah, that's scouting. And I was like, yeah, oh gosh, I'm so smart.
I beat the game.
Yeah, like, and now stuff's coming out, and people keep bringing that back up and sending me screenshots of it, and I'm like, yeah, there's a chance it might have been just a little bit more than just scouting.
Yeah,
getting pretty interesting out here with fake goatees and sunglasses.
Yeah, and Jim McElwain obviously said, I didn't even see it.
I missed that. What did he say? I saw it, but I didn't get to watch it. What did he say?
Here's what he said. It's a quick video, but he pretty much was like, I don't know what happened out there. Here it is.
You know, before we go any farther,
okay,
we've obviously are aware of a picture floating around with the
shark thing.
The sign stealer guy,
avid fisherman.
You know, our people are doing everything they can to get to the bottom of it. We're totally unaware of it. I certainly don't condone it in any way, shape, or form, and. You know, I do know that his name was on none of the passes that were let out. Now we just keep tracing it back and try to figure it out. But it's in good hands with our people. And again,
it's in good hands.
You know, there's no place in football for that.
It's in good hands. We'll take our people. Hey, listen, I know these
people.
people.
Do you know him?
It's
in good hands.
Listen. I don't know how.
Do I know him?
Ended up here.
No. Does the coach know him? If a guy's on the sideline, I wonder if someone's like, "Hey, who's that guy over there?"
The guy who openly admitted that we have no idea how this guy ended up here said, "But don't worry, it's in good hands."
Yep.
We didn't know he was there. We have no idea how he was in there.
Full team uniform, full hat. He's got the issued gear and everything, but no idea. No.
And then there's a moment where the ball goes on the sideline, and he's literally like the most comfortable.
Almost tripped over himself.
Head down.
That's crazy.
Hey, listen, you're a big guy. I need you to stand in front of me for most of this evening. Look, he's standing with his legs together, too, so he can hide behind.
That's crazy.
Like it's like he's behind a tree or a telephone pole.
I didn't know this.
That might be the worst one right there. This clip right here, this might be the
most.
That's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
All right.
What is happening?
We don't know, but it's only getting better. And Pete Thamel's going to be the one at the forefront of all of it. And we're very thankful for that. JJ, this ball goes in. You'll give 10 people $500?
Yep.
All right, all you got to do is retweet this post, say something nice to somebody, and JJ Watt could potentially give you $500. You're the best, man. Thank you for this beautiful Wednesday. Good luck to your Burnley team.
I got fined by the McAfee Show. Love it. Me and Jalen Warren feel the same.
Hey, but we know where the money's going at least. 10 people, $500. All you got to do is repost this, say something nice to somebody, and put the easiest way to pay you. We appreciate you. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. We'll be back on the other side with Kirk Herbstreit.
What a throw.
Thank you. Yeah. What a show by you. Take 5.
What an honor. What a dream. Being a part of game day was a joke. Being on the field for this is a joke. We continue to live the dumbest life of all time.
What a time to be alive. Let's enjoy the hell out of this weekend in 2023 as well. We are live from an empty Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
All the off-season workouts, all the sickness, all the puking, all the commitment, all the dedication. We got 4 teams left, Coach. What's the vibe of that locker room getting ready for this game?
We're going to swing as hard as we can in this game, and CJ's our leader, and he's going to lead the way.
Hell yeah. Yeah, we're going to try to make the most dumb television on earth this evening live from this field right here in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Darius Butler, 9-year NFL vet, played at UConn. That team stinks, but they're coming back. Okay. Stanford Steve here. And this man right here wearing a Wolf t-shirt underneath his sport coat. He works for me full time. But what are you excited about this evening, Connor?
I mean, Pat, like you said, I have the IQ of a goldfish, so I'm not really taking all this in strictly because there's so much. The moment is huge.
You know where you make your money, and this college level is the red area. Georgia #1, 120 is where Ohio State is ranked, which is nuts.
Max Duggan is a down.
Let Duggan cook.
Connor, good job there. There it is. How are you boys? Kirk, we say dumb stuff on the internet
every day.
You guys be out there, coach.
See if he can cover him. In the boots.
They're on your guys.
Oh, you're on ESPN. How about it? How about it?
Didn't say fuck, didn't say shit. I was close, but I didn't do it.
That's a win. That's a win. That's electric. Look at this, man. Look at this.
Hey, Coach, I don't know if you headbutted one of your guys or not, but
Hey, cut yourself shit.
you are awesome.
I got a 6-year-old son, man. I mean, it's
They're going to have to rely upon those dogs. Cade Stover, the tight end for Ohio State.
Yeah, number 8.
He's like 4th generation farmer, sponsored by John Deere.
Yeah.
Okay, and they don't just put that deer on anybody.
Hey.
Yes. There's going to be billionaires barking. Okay, there's going to be billionaires barking. Grown folks in khakis barking in unison.
Wow. So much to learn. That's got to become a thing next year. No, serious. This close to go. Can't do that.
Yeah, that was great.
You all right? You all right? You all right? Help him up. Help him up.
Spill anything?
Nope. You spilled your phone.
Could have been worse. Could have been much worse.
The college football playoffs are about to kick off in Phoenix, Arizona. Oh. My name is Peyton Manning. That's an Ohio fucking wet dream, not just a dream, dude. AJ Hawk. Did you see A.Q. Shipley stacked on top of Q, on top of Cole? I feel a shot coming. Sound like Taylor. Oh, I told you! I gotta go to the bathroom. Let's go, baby. Wait a minute. Congratulations. And the encore this evening is the reigning defending undisputed national champions in a home bout against the Ohio State Buckeyes. I'm joined by Darius J. Butler. Then we have the face of Ohio State, AJ Hawk, Boston Connor, Taj Schmidt. AJ drove down here in a Sprinter van. His son puked twice on the way down here. Broke an iPad. Had the windows bashed in this morning. Just on the streets of Atlanta here. If Ohio State loses, would you jot this down as the worst trip of all time for you and your family?
Love adversity, Pat. We love adversity in Ohio.
In the end zone, Marvin!
Oh, Marvin!
It is so loud.
You can't hear a thing. Marvin Harrison Jr. ran how many routes, Connor? I think he had a post, then he had a corner, then he had another post in the end zone. Tough to guard. Might see everything he be. This guy is all about ball. He is all business. All ball, all the time. Tunnel screen.
Looks like he's about 7'9", 550. He looks 2 feet bigger than everyone else out there.
D-Butt, look at his dome. Look at his dome.
Look at him. Look at him. One-on-one over there. Oh! Grab that thing.
Touch the ball.
We'll throw back the ref. Get that thing.
Throw that thing. Sling that thing. Hey, my ass ball.
Actually, let me punch it. What a run. Uh-oh. Again. There go that man again. Back to tight end. Deep shot. He's got him.
Are we live right now? And that's the way the cookie crumbles. Hey-oh!
Fours up. Put your fours up. That's coming right to me. That's short.
Any thought of like a fake punt direct snap here, Pat?
That would be awesome. There it is. They call timeout. What happened? The timeout on the fake punt in the fourth quarter is being described by a lot of people as maybe the greatest timeout in the history of college football.
You know, we've had 2 punts faked on us this year. We are very aware and know that people are going to try to steal possessions.
Connor, what quarter is it?
I believe, Pat, if I check my left hand, it is the fourth quarter.
Snap down, hold good. Kick is.
Looks good. Get it, catch it. Yeah.
I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge your great catch under the goalpost. I want you to know when I saw you make that, I thought for a second, is he going to return it? I had visions of kick 6 when you caught that ball, so don't do that to us anymore. But
Jackson takes a shot to the corner. And if you didn't know who we were before our show, yes, every day it is somehow this. Wow, that's stupid. What a game. Let's put on a great performance. It was a good time, man. From all of us to all of you, Happy New Year. Enjoy the hell out of your evening.
Why?
Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it. The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you pig! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Sport! Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Commissioner Trenches Wednesday, November 1st, 2023. Hour 3 of this program starts now. Football is awesome. That man has won a championship in football at the college level and the professional level. He also has one of the greatest jawlines in the history of Homo sapiens. Ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hawk. Ain't that right, AJ? You still working on that jawzercise just in case somebody tries to get you one night while you're walking around with Axel and the team?
Yep, we are always trying to get better over in this household. That's right, Pat.
Yeah, you chew on that jawzercise like it's a piece of gum.
Yeah, maybe I do.
No, we've seen it.
Well, you did on air.
Bet you do.
No, I'm not going to do it on air. I don't know what that means, Con Man. I don't know if you have some like ill will towards that comment or if that's toxic in any way. But yes, I know Foss, who is high up at ESPN, also loves it as well and said it helps him with headaches later in the day.
Foss has a great jawline as well. He's a professional soccer player. Bet you do is a callback to Jim Rome, Chris Everett, I believe.
Yeah, Jim Everett. Kept calling him Chris. Everett.
That's on me, Jim. I do apologize because the way I remembered his name was Chris. He flipped the table.
Oh, yeah. He did.
Chris is a famous tennis player. That's why it happened.
Jim, football player.
Baseball.
Yes.
Of course. Of course.
Oh, he's football.
He's a quarterback.
Jim Everett?
Yeah,
quarterback. Jim Everett, quarterback, yeah.
Oh, so I was right.
Jim Everett's also a baseball player, too.
Well, so you can see how Jim Rome would maybe be a little confused.
Exactly.
What do you want from the guy? He's in the jungle every single day. It's insane. The Talks the Table is here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. Nobody swung on us, Connor. That's good thus far.
Yeah, not yet. I assume it's coming. I mean, I said some pretty mean things about Jim Nantz last week.
Yeah, there was no reason for that. I think he's like notoriously loved, like universally loved.
Really? Yeah, well, his charity event led to one of the most disrespectful things that has happened in Boston in the last 2 decades. But absolutely,
Romo.
It's not him.
His event, but I agree, it's not him.
What?
That's
what you need to not lump Jim Nantz in with what Tony Romo said at that event.
Hard not
Boston.
to. What did Tony say? Only time I ever see Tony Romo.
You know what Tony said, AJ.
Yeah.
Tony had one night where he's boozed up and said something a little bit morally immoral.
Boozed up is putting it a little lightly, but yeah.
Oh, he's drinking Coronas. This is Tony line.
He's drinking more than Coronas.
He's drinking Coromos. You know what it is?
Exactly.
How has that not been the...
Should be. That should be the commercial.
Well, the Coromo is actually the Corona with about half of it filled with vodka.
Well, I have met people that do that. I don't know if it's necessarily the right move. I would like to say I'm enjoying the hell out of Tony Romo on these games again.
He's the best.
You know what I mean? I'm enjoying the hell out of Tony Romo. Way to sit in the pocket. And Tony's always been known to do that.
Yeah.
Sit right. Not good news for his back ever, but he will sit right in the pocket, stare down all the critics, and do his thing. One half of the hammer. Cowboys Tone Diggs is here. Tone, now that we're done with the weekend, what do we need to know about the gambling? The books are hot right now, right?
The books are hot right now. The most fascinating stat that I saw gambling is that MCDC, okay, he just coached he just got over the 50 game mark. Since 1990, he has the best against the spread record in the entire NFL ever through 50 games.
Thank you, MCDC.
Love that. Love that.
Guy's just a dog.
You spend money on the Lions. You bet on them, they want to show up for you. And also this means the sports books had no respect for MCDC for a long time with the spreads probably. They saw him gnaw kneecaps at the beginning, wear a IndyCar helmet at the press conference. This guy ain't going to be able to win any games. He's a stooge. So then the books weren't acting appropriately, and people were taking advantage of it. And Michigan, legal sports gambling state.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So a lot of money has been made off of MCDC as well. We need to ride that big stallion MCDC into this thing.
Him and the Lions are currently on a 15-3 against the spread run.
What?
Yeah, pretty good. And then the other thing that's dominating.
Thank you, MCDC.
Thank you, MCDC. Is the unders. They are 71, 50, and 1 this year. 19 and 7 on prime time are the unders.
Yeah, you love the good prime time under.
I do, and it's funny because we always come in and we talk about it. And we're like, that game sucked last night, and that's because it went under. Normally, it's how people think about the games and stuff like that. If it was low scoring, the game sucked.
It's been a 2-year period now where it's been a lot of prime time duds.
Unders 19 and 7 this year.
Okay, you love a good under too.
Yeah. Why not? It's awesome.
It'll change.
You love a turnover on downs in the red zone.
Yep.
You love a nice fumble at the goal line that's a touchback instead of a touchdown. Love them.
To me.
Yeah, punts, more of them. Yeah. You love everything about it.
I also love, I don't know if you saw last night, Maction is back, and it was back in about 3 inches of snow up in Michigan.
So I do appreciate the fact that Jacksonville State said we'll open midweek football 3 weeks before the Maction Tuesday comes back, because it's been nice to turn on a game. Last night, obviously, the optics were the beautiful part of it, but Maction back in the middle of the week is good gambling for us, because Tone Diggs will be deep in the weeds of a nice Tuesday night or Wednesday night game for us in college football.
Very much so, and I think Bruce said it best. Conference USA can have the nice weather Tuesday, Wednesday games early in the year. When Maction comes in, we want rain, hail, sleet, snow, all those beautiful things that comes with Maction.
And a lot of unders.
Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds like what Tone Diggs is pumped up about. 9-year NFL vet, host of the Man to Man podcast and everything DB. Darius J. Butler is here.
Boy,
D-Bot, we haven't talked about it much. Rasul Douglas got traded immediately after we went off the air yesterday, which we kind of said was going to happen. We're going to stop, and then somebody's going to be traded. Although the trade deadline produced some massive events. Josh Dobbs, new starting quarterback from one place to another. Yeah. That's a huge deal. Rasul Douglas, though, going from Green Bay to the Buffalo Bills immediately after we end, that's sneaky, massive play, right, for the Buffalo Bills?
Could be. They needed another corner. They want to play man coverage. We obviously know they lost Tre'Davious White. Kyrie Elam, their first-round pick from a couple of years ago, he's been a healthy scratch for a few weeks, so obviously got to figure out what's going on there as far as developmental wise and getting him on the field, but getting a guy who's been around, who can play inside, who can play outside, who can press, who can play off. Rasul Douglas is a smart player, and it's funny. I saw a little sound bite of him and Josh Allen. Talking a little shit.
Oh, chirping a little bit?
And now they're teammates, so.
Speaking of that, everybody says Rasul, great teammate. So he's getting dropped in there. He's going to mix in, blend in well. And that's the type of player you want on the team. Somebody on the other side talking shit to you. On your side, you're talking shit back. Now we're all together. 12-year NFL vet, Super Bowl champion AQ Shipley's here. Other big news of yesterday after we went off the air. First official college football playoff top 25 ranking. Joining us now, fresh off a call of one of his 10 jobs, is the voice of college football for the last 28 years, Kirk Herbstreit. Herbie. Okay, let's get right to it because we know you're very busy, and we thank you for taking time on this glorious Wednesday with a game tomorrow, game Saturday, and also college game day in there. I know you're in the middle of prep. Let's dive in. What did you see last night from the first official top 25, and how should we be viewing this? Because it's hard to obviously project what's going to take place for the rest of the season, let alone any Saturday for college football. But what does this mean, and what did you take away from last night's first edition?
First of all, everybody needs to be pissed off. Everybody needs to be mad. Everybody needs to just hate everybody. That's what the first rankings mean.
College football, baby. College football.
That's how we roll. That's how we roll. You know what it means is I think that this committee is looking at the resume, and I understand it. I think that the one thing that I always think about is this is subjective. So how AJ breaks it down, or you do, or anybody looks at it, it's up to you. So it's your own rankings. What do you look at? I happen to look at, I think the resume is very important. Like Ohio State going to South Bend at night and winning, that's a big deal. Oregon beating Utah in Utah, tough place to win. That's a big deal. Washington beating Oregon at home, big deal. So all the Texas winning in Tuscaloosa, those are all big things. But I think also a big thing is who's the best team. This is not about putting the most deserving teams in at the end of this when the dust settles. It's about putting the best four. And I think that's where the argument has always been with the college football playoff. I think there are a lot of people that want to put the most deserving teams in. How do you evaluate most deserving? If it's all about being undefeated, everybody should play MAC teams or below in the non-conference, and Texas should never play Alabama. What's the point? If it's just about being undefeated, why the hell am I going to go to Tuscaloosa and go play Alabama? Like, why would you play anybody? Which is not good for the game. It's not the kind of games players want to play in. It's not the kind of games that fans want to watch. So I have a special place in my heart when I see teams that are willing to go out in the non-conference and play somebody. And even if that team sucked that year, 3, 4, 5, 7 years ago, whenever they scheduled them, it's a massive Power 5 opponent that at least they attempted to try to schedule. So to me, there are differential aspects of this that when you get to the end of it, you can try to separate teams in that cluster. For right now, no issue if you have Ohio State at 1 because the win against Penn State, the win against Wisconsin, of course, the win against Notre Dame. I think that's why they're up at the top. You can make a very strong argument for Georgia to be at the top because they're coming off their best week of football, and I think a lot of people think they're the best team when they play up to their ability. And you can make a strong argument for Michigan. They haven't played anybody, but they've been the most dominant in all 3 phases. So we're splitting hairs at the top. The cool thing is, Pat, all these teams literally in the top 13 control their own destiny. It's all in front of you. You win your games, you're going to be exactly where you want to be. It's not worth getting upset about right now. Go out and win, and you're going to continue to climb the ladder.
Yeah, and I think that's the beautiful thing about college football or football in general. But if you're ranked up there, fan base has got to be pumped that you're already getting a head start on potentially making it into the college football playoff. But if you lose, it doesn't matter at all. AJ, your question for Kirk.
Kirk, do you think it matters what the games look like or what your wins look like, especially at this point before this first poll? Like, how do you think, like, hey, they don't look like they should? They're not blowing everybody out if you're one of the top teams?
Yeah, I think Ohio State's an example of that. I mean, you and I know Ohio State pretty well over the years. And I think, and as much as I want to jump up and down and say Ohio State's the best team in the country, we're alums and we're fans, and we that's our team. But we're also honest. I think right now Ohio State's playing great defense. I think Ryan Day deserves a lot of credit because he's gone from being a guy that's scoring 45 or 50 a game with C.J. Stroud and the offense that they've had over the years to now they're winning with defense and they're running the ball with Trevion Henderson and they're being careful with their pass game. They're throwing it to Marvin, but they're not quite being the offense that you're used to seeing, and they deserve a lot of credit for that. There's different ways to win, but are they that same offense that you just guaranteed he's going to score 45, they're going to throw it all over the yard? They're growing to try to become that, but that's not who they are yet. So I think the committee looked at those wins that you're referring to and said, nobody's got a better resume, so because of that, let's put them up at number 1. And I don't think you can have you can defend that. But like I said, I think you could defend Georgia, you could defend Michigan. They're at this point in the season, we're not even just getting to November. I think this system was built to get to December, not November. So it's easy to kind of get upset and it's easy to kind of find inconsistencies. But at the end, hopefully it all makes sense.
To echo the statement a little bit there, You think about Florida State at 4. They just had their best game. They beat the hell out of Wake. Washington the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, like that Washington win over Oregon is huge. That's a massive win. But you watch them the last 2 weeks, they have not looked their best. Florida State's coming off their absolute best game, and Oregon looks like an absolute buzzsaw. Very excited and thankful to be a part of it alongside of you every single weekend. Can't wait to get down to Alabama. Good luck tomorrow night in Pittsburgh, and we'll see you in Tuscaloosa, pal.
Awesome, brother. Appreciate it. Sorry I was a little bit late. I was just talking to Coach Tomlin. It took a little time there.
Yeah. Don't let it happen again.
Bowl.
Coach Tomlin, you got to call his game tomorrow night. Lot going on in that building. You tell him to shut up, and you come do college football play. We appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen. Kirk Herbstreit. So he's digging deep there. It sounds like him and Tomlin had a great conversation. I wonder what that was about. Was it about you dressing up as the devil, Matt Cannon?
I would assume, Herbie's a professional. He wouldn't bring that up to Coach T. But for the rankings, I think the committee did something smart, okay? They have Texas above Oklahoma. Head-to-head, Oklahoma beat them. They have Kansas above Oklahoma State. Head-to-head, Oklahoma State beat Kansas. But then they also have where head-to-heads, they have the same record, and they have the team that won above them. So they can – later on down the road, they could say, sometimes, we have the head-to-head, but it doesn't matter, and sometimes it does. So it doesn't matter ever, and they can put teams wherever they want.
Fascinating thing that he brought up in there. It's like if it's just being undefeated, they can just book terrible games, non-conference games, and everybody's going to hate it. Everybody's going to get mad about it. Everybody's going to talk shit about it. But if that's what they're judging off of, why would the schools not do that if they're trying to hunt for a national championship? It's like Notre Dame, Ohio State. That's a big relationship that's gone back. Last year, Ohio State almost got by Notre Dame in that particular game. This year, they go in there and do that. Obviously, James Franklin and the boys are a much better team this year, and that was an early conference game for them. But I appreciate Kirk bringing that up because it's hard not to just judge that. Like, it's hard not to just be like,
very much.
This team hasn't lost. So, like, I'm saying that with Georgia, pretty much.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, this team hasn't lost, and they're the national champions back-to-back. Like, they should be number one in my eyes. But then also, I think there was a time where they were supposed to play somebody backed out, and it's probably tough to book schools if you're Georgia, I would assume, at this particular time. It's a weird balance and dynamic for the entire season and what they're judging off of for the ultimate prize.
If I remember, I think it was Oklahoma or something, or Texas. I think it was Oklahoma, and then once they joined the plan to join the SEC, that game got canceled or something.
Yeah, because now they're going to be playing each other anyways in the SEC.
I think that's what
it's a wild... It's a weird time in college football. And then they do the projections of what next year. They're like, this is this year.
Yeah, just
and they're like, next year, though, this is what's coming. It's like college football is about to get awesome. And I do appreciate that they're going to give them a little bit more of an ability to, miss.
Slip up a little bit, you mean? Yeah, like have a slip up?
Yeah, the committee I'm talking about. Because whoever's 5 in this thing, so mad. So
forever. Like that was our year. That was the year we were supposed to do it. Like, University of Dayton. They were their basketball team. This is a weird reference, obviously, but they were doing great, killing it, having a great year. Obi Toppin's there, and COVID hits, and they don't get to go to the tournament. The one year that they had a chance to make a really, really good run.
So people are mad at COVID for a lot of reasons. Dayton Flyers certainly pissed about the basketball scene. Sabrina Ionescu. But whenever you talk about this particular thing, if you're ranked 5 in a country, your team is very fucking good.
Yeah.
Like, you remember being ranked,
Washington.
I was on a team that was ranked in the top 5. It was a huge ordeal. Like, you were obviously on teams there. Were you guys ever ranked in there?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it was before everything came out.
Oh, yeah.
We finished number 3 in
Joe
05.
Pa.
Finished top 5.
Wait for Joe Pa.
Oh,
Wow.
So
13.
Come on.
Yeah.
wow.
First time in school history ranked.
Yeah, but that's a huge
Trailblazer.
deal. Like, being ranked 5th in the first official one is massive, and I'm sure Washington's okay with it because their fan base has had to go through the last couple of weeks where they haven't looked necessarily as great. But some of these teams that are 8th, 9th, they're so mad.
Yeah.
And it's like, we got a lot of season left. Your team is ranked very high. That doesn't matter anymore. It's like, hey, we are on a path to win a national championship. Good luck to all of them. Dabo talking about, his fan.
Yeah, CW.
Yeah, it's awesome. It is.
It just shows you, man, winning helps a lot. It really does. It's tough to lose games as a head coach of a program that is not used to losing games.
All right, we'll take some phone calls on the phone lines. 1-833-432-3663. 1-833-4-DA-DOME. Can't wait to hear what the people are talking about. Let's talk about some other things that are being talked about around the sports world. Wemby last night.
Man.
Dressed up like Slender Man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what a Slender Man is, but when I saw the caption and I saw the way he looked, I thought to myself, that's the perfect costume for somebody that's 7'5",
identical,
and is built the way he is. That is what the scary person from, was it New York?
Ooh, I don't know where exactly it was.
I think
internet.
Yeah, I think it was on the internet, but I think there was an actual Slender Man in New York somewhere. I watched a documentary on it, I think. I don't know what it looked like, but nonetheless, this guy is fascinating to watch play basketball. He, I guess, came out and said that Kevin Durant is his idol and the person he looks up to. Kevin Durant was playing against him last night, was asked about it. Kevin Durant said, that just makes me feel old, because a guy who's coming into the league looked up to me through it all. And then in the end of the game, Wemby has a putback, goes around Kevin Durant, okay? Big, long three, 114, 111 here. Phoenix has the lead with 11 seconds back. Oh, let me go around. Wemby says, thank you. I don't have to jump to do that. Now, all of a sudden, we have I think, 1 point game.
2.
Oh, no.
And then Kevin Durant gets the rock. Stolen. Give me that. Layup. Takes the lead with 2 seconds left. Phoenix Suns go from having a massive win at home to a 1-point loss to Wemby and the boys. And Kevin Durant's kind of right in the middle of that. And Wemby is right in the middle of that as well. What have you seen from Wemby and the Spurs team thus far? And this guy's must watch just because of how it looks out there.
Yeah, still fascinating just to see him move around the court. You're used to guys that aren't that tall, but being under the rim and stuff. He's getting rebounds. He's going coast to coast. It's absurd watching him dribble. But we were talking about this before with Bruce. Everyone, including the players on his own team, probably even including Greg Popovich, they have to kind of understand and get used to the fact that he is 7'5" and everything. He can do everything on the floor. You'd think that if to get him in the game, maybe they give him a couple easy posts. He's chucking up threes to start this game. It is ridiculous. He only took 12 shots. He should be taking about 30 a game, I'd say. He definitely needs the ball more. He only played 28 minutes. He's got to play, again, 30, 35 minutes. Let's get this guy. He should
What is it? They're trying to slow roll it a little bit? Is that what they're trying to do?
Yeah, that.
Body type like that.
Yeah, the other guys, he needs to play with those guys. He's only played a few games with all the guys on his team. It's not like they're not trying to give him the ball, but when you're watching, it is frustrating because there are times where he should clearly be getting the basketball, whether it's out on the three-point line or in the block or in, fast break and everything.
What do you mean, he's underneath and there's somebody that he is certainly a mismatch?
Yeah, I showed you a couple of them in the first quarter where it's there's a guard on him because they're running pick and rolls with him, and they're not, passing it down to him on the block when clearly it's an automatic bucket. But I guess that is part of the getting used to the fact that you have an automatic 2 points every single time someone who isn't Kevin Durant or a center is guarding him.
So I'm fascinated by the fact that this seems to be an NBA thing. When we went down to New Orleans, they introduced Zion third. Okay, I think they introduced him third in the starting lineup in his first game, and they were only on national television because he was playing. It was his debut, and they were like, well, we don't want to put too much on his plate.
Which makes sense.
Too soon.
Yeah.
As it was coming out, they didn't want to put too much on his plate too soon. They didn't want the pressures of being it, and also they were worried about his health. It's this dude's had the pressure of a franchise on his shoulders since he's the Zion
14
franchise, since he's 14 years old. But it feels like the NBA tries its best to protect some people. I don't know if that's what's going on with San Antonio, but I'm excited for the day whenever it's the Wemby show every single game.
I will be excited. I'm excited for the day, and hopefully it comes. Don't know if it will. Maybe the in-season tournament will help. Maybe the new rules that Adam Silver is kind of putting out there with stars resting.
Oh, yeah.
I know Charles Barkley kind of cut a promo on opening night, fans expect you want the guys to get out there and play. And if you're hurt, that's one thing. But if you're just third game of the season and you're sitting to rest,
Jimmy,
injury or Brad Beal, not sure what's going on with him. He's not coming out. Book been out. It's come on, dude. Come on, we gotta get out there and play. And you can't be slow rolling, 22-year-olds, 19-year-olds.
Yes.
What are we doing?
Yeah, I agree, and that's how I ended up getting to introduce the Pelicans, actually, because I was so loud about it.
Mm-hmm.
Can we just put this guy on the fucking court and just give him the ball? And then whenever he was on it, he was so scared to have the ball. It was like he was passing away. It was like, how come the coach isn't saying, hey, when you get the ball, we're all here for you.
Yeah, just play.
Take that thing right to the rack. And then everything kind of unfolded, and they're like, see? That's why. That's why we didn't know. It's like, all right, you're right. I'm wrong. With Wemby, it feels like he's been prepared to be an NBA guy his whole life, literally.
Yeah, it's like Luka. Luka played professional basketball when he was 15 years old. If you look up Luka Doncic's rookie year, it says 2015, but he didn't join the NBA until 2018. So this guy, he can play. He knows how to play. And we looked at the Luka stuff earlier. When Luka came in with the Mavericks, it kind of felt like this, where he's the new face of the franchise, and some of the older vets maybe aren't no, you're not, but maybe don't want the transition to be in the first game. So, like, DeAndre Jordan, I think it was DeAndre Jordan, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, Harrison Barnes. Like, the Mavericks got rid of or didn't re-sign like 6 or 7 vets that they had for Luka's rookie year. And then that second year is when he really became like, okay, this is the guy for the Mavericks and one of the guys in the NBA.
I also wonder if part of the problem is like with a lot of these NBA teams, like even if a guy's not like a superstar, it's like some of these guys who no one's ever heard of before are making like $30 million a year. So it's like, hey, you're paying me a shitload of money. You know, like I understand we just drafted this guy first overall, but like, I'm still on this team. I'm still you invested all this money in me. Like, I'm still out here to get shots up, and I'm not just going to give the keys to this guy just because we drafted him first overall.
Are we watching the NBA this year?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I watch it, NBA and NHL.
I usually watch it later.
I watch the highlight. I feel like I'm in tune because I just watch. The internet is the NBA is the internet.
Yeah, they crushed.
It's an internet league.
Yeah.
You know, like everybody
When's
talks.
Ja coming back?
What's that, buddy?
When's John Morant coming back?
I think
50 games, 25.
I think he's got 20 games left. Yeah, it was 25.
I'm looking forward to that. That guy is must-watch TV.
Electric. Yeah. I mean, is he the same guy?
Got to be. He should have a little more spring in his step.
Yeah,
should have some fresh legs.
You think he'd be healthier?
Yeah.
Because we'd assume he's taking care of his body a little bit more from what we had heard in the past. But what if, that edge? I don't want him to look because he is an edge guy.
True.
Like that is kind of his thing.
He's going to have more of an edge. He's going to be so pissed he got suspended. He's going to take it out in the league.
Hell yeah, John.
Dylan Brooks is gone too. The drama.
That guy got embarrassed by Steph the other night.
Yes, he did.
I feel like it's going to follow him forever, what he did, the whole little playoff run he had.
Yeah, he got
paid, though.
Yeah,
Got paid. Worked out for him. Jerry Jones was talking about the big time, huge 4:15 Eastern matchup against the Philadelphia Eagles this weekend, this morning on his weekly hit with
102.5 The Fan, 105 The Fan.
103.5.
There it is.
Your Dallas Cowboys.
105.3 The Fan.
Ooh,
105.
Thought I had it.
105.3 The Fan. You're home for Cowboys coverage. Also, you're home for Jerry Jones every single week. Probably does that for free if I had to guess. Joining us now, let's hear him talk about the respect he has for Philadelphia in a massive game coming up this weekend.
Yeah, this is easy for me to say, but this is serious that we're dealing with up here, Sunday, man. We've got to really have our game face on, and Philadelphia is a tough place to get your momentum going, but it's all there. And to me, this is all about just what the NFL can be. I had a priest, Father Tribu, that both my sons went to Catholic school there when we lived in Little Rock, and but Father Tribu really became their master, and he was just that. He was Bill Clinton took him to see the Pope when Bill Clinton was president. He was such an educator, but his family was from Philadelphia, and he was raised by all sisters, all girls raised him, and so you can imagine he had a lifelong wit about him, but also a lifelong resentment because they put dresses on him when he was young. But we used to have a big time. But I'll never forget, I was walking through the stadium, and you have to get to the dressing room and get to where you're going to sit to watch the game. And I heard somebody yell over the background, said, "Look at that arrogant SOB." Said, even got his own priest going along with it. Said, doesn't that take a lot of audacity? And, of course, I winked at him and blew him a kiss and said, you bet.
You should see what his sisters did to him. That's what Jerry said about the priest. And shout out to Father Tribune, obviously, and everything he's accomplished in that. But here's Mike McCarthy talking about Philadelphia as well. So now the owner talking about going to Philadelphia a little bit and then took a little bit of a detour and then obviously came back talking about Philadelphia. Here's big Mike McCarthy talking about heading up to Philly.
I think clearly, the expectation of, what's it going to be like to play in Sunday night football in Philadelphia. I don't know if we haven't played during the daytime since I've been here. So I mean that's good to have that experience.
It's not Sunday night.
Because you go in there, it is a unique place to play, and we look forward to it. So it's so that's part of it. But schematically, and these players know each other. I mean, some of these guys train together in the off season too. So I think all that is helpful.
What makes Philadelphia a unique place to play?
just friendly people. Just.
I love that. I love that it's being talked about. I love that it's obvious that the Cowboys are being told by their coach, by the owner, by the GM, and Cowboys know this, obviously. They're the Dallas Cowboys that play there a lot. But it's like a reminder, hey, we're going into a place where their fans, are a part of the game. That's a place that is going to be very loud, very harsh in a massive game. I think we're building up for a good 4:15 game on Sunday between these two in the NFC East, AJ.
Yeah, we are. Isn't what coaches always say when you're going to Philly, like, hey, these fans booed Santa Claus. Like, that's always the thing that they say about Philly, isn't it?
Didn't they
throw
snowballs, batteries, and snowballs,
which is great. They care for their team, man. Like Philly's a great place to play, man. If you can go into Philly and get a win, your team can build so much momentum and so much, because it is like players respect how Philly fans are. They really do. Even if you're against them and they're yelling at you, throwing stuff, like, you're like, man, this is pretty sweet how diehard they are for their squad.
I appreciate the fact that they are the way they are. I think every stadium should be that way. Mm-hmm. But those places that are a little bit more ruthless,
a little more edge to them.
It's all that makes the game better. I think every single, even if it was, and it's not. If that was a 1:00 game, whenever the fans are being the way they are, they almost build the hype around the game and make it feel bigger and better. I love that Philly fans are being chatted about.
Especially as a player, because sometimes you go in and the coach will tell you, hey, this is going to be one of those games. We got to bring our own energy, got to bring your own juice. You go in here, as soon as you pull in the buses and you're going through the tailgates and shit, you're getting the birds, you're getting shit probably thrown at the bus. And is this the stadium that has the jail in it? Or
Yeah. They try to put as many jails as possible in Philadelphia, from what I've been told.
Smart.
I don't know if they're all packed out or not, but it feels like potentially a conversation starter for there is that. AQ, you played for the Eagles there for a bit, played for the Steelers, similar fan bases. You played for the Ravens.
Great fan bases.
Similar fan base.
Colts.
Baltimore fans.
Well.
The Baltimore, we're a hospitable bunch. It's called Hoosier Hospitality.
That's why I threw it in there.
They are loud, obviously, but they're not going to be telling people, things about their mother and their family and things that they've done in their past, and very loudly pointing that out to not only them, but everybody around them as well, what this person has done. They feel like they're a part of the game. Favorite place to play for you whenever it comes to that type of thing? Because I'd assume you appreciate the shit talk, if I had to guess.
Honestly, my favorite places to play are the ones that are going to shit talk you. From Seattle, whenever I was in Arizona, I loved it. You go there and they're talking shit and you're booing you. It's awesome. When you go to Philadelphia, it's amplified, and it is awesome. I mean, that's what you live for as a player. You live for being the villain and going in and spoiling the home crowd.
And whenever they're actually, at the beginning, riding the wave of the game, like you talk about on the ride in, like, there's been a couple places you pull in where it's not just like old people doing it. It's like there's kids.
Oh yeah.
Little kind of kids with their dad, like, telling, hey, they can't hear us because those windows, but they can certainly see us. Come on, Johnny. Put that little middle. Remember what I taught you. Fuck this team. Like, that is, I love that, AJ. I genuinely do. And then there's some places like Green Bay, I do believe. Indianapolis is very similar to this. I think Nebraska is known for this in college. Like, they're going to be there. It's going to be loud, but they're going to be very hospitable. Hey, good game. Hey, good game on the other way. That's also a little mental fuckery, AJ.
Yeah, it is. I think it can work either way. It could work on teams, especially maybe if you have some guys that have never played there, maybe some young guys, it's their first experience like that. Say you came from some small school in college, didn't play in front of a ton of people, and then all of a sudden you're thrust into the starting lineup at Philly. Like, that could play some games on some people.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. Go ahead, Connor.
You remember when Joey Bosa was walking into the Niners-Eagles championship game last year? That's like the perfect.
Anytime you get somebody to say, yeah, I'm rich or not, bitch, you know you won.
Yeah.
And that really got it. Yup, thought so.
Yeah.
Just got this, John. It's on camera. You fucking loser. Yeah, got it. I mean, those are the types of fans that we appreciate.
Raiders fans, too.
The old Raiders.
Throwback, Oakland, Black Hole. Like, I went to, as a fan, my boy played for the Raiders. I went to a Raiders-Chargers game. That shit, that environment.
Head on a swivel?
Oh, yeah. Head on a swivel in the everywhere. The bathroom, if you had on, it was like some gang shit out there. Like,
well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that a lot.
Is Houston like that, or are they just loud?
Loud.
Yeah.
Houston's very
just
loud.
Yeah.
Very, very loud. But if they won, I'd assume they'd be able to turn it up a little bit.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, if you're a good fan base and your team hasn't won, I think you kind of are forced into being like, good game.
Yeah.
But if you win a lot, like Patriots fans, they don't get enough credit either.
Great.
New England fans, very loud.
Very loud.
It's always talking about like, hey, football team's good, Tom's good, Bill's good, everything like that. That stadium is and they're assholes.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
The muskets.
Yeah, the
Huge
shots.
pricks. And they've had reasons to be arrogant for a very long time. Like, that helps a fan base out immensely.
Yeah, and they have stayed, kind of true to themselves. Like last year, I think it was Stephon Diggs where the fan yelled, suck my dick, and then you got
it was caught on camera.
Yeah, you got the soundbite of Stephon Diggs, shut the fuck up. Like that's a great little exchange we got.
Those are good battles.
Yeah.
Those are things that don't get talked about. Can't get obviously promoted in a lot of places.
Sure.
But there's some stadiums that view themselves as a weapon. Eagles fans, you've done it. You heard Jerry and you heard Mike.
Yeah, good work.
Massive day. Congratulations on doing that. Tomorrow night, Pittsburgh Steelers fans excited to hear what they are. Let's go to the phones, shall we? We got Bones, actually, in Pittsburgh.
Ooh. Oh, nice.
Bones in Pittsburgh. How you doing? Hopefully better than the Steelers, Penguins, and the Pirates. Oh!
All right. It's brutal here. It's brutal. How you guys doing? How's the boys?
Hey, everybody's good, Bones. Big night tomorrow night for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Tone Diggs dressed up like the devil and Matt Canada.
Just Matt Canada.
Oh, sorry. Called Matt Canada the devil yesterday. Mike Tomlin's come out and, had to say some things about turnovers, basically taking a shot at the defense. Do you have any faith left in this Pittsburgh Steelers team there in Pittsburgh, Bones?
You know what? I got a few things I want to say about that. I honestly think we might be chanting for the wrong guy to be fired here, bud. Canada, sort of a front to me in the trenches while Coach T sits on the horse at the back of the battlefield.
Whoa.
He's getting a little too comfy for me, bro. 6 years, no playoff wins. 2016 last playoff win, 30th in total offense. Right. 30th in total defense right now.
Like Tom
my man's running out of things to say at the podium, bud. I just want to know where our stones are, bro. Like, you watch the games, it's like, we're Pittsburgh. Enough's enough,
All right. Bones not happy.
Enough.
No, he's not.
Did you expect that from a call from Pittsburgh a day before a game?
Not going that Coach T.
He said people were chanting "Fire Canada." Enough. He's a puppet. It's a guy in the back.
He's on the horse at the back of the battlefield.
Oh my God. All right, did not expect that. Coach T, it's getting loud.
Yeah.
Coach T, it's getting loud.
It wasn't the worst reference I've ever heard, to be honest.
Is that how all of Pittsburgh feels? I'm really starting. I genuinely.
I'm pretty sure we are very, very close to that. Now they have cooled down that because they've had timely wins. Like we haven't gone on a losing streak yet.
4-3.
Yeah, exactly.
Leading second in the AFC North.
Second in the AFC North. So I mean, it's gonna get real. Like this is how they are with a winning record. This is how we are with a winning record.
Yeah,
So what are you saying is going to happen, Tony?
Wait until rattle off 4 or 5 losses in a row here.
That ain't gonna happen.
I don't.
What are you talking about?
Mike T.
Yeah, what's their
What do you mean?
schedule? Is
The
that
defense
hard?
keeps
I don't
scoring.
care
The defense
what-
scores 2 or 3 times a game.
Speaking of that, let's go to a quote from Mike Tomlin
Thank
from
you.
his press conference talking about the turnovers in the defense. A lot of people got very flustered about this quote, and I don't know if they heard it or just read it. But here's Mike Tomlin talking about the synopsis of the game this past weekend where the Jacksonville Jaguars came into Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh weather, played Pittsburgh football, and beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then stole the terrible towels from Yinzers and Pittsburghers sitting in the front row. I mean, most disrespectful thing that could have happened to the Steelers. Here's Coach Tomlin.
We were able to get some turnovers, but they weren't the type of turnovers that tee up the offense in terms of being on the short field, although I do appreciate them. They kept the score down. They weren't the type of ones that teed up the offense. And so, obviously, we got a desire to dominate the turnover component of play. We got some, but not the type that's really advantageous.
Hey, that pissed off a lot of people. Oh, we didn't get the right turnovers. It sounds like people think he's attacking the defense, which I know Bones just said is 30th ranked in the but it's like the defense is really the only part of it. I felt like after listening to that was him talking shit on the offense. That wasn't him talking shit on the defense. Yeah. That was him saying, like, our defense knows that we have to basically hand points to this offense that we're playing right now. That's kind of how I took it after listening to it. But whenever you read, like, these turnovers weren't good turnovers, talking about ones that are in the red zone, I think you naturally bury them. What are your thoughts on it, AJ?
Yeah, I took it how you did. Like, he's trying to wake that offense up because I don't know about you guys, but I've never really heard any coach tell a team or tell anybody, hey, appreciate the turnovers. These just aren't good turnovers. We need them in better. We need better field position. We need something else. You got to score a couple times defensively. Yeah, you want all that, but usually a turnover is a turnover. You give your offense an extra possession. Here we go. So yeah, I think he's talking the offense a little bit.
I think he's kind of mailed it in on the offense being good.
Yeah,
he's kind of like,
He's
hey,
not
listen,
the only
Won't happen.
hey, listen. We all know what's happening out there in this defense that I am a part of, and I'm a defensive guy, and it's a massive reason why we've never finished below 500 is because how the defenses have been in Pittsburgh. Our defense knows, yeah, you got to fucking take it to the house. I don't care if you get a pick in the end zone. We need to go 105 yards, at least 95 yards to score some points. I appreciate that that's his angle, but boy, there's a lot of ex-players that have said, this motherfucker speaking publicly about this type of stuff, he might lose some people.
Is that what Bones meant by running out of shit to say at the podium?
I think so.
I'm with AJ. Never heard the not a good turnover. We did see the Denver game, and they teed up the offense a bunch in great field position. It is turnover battle and field position. Those are the biggest indicators when it comes to winning and losing games. But I mean, come on now.
He also said punter needs to be a bit more consistent. Yeah, so I think
he's tired of it all as well.
Yeah, I think he's not only tired of it all, but I think he acknowledges hey, this offense, we get it. Okay, we need field position game like punter. We need to have a fucking better day. Can't be inconsistent. Defense, yeah, we need you to play offense too when you're on the defensive side of the ball. I think that's what he was saying. AQ, you don't love this necessary phrasing though?
I don't like the messaging, but here's the thing. If he's tired of all the shit that he keeps saying all the stuff at the podium, right?
Thank you.
Make some fucking changes besides just adding padded practices to Wednesday. All right, cool. We can talk shit on this guy. We can talk shit on this guy. We can make this thing that's directed at the offense. We'll fucking make some changes then.
AQ from Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Yeah, you hear a lot of. I'm from Pittsburgh. Tone's from Pittsburgh.
I'm from Pittsburgh.
AQ's from Pittsburgh. Connor's not from Pittsburgh. His name's Boston Connor. No. Bones. Sounds like he is from Pittsburgh.
He sounds like a Pittsburgh guy.
I don't know if we're going to go to another phone call, to be honest with you. I did not expect to get into it.
Bones is pretty good.
Defense been giving up 140 a game on the ground, something like that.
Oh, the pass isn't much better. But make us out. So,
not used to that. Steelers defense.
What happens? What happens at the end of the year?
What's going to happen? Yeah, the rest of the season.
Penn stink too. I heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very bad.
No,
that's the difference.
No, bad. Yeah.
Well, it's 5-on-3 to end the game, and then they lose.
Yeah, I saw that. Shorthanded.
Yeah.
You knew that was coming though. They're old.
Long season.
Usually they start well.
Stats say they should have the most goals in the league.
Analytics told us, that they're playing better than everybody.
Yeah, they have the most.
What does that mean?
They have the most would have been goals on would have been plays.
Yeah.
Stat that.
That's real?
Yeah.
That's real?
Mm-hmm.
That's accurate.
But they just say every goalie stand on their head?
Yes. Yeah. Guy saved one with his fucking back end of his stick through his legs the other. Yes, that is what's happening.
Maybe he's actually from Pittsburgh. He should be our goalie.
Hockey gods are just completely.
They'll win the would have been cup, though.
Look at you.
Well, there's the Carabao Cup Classic that's happening.
That's right.
And they have that in the NHL. The Caribou Cup.
It's a big matchup today, actually.
Anyways,
does Gump know about that?
Carabao Cup?
The Carabao Cup?
Yeah, it's massive.
How come the first time we heard about it was from Burnley?
No, I tell you guys about it all the time. You just sweep it to the side.
It's one of those. I've never heard you say Carabao Cup.
Talked about it yesterday.
New cup every 2
days.
You can't keep track of all these cups.
So it's a World Cup, the Euros Cup, the this Cup, the that Cup, the Happy Cup, the Messi Cup, and then
FA Cup, Carabao Cup.
We're trying to keep up. We're Champions Cup. We're trying.
MLS playoffs tonight. Actually, Atlanta's
Who cares?
Is Miami playing?
That's why I don't bring up the Carabao Cup right there. There's your answer.
The best fucking player in the world, dude. And they win 100 games and somehow, well, none of those were MLS games. So they're playing
he won
all
the
these
cup
other
already.
He won the Balloon d'Or.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, by the way, MLS player wins the Balloon d'Or.
About time.
It's our sport now.
Should have been Freddie Adu.
It's our sport now. Hell yeah, it should have been. I saw it. Literally, I think his first game in America was against my team. He was certainly not our age, but he did cook us. He fucking cooked us. I've never seen anything like it. He was bodying everybody. I think he had like a 75-mile-an-hour shot when we were like 12. That didn't make any sense. But he's a dog.
On the playoffs?
Huh?
How do they not let Messi's team in the playoffs? Like, that's one of the biggest mistakes I've seen.
Should have asked Gary Bettman about that, what he would have done if he was the commissioner of the MLS. I do believe the commissioner of the MLS has been offered up to our program, though.
Okay.
So whenever he comes on or she comes on, we will certainly ask, like, hey, could we have not just
Open it up for more teams, maybe, or just let everybody in?
Or fugaze that midseason tournament and just add those points.
Oh, you win that thing, you automatically get into the playoffs.
Boom.
I'd love to hear what horseshit answer we get in return, but to why Messi's not in the playoffs.
You talking about the Balloon d'Or winner?
Yeah, I am. But hey, guess what? The Atlanta United has 8 guys who are really good who no one's ever fucking heard of that you can watch in the playoffs. No thanks.
The disrespect.
It's
true. It is, but it's very true at the same time.
Disgusting.
We're not happy about it.
I'm pissed.
You wanted to watch.
And guess what? Now I won't ever watch an MLS game again until Messi's back on the pitch. But outside of that, no thanks.
I paid my Apple subscription to watch this MLS stalker.
That's right.
And Messi's not even out there?
Oh, okay.
After he wins the Balloon d'Or?
Okay. No thanks.
They got to fix that too on Apple. You got to click too many things.
I
to
haven't
get to
been in
the
there
game.
in months.
Yeah.
Well, you
Haven't
click,
thought about
you click
it.
the game, then you got to click like 4 times to get to the actual game.
Messi's not playing right now, so they don't give a fuck if you watch it or not.
No, that was when Messi was playing too.
Yeah, it was
And
interesting.
Messi did get hurt too.
Yeah, he went down and he played for Argentina, though.
Yeah.
He was just slicing and dicing. So did he, or did he think to himself, we got no shot to make the playoffs somehow, even though they gave me 45% of this league? What the fuck are they doing? You know, the NBA, they said, how do we get Zion in here? Oh, we need 14 teams. Okay, 14 teams in.
There.
They can't do it at the MLS. Why? Because the Carabao Cup? Jeez. I'm sick of it.
The old school soccer people be mad or something? They're worried about the integrity of the game?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the MLS has
all of the
MLS has
MLS
been around for
marks
10
were
years.
mad enough about every Messi highlight that
And
was
the
posted.
Hey, I did appreciate that all the MLS teams when Messi came to town, they were booing his ass
Oh,
as opposed to
yeah.
thanking his ass.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Like, oh, people are watching our league now. We might be able to spend more money on things. We might get a little bit more of a spotlight because this guy's here. Get him the fuck out of our town. I appreciated that.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I actually did like that. But with that being said, these soccer marks is what we're calling them.
Yep.
The Sarks.
Yeah.
You can't be that blind to know that, like, this dude should be playing as much as possible.
It was also just an excuse every time he did something good. It's like it's the MLS. Also, the guy did the same thing in the goddamn World Cup. Like, he's the best player in the world. It's not the MLS.
Not in the playoffs, though. Couldn't lead team to the playoffs.
Now he got banged up. It's a tough schedule.
Too physical is what they're saying.
Well, the MLS,
What happened?
problem. That's
What happened to him?
I mean, they had to win 15 straight games to get in. After
Yeah, but
he
they
joined
did
the
win
team.
10.
Yeah.
That didn't count.
Well, they won the MLS Open.
Oh,
Okay.
don't
Another
even tell me.
That's what I'm saying.
Another
Now we're
one.
back to the
Serious.
Carabao
Another
Cup
one.
They
again.
won the Waterbury Open.
Hey, Burnley,
That's it.
18 more games. There's a chance they're no longer in that big one, right?
No,
They're
they
dead.
fucking stink.
They're
Apparently,
dead.
they have
Oh,
no
my.
chance.
Well, you
If they
called
win all
JJ back.
18, though, they're good.
There's 4 teams at the very bottom that one is going to stay up. They just got to be the one that stays
Hell yeah.
up.
They're going to do it.
No
Sheffield
chance.
United has 1 point.
How many does?
Burnley has 4. Bournemouth now has 5.
Who's the person in first place?
Luton
have?
Town has 5.
Tottenham?
Tottenham's top of the table.
So how many points do they have?
Let me check.
Hey, JJ.
Yeah.
Hell
Oh, he's ready.
Oh, he's got the kid on.
Of course.
We were just talking about soccer. Obviously, Messi wins the Balloon d'Or, not able to make the MLS playoffs. Now we're talking about your team. Is your team going to stay in? We're going to stay in the thing, right?
Right, we are.
All right.
Nice.
Thank you, JJ. Thank you, JJ Watt.
Why?
Appreciate it.
No chance.
All right.
Yeah, he did.
They win. They win
No
17 out of 18. They're in for sure, right?
Oh, yeah.
You never know.
Can we put that on a ticker? Owner of Burnley says, "You're damn right we are."
He promised.
Yes. Oh, it's
Oh, we
bulletin
forgot
board
to ask
for,
him
for
about
Gluten
his
Town.
co-owners.
Hey, Gluten Town's going to run that 10 times. Look at this dumb American saying his team's going to remain in the super duper league.
Yeah.
We forgot to ask about his co-owners, Dude Perfect, and how often that he spends time together with them watching games.
Can you call him back? We do need to know the Dude Perfect.
Wait,
They
a second.
own-
Tyler owns
Which
a piece
one?
of Burnley.
Which one?
All of them.
Well, Tyler, but yeah, all of them.
No, all of them.
They have their own piece.
Sure, but it's
Who's the ringleader?
it's
Tyler.
Tyler.
I watched Tyler throw a
Why
football
do you say it like that?
because that's his name.
His name.
Okay. Tyler.
I am so sick of all the disgusting name botches around here. You called the guy a wrong name for the Houston
No,
Texans.
no. I was told it was greener.
I have told you many times to quit trusting that Google Voice thing.
And then now you're talking about Tyler in a negative way. So JJ didn't answer. He started squatting.
Okay.
Of course, we're trying to talk about Dude Perfect. He can't
Try him
answer.
one more time.
All right, let's do that. Let's call him one more time. We'll wait.
Pretty cool.
So his team is in the biggest league right now.
Already?
He broke his arm. What'd you break?
This thing came broken. This
No,
thing
it
came
didn't.
broken.
No, it didn't.
Shoddy crap.
Definitely didn't come broken.
Bro, it literally just came out of the thing, and the thing's already.
Hold it up.
The head's
Let me see
still-
what happened.
The head's still
You break his
wobbles.
leg?
So,
just get some super glue, man. Stick it on there.
yeah, I'm crafty. I get it, but this thing shouldn't have showed up like this.
It shouldn't.
His feet are supposed to be in air. The guy's lost both his feet.
Maybe it's so you. Oh no, his foot's stuck in the.
The guy with no shoes was pissed till he met the guy with no feet. Now we got this guy here. It just goes right back in there. Perfect.
Oh, it did?
That's a life metaphor, AQ.
That's a great one.
You need to fucking remember that whenever you're starting to get sad down.
Nice, you.
It's a good one.
His head's so big, it broke his fucking legs, I think.
Too heavy.
And also because he didn't answer a call. This is embarrassing.
That's Houston.
So they're in the main league now, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. First time ever.
Got it.
Yeah, last time ever, too.
Whoa. For how long have they been there?
This is their first
10
year.
games.
They had a long stretch with their old coach, and then they got relegated a few years back.
Oh, they've been up in the
Oh,
Super
yeah.
Duper League before?
Burnley was a staple in the Premier League for years.
Oh, wow.
When? 1920?
No, just before this, actually. They were only down in the championship, I think, for 2 years before this.
Oh, so they suck right now? Joining us now, he's the owner of Burnley, and a guy whose bobblehead showed up here with completely broken. JJ Watt. JJ.
Yeah. I don't know what happened there.
Made in
I got
China?
more. I'll send you one.
Hey, I don't think we've ever got to the bottom of this or know this, and you should have told us this much sooner. Dude Perfect owns Burnley as well, and what do they do day to day to make Burnley better?
I mean, they have a massive following, and they share the Burnley message out to their following. They were over there for the first match of the season with me. I sat next to them for the first match.
Did you talk to Tyler? You talk to Tyler?
Yeah.
Did he give a motivational speech to the boys?
Do we got beef or what? I'm trying to figure out.
No, we love
we
it.
got? We got beef or we
Beef.
got
These dudes are selling out arenas. I got to debut a WrestleMania stage watching Tyler throw a football from the third level of a stadium all the way down into a bucket at the bottom. I love it.
Yeah, they've done a great job like promoting the brand. Obviously, over here in America, they got we got their logo on the front of our kids' kits, jerseys. So
smart.
Yeah, it's great.
Do you
nice
get to
golf
hang
cart
out
back
with them?
there?
Oh yeah, all right. If you want to transition,
I kind of want to see that golf cart. I'm sorry.
I want to talk about him hanging out with Dude Perfect, but that is a sweet golf.
The estate is
I
that
can't
big.
figure out how the hell to get my head out of the way. What? This is
Well,
like an optical illusion.
I get it.
I'm screwed up here.
No, it's good. It's a good cart. You drive that around the neighborhood out there?
It was my wife's birthday present to me. Yeah.
Yes.
Nice. Yeah.
Dude Perfect ever been on that golf cart?
Not yet. No, I'm sure there's some. Oh, there's the lawnmower guy. Gotta love it. Landscaper comes at the same time every day, the exact time I'm on the show.
That's good consistency. We love that.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
This is a
Jake,
joke.
Another one?
Said a bunch of fucking lemons.
What the hell?
Who made those?
You broke that shit in the box.
I
beforehand.
did not. I
You
just
hate
had
me
to.
nice and fat.
I had to
he did.
unsticker it.
He broke them both.
The
I gotta tell
He
you
opened
this.
it like an eight.
I went back because I got 6 billion mentions now, which is awesome. Your fans are insane. They're the best. So I watched the video. You throwing the ball. I literally watched it 4 times and was like, "Was that pre-recorded?" When they switch cameras, is that shit pre-recorded?
You thought that was a fugazi? Thank you, ZD baby. All right, we got a couple more here. Let's see if any of these.
Jeez Louise.
Right out of the back. This is too. I mean, this is unbelievable. What is this all about?
This is what happens when Easterby gets fired.
Yep.
Yeah, Easter. Did you and Easterby know each other?
Yes.
God bless you.
How was that?
You lucky son
JJ, how
of
come
a
you don't have the
bitch.
same energy when we?
Are you kidding me?
No way. No way.
Oh, I see it.
What the fuck?
What a joke.
Brother, it's 3 JJs.
What the?
You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me.
No way, it's the full
Yo.
Yeah, I got
bag.
Baker's dozen.
How many do you have? What is this?
I think it's supposed to be one for all the boys, but instead
You
we got
bought
no
them all.
JJs. We got none.
We got 0.
It's just a bad batch.
Are they all like
Yeah,
this?
they
though?
sent us all the fucking broken
We
ones.
seen Mighty Ducks yet or what? What's going on?
I'm halfway through it. I'm halfway through it.
You stopped?
Yeah.
right.
I had to make a deal with my kids, actually. Like, hey,
What
give
the
me 30
fuck
minutes.
does that mean?
I made a deal with the
Oh
give me
my
30
God.
Another
Oh
one.
my God.
That's absurd. What are the chances?
Oh, that one's good.
There we go. Oh, no, it's not.
Yeah, no.
I think you have to assemble it.
No, it's clearly already been painted.
Yep, it's supposed to be.
Say some assembly required.
Is there a little like peg to put his foot on?
Yeah, there's something to be said there. There's a joke in there.
Yeah.
There's
only 100 behind it.
Joke.
Bobbleheads are kind of like Burnley.
All right.
Yeah, that was.
That's what I was just trying to finish the line that you started.
Yeah.
I'm very disappointed. I thought I was going to have a J.J. Watt bobblehead right up here, but guy can't stand up. Guy can't stay healthy.
There it is.
Not even blood.
Right there. There it is.
All right, J.J. Watt.
Like Night at the Roxbury.
Thank you, J.J. Thank you, J.J. What's that all about?
That's horse shit.
And they lose to the Panthers?
What's going on here? Seriously. What is going on here? That's a phenomenal thing.
It's an embarrassment.
So as they were packing him, we're like, fuck this guy right at the shins.
Maybe. Probably.
And then put him in the box? I don't understand it.
There's a chance.
I've never seen anything like that. That was not a planned thing.
Oh.
I opened a lot of boxes, and I got a bunch of shit everywhere.
Now I just kind of want like the head. Like, can we just chop the head off of the thing and put it on
like the torso and put it out on the body like the buffalo.
Yeah.
Just put it like.
Yeah.
Bingo.
Maybe.
Willie. Boom.
Boom.
Oh,
There you go.
there it is.
He's always looking over you.
How long do we think that lasts?
Years.
Right there.
Maybe a long time because you try not to hit that screen too often.
What was that? AQ.
Don't be trying to rattle it. Okay, it's already rattled.
It's in Jurassic Park, okay?
Big
It's going
prick.
to stay forever now.
All right, speaking of AQ Shipley, there's only one thing we need to, two things, actually. There's two things we need to do before we go off and have the greatest Wednesday of all time this evening. It's get better and smarter at football.
Hell yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, a nice Wednesday tradition that has began. We will learn about the offensive line in the trenches, and we will also learn about the secondary and offenses. Ladies and gentlemen, first things first, in the trenches with AQ Shipley. Way to go, AQ.
Let's go. What do we got? What are we starting with? Thanks, guys.
Yeah, you have a great fit today.
Appreciate
Look
that.
at the boots.
Pants are a little loose.
I might wear those socks.
The calves stopped them.
He looks great.
What's he got? What type of belt is that? There, Burberry? Louis,
Yeah,
Louis
Hermes.
Oh, that's
You
Louis.
guys wear nice
Vuitton?
stuff.
Louis belt?
Wow.
Louis
Fancy.
V.
This guy's fancy.
This guy's a big deal.
He's got a professional shopper. He's on TV.
That's right.
What?
That's
He's
right.
lost a bunch of weight.
What?
And he's about to break down a man who's a defensive end that was potentially going to be traded, but nothing happened. Allegedly, Dallas Cowboys did not even really...
Go after this guy.
Didn't it? Allegedly. He was supposed to be a Cowboy. Everybody was saying he's going to be a Cowboy. He's going to be a Cowboy. Allegedly, that did not take place. And Jerry said, we have a pat hand to start yesterday.
Okay.
Derrick Henry remains with the Tennessee Titans with Will Levis at quarterback, we do assume.
He had a monster game. This guy's obviously going to be the guy moving forward. But check it out. We're going to focus a little bit on here. We're going to focus a little bit right here. We got a great A block up to the backer. But watch what happens when he goes back. Both the linebackers freeze and hold because they have to respect him. But here's what you love. That right there. Look at this right here. Now, instead of sending him all the way back, we cut this backside end. We get him cutting the backside linebacker. We get a great A block here. And you get an unbelievable split up the middle here with Derrick Henry.
Oh.
Wow.
Look at this monster hole right there.
Big
gaping hole.
I love it. I love it.
Downhill.
But the thing that's beautiful about it, if you go back to the beginning, if you watched the other night, Max Crosby chased these plays down from the backside all night long. Every time a team goes zone away. So here's what they do. They send the tackle out, and they get the backside cutoff going right here with the tight end in the backfield. It's awesome stuff. Tennessee did a great job this past week. Now we move to Cincinnati. Again, facing another really good defense. So how do we take advantage of them? They got dudes everywhere. They got guys that can get up the field, right? Okay, cool. We're going to sell the zone, but here's what we're going to do. When we block here, now we don't have to reach them. We're just going to reach, sell them, get them up the field, and seal everybody this way. They're all going to seal. When you watch the center jump through, he's going to seal him to this side. When he goes over the top, now he just runs them out. But we get the bend back because the tight end's coming back to cut the backside, get Bosa up the field, and there it is. You get a monster hole moving forward.
Is that normal for the motion to go to the side that they're also running to?
No, that's a lot of teams are starting to do that now, though, because now what happens, so here, when you get the motion here, they'll spot block it. So they'll know, hey, it's either a zone team or a man team. You'll see later with Seattle sends someone in motion. They know it's a man team, so they clear someone out of the space. In this case, it's a zone team. They motion back into it, and now they can spot block all the linebackers. So they just basically book him on the backside because they know what they're doing front side.
Mixon look good this week. You think it continues with us?
Look great. They look great. The offensive line looked great. This is a hell of a block by Volson at the front side guard, too. I mean, that block on a 2-eye is the hardest block in football, and he had to hold it for a long time.
2-eye.
2-eye, inside shoulder of the guard.
They could only run out of gun when
Right there.
Joey was hurt.
He's got to hold this block for a while. I mean, he's got the one-on-one block right there. Boom. And he's got to seal him into the inside. He keeps him to the inside. Look at that. That's incredible.
Power.
That's good horsepower.
Good horsepower.
That's good horsepower.
Is it a difference as an O-lineman when you're running from under center as opposed to shotgun?
100%. 100%. Yeah, it changes everything, especially because now you get the dotted back. With the dotted back here, if this play was run from over here, these guys would hold a heck of a lot quicker over here because with the cutback, he's going to be cutting back behind the center. Now he gets to the front side, which allows him to get set up there. These guys set up all their blocks there, and it holds him front side as well.
Boom. Got it.
Them getting on their block sooner is the benefit of being under center, too?
Absolutely. And the other thing that's crucial about this play, again, I love this play. We ran this a lot when I was in Arizona. It makes it easy on the offensive line. That's what we talk about all the time. When you got dudes across from you, it makes it easy. When you literally, if you have to reach a guy, it's hard as shit. When you can sell reach to get him to go there and then just seal.
67's got the hardest job, right?
He's got the hardest one because the play's cutting back behind him. So he's got to keep him there. If this guy gets back here, the whole play might be fucked because then if he gets back over here, now the play has to cut here and look who's the unblocked guy. Boom, he comes and makes the play.
Center does a hell of a job, too, getting up to Fred Warner.
Great job.
Teddy got the ball this week. I don't know if you guys saw it.
Really?
I saw him with the rock.
Yeah.
Drank a gallon of milk every single day his sophomore year of high school.
He's a dog.
To try to gain weight. Because his dad, who played in the NFL, said, you're not really fast and you're not really tall. So you're going to have to put some weight on, probably be an offensive lineman.
Yeah.
So he drank a gallon of milk every single day of high school his sophomore year.
Commitment.
Sick, puking all over the place.
Yep.
Weapon.
Worked out.
We asked him if it worked. He said, well, probably puberty too.
Couple things.
Yeah, I don't know if that would help, but he is committed to ball, loves ball. Indiana legend. And look at him downfield here. Love it.
Great job. Just taking him where he wants to go.
All right. We don't need to watch this.
Had to do it, boys. Had to do it. Hey, here, stop it real quick. So most teams run this with the tight end right here. It's a classic tight end on the line of scrimmage, single back draw, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 5 offensive linemen plus the tight end have the core 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Typically, the center ID is opposite where the tight end is. If the tight end's right here or here, that's the tight end's responsibility off the ball. Center is going to work to the guy opposite where the tight end is. So here we go. Now, a lot of guys, if center here, they can shoot through here, but you got Buckner. Buckner's a dog, right?
Yep.
We know he's a dog. Well, when he takes this inside move here, if that center just shoots through, he can blow up this play. But watch the patience by Eric McCoy, one of the best centers in the NFL. Put him back on Max Garcia at the left guard, and then climb and get the block at the linebacker. Kamara just, I mean, guys, come on.
Too easy.
Wow. Come on.
Jeez.
Come on.
Where's the grit?
It was a good play design.
Come on.
It was a good play design.
Great play design.
I love this, too. I love having the tight end in the backfield because a lot of times right here, he doesn't make this block, but you move him into the backfield, now he can just get straight downhill. It makes it almost like an ISO on the backer, right, AJ?
Yeah, I mean, look at that thing. Like from the jump, Kamara is straight downhill right at you. Like if you take one peek outside, whatever, see it, he's hitting his head on the goalpost, as coaches like to say.
The thing that's amazing, too, about Kamara, like watch this. You see how he's left here? He sets up the block for the center. That's the beautiful thing for these draws. If he hits it right here, now it gives the backer a chance to go here, but he puts him on the left side of McCoy and then cuts back to the right, knowing he's going to do hell of a block downfield by the receiver, too. Hell of a block.
Right off his head.
What a run, man.
Hell of a run.
Yeah.
They had a lot of good runs in that game.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I think they had 4
good pass.
Kamara, Taysom.
Where were you guys? Right around
Show
here?
young kids that.
Darren?
We were about 105 yards away.
Oh, we're on the other side? I thought that was right in our face. Kamara got one in our face, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Could be wrong.
Our defense is giving up a lot of points on a regular basis.
Yeah, it's fun though. That's what makes the games entertaining. So
But you
even though
scored
they're
more than
losing
20
a lot,
too.
Right?
Let's get away from our team. Let's get to another team.
We love watching this guy. Kenneth Walker is becoming one of the best young stars in this league. Let's watch this single block front side here. Now, check this out. When he puts him back on the center, every time you get a double team, now this guy's got to try and stay in this A gap. So when the defense, now see how he tries this, boom. Now he just runs them, and that creates the hole. We get the backside guard up to the backer, and then, oh, man, this is so pretty. When you watch inside zone, and here's the thing I'm talking about, by the way. We get the motion going here, and you notice it's man coverage. Yep. See how the DB's running with them? You just cleared. This was a 2-by-2 thing, so this guy would be back over here if they stayed in zone. But by doing this, knowing it's man coverage, you just cleared a guy to the play side, and now there's only one guy over there. You got one receiver making a single block on a corner out there, and then these two are working to him, and then boom, we get the cut back right there. You get a great block by the backside guard, getting up to the backside back or front side backer, and then we are.
Hey, D-Butt.
Yo.
Pause that. D-Butt, look at that. How tough is that if you're middle field safety right there to make that tackle? Are you serious?
Man, that's a nightmare. When I move and transition to free safety, these were the worst plays.
Oh.
That guy hits that first gap, and it usually happens like the first drive of the game. They hit that gap, and it's just you and him. You got to slow play it. You know, you can't take a shot, so you got to slow play and make an open field tackle against a guy who gets paid and drafted to break open field tackles against DBs his whole life. So, that's the toughest position right there to be in as a free safety.
I've been in that position one time with Antonio Brown, and
it's a bad position.
Yeah, he broke my ankles. I ended up on the ground, and he celebrated on the goalpost. Good tackle here, though. That's a good tackle here.
He took an angle.
Get him down.
Yeah, took an angle. Line up again.
Hey, they're playing good football out in Seattle. They are playing good football. Here, let me just talk about this real quick one more time. So this defensive tackle, when they face these combo blocks, see where I'm at right here. All right, there?
Straight ahead.
Straight ahead. There? Okay, perfect. So whenever they're facing this thing, he gets chipped, and then we call this a ricochet. So now this D tackle has to try and get back front side. Now watch the center accelerate and run this guy out.
Can you go back there? We're trying to get a hard count.
Give the hard count.
Got to get the cadence.
Wait, sir. It's wait, sir.
There it is. Okay, perfect. Let's go on 3. So then when the D tackle gets hit right here, he's going to get chipped by the guard, and then he's going to try and ricochet back front side. That's what you're seeing right here because he has to stay in this A gap right here, front side A gap. But look at the center get his head back front side. That is what makes the play. That is what makes the play. And then boom, you get the big cutback right behind it. That's it.
Beautiful.
That's it.
It is beautiful.
That was good cadence.
I love it.
Great cadence.
I love the cadence.
Got a couple kill shots here. Big bumps.
Here we go.
This one's big.
There's no DB.
We got a couple going right here in a row. We're focusing.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That doesn't.
Let's take notice of Tyler Biadice. I think it's
Biadice.
This show needs to stop. We need to start saying.
I love the pronunciation.
Tyler Biadice is actually way cooler.
I think it was Biadice, right?
Yeah, it's Biadice, but
Biadice. Okay, perfect.
Now
Check him get it started right here on the front side linebacker. No, we'll take a peek at it because it's a good one. We get a little peek right here, and boom, we put him down. Now watch this one on him.
Oh boy.
I'm just gonna we'll just let this thing go.
Fair.
Nothing.
Gotta go low.
Boom!
Kicked him in the face in the end.
Jeez. And then walks right by.
DB should be able to chop him down.
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying he's the next big time guard in this league. Tyler Smith, we've talked about him. He's been on this show before, but obviously one of the best duos was Zach Martin, but this dude is becoming an absolute fucking monster in this league. Look at him get downfield.
Look how he moves, though. Just look at that whole play. Like, you shouldn't be able to move like that when you're that big.
Who wants it?
Another Tyler.
Who wants it?
Target locked.
Boom.
I got 2. Yeah, both of them.
Yeah.
Hey, I give the DB credit, though, man. He at least he stuck his head in there.
Yes, he
you're
did.
right.
Never doing it again.
I think that's the O State guy too.
I wouldn't.
Is that Ohio State guy?
I think
Who is it?
I think
Biadice?
Is that Fuller?
Fuller.
Yeah,
Fuller.
Fuller.
Yeah. Good player.
Yeah, man. Sacrificing his body for the squad.
Yep.
That's a heck of a pancake.
Oh my God.
Jeez. They're just moving bodies.
Here's a good one.
We saw this guy a couple weeks ago, too. This guy's a mountain of a man, Landon Dickerson. Jonathan Allen, one of the best D tackles, one of the strongest guys I've ever played against. Watch him move him here.
Every man get a man.
Almost takes out his teammate.
Every good man get 2. Last 2 plays we see. One dude taking out 2 dudes. Doesn't almost take this guy out.
Boom.
Oh,
shit.
I mean, that is throwing him.
That's a shot put.
That's, what, 180 million in D tackles right there?
Yeah.
Oh, boy, right
Yeah.
to the knee.
Good
Jeez
Lord.
Euro linemen are mean.
Just moves him out of the hole,
And
which is
pain.
awesome.
They are mean cusses.
Aren't they?
Kelsey sets this thing up with a little jab right there. You see that little jab of leg get swim over him because he thinks he's going to get contact from Kelsey. Puts him a little bit off balance. And then, boom.
He'll kill your teammate's knee.
Oh.
I'm
Almost
happy.
took him out.
I'm happy you offensive linemen love that stuff.
Right?
Oh, we got a good one coming up. Sorry, Foxy. We got a good one coming up.
This one. Holy shit.
Yeah, this one's tough.
Raiders made it.
Oh, baby.
Aiden Hutchinson, right?
Boy.
Oh, no.
Meet Dylan Parham.
Welcome to the league, Sean.
His signature move.
Signature.
Oh, boom.
Night.
That's a good one.
That was a good one.
Oh, my
Wow.
I love Aiden.
All right, so here, let's just talk about this because I showed Foxy this earlier. This happens to him a couple times in this game.
Oh, really?
Happens to him a couple times. So whoever his defensive line coach is, they're obviously clearly teaching. Look, as soon as he gets even with the quarterback, he always spins back.
Always.
Always. He will never run the hump, and he will never take the inside move. So as soon as he gets even, he goes back underneath. Clearly a point emphasis amongst the Raiders this week. The only point emphasis they focused on all week because their team fucking stunk.
Oh,
But
whoa. That is
I mean, as soon as he spins, lights out.
Killed.
Oh.
Lights out.
Was that helmet to helmet?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
definitely a
Yeah, it was.
right under the
Hey
chin.
Jay, we're not doing that, all right? All right,
Doing what,
AJ,
Jay?
we're not bringing up fines again, all right?
I mean, he's sitting here thinking he's got a good move on
He's
this
a
guy.
defenseless. Is he defenseless,
Oh,
though?
yeah.
Couldn't he be considered defenseless?
Yeah.
And he's engaged,
He
too.
spins.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Don't come in the trenches if you don't want to spin back inside.
Oh, my God. Aiden, we hope you're okay, Aiden.
He popped up.
Should have considered just doing
it
that
happened to him
to
a
Jimmy
couple
G.
times in this game.
AQ, same game. Max Crosby, how good is that guy?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, he's insane.
Yeah, he's having a monster year. He's the most underrated defensive player in
He's
football.
violent.
Yeah, real bummer. He's going to be in Las Vegas.
He's a part of the building block.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. It's going to be awesome, but his prime years.
I did want to see him moved.
In a rebuild?
Antonio will
Hey,
bring it back.
congratulations, AQ. That was really good.
Good shit, AQ.
I don't know if you heard TJ Lang the other day say, yeah, we're trying to break ribs.
Yeah, we are.
You offensive linemen are just
Big
Scumbags.
slabs. Big slabs.
They are, aren't they?
Scumbags.
Admitted scumbags.
Yeah, all of them, just wide open about it. Hey, DB, this is good news. You know what's good news?
What's that?
We're about to get better.
Hell
Let's
yeah.
do it. Let's do it.
Let's
Mic
get better.
check, mic check.
1, 2, 1, 2.
Oh, first one, Deron Bland. Mike good?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, bet. Deron Bland, young corner. Obviously, his role has expanded a ton with Trevon Diggs being out. This is him played a lot of inside corner last year. This year playing more outside and still being a ball hawk. Was a ball hawk as a rookie, seeing patience. And this is for DBs, this is tough. Playing these stacks. But I mean, that was a bad throw. This is Matt Stafford. This is what he's going to give you a couple of those. But playing these stacks, being on the same page.
Got won a Super Bowl.
If you rewind, no, he's a good player. Even that year, I think he might have led the league in pick sixes. But yeah, he can make all the throws. And when you are that type of guy, you know, you make some mistakes. Far hash, throwing an out, breaking route late. That's dangerous in this league. But if you wind it all the way back as far as you can, you'll see the communication from Jordan Lewis. Important for nickelbacks, for slot defenders. You have to take ownership of the communication. You get that cleaned up, and there's no confusion. As soon as he goes out there with Cooper Kupp, he's going to tap his ass and say, hey, it's whatever that signal is, either that means I got the low guy or I got this guy on the line of scrimmage. The communication is there. It's clear. Verbal and nonverbal, depending on your home, on the road, verbal, nonverbal communication as DBs. And then you can let it rock, and then you get
What
those
if he just
matches.
had a little itch on his butt?
Yeah.
No,
That if he farted.
No, he knows. They practice this. We talk about it in a meeting because obviously quarterbacks see this too. So sometimes we got to change it up. They may have somebody on the sideline with some shades on, record some shit. You got to switch it up from time to time. But them being on the same page, that's 80% of the battle is knowing what you're doing. There's no confusion on the matches, and then just being in good position, picking this off. Three pick sixes in the first 8 weeks of this season. So most people don't have 3 pick sixes in their career. So for this young kid to already have 3, an absolute ball hawk first quarter. So that's this game was a boat race from the beginning, and this was obviously a part of it.
Yeah, the pick six, and then there was a block punt, and then there was a big return.
Yeah.
And that's all she wrote.
Yeah. You can't
It's
be
26-3.
Yeah.
Cardinals saying for quarterbacks, you cannot be late to the flat. especially from the opposite hash.
Yeah, he got one on Mac earlier, so that one didn't really count.
Yep. Second quarter, 2-minute warning. Beginning of the 2-minute warning. Jalen Ramsey, the return, 94 days away, got back at home against the Patriots, divisional opponent. This is a savvy move by him. So Mac Jones, they're going to have a little fake screen and go set up, and it looks great. It looks just how they drew it up to Mac Jones. Yep, pre-snap. If you pause it, kind of pause it. So right now you get the fake. You got Jalen Ramsey being ran off. So he thinks this guy right here, who he's responsible for, is a flat defender. You're responsible for out and up, but also you want to rally and tackle this guy, right? But that's really that tackles to make. You wait for that ball to be thrown. You rally and get it. But his eyes are back there. So to Mac Jones, this looks perfect. It's just how they drew it up on Friday, scripting for success. But with vision, as a veteran, savvy veteran, he sees it, he feels it. Deep third defender, gets his eyes back, boom, foot in the ground. Nope, ball's in the air. My ball, get as many yards as possible. You see him right there. That's almost like that free safety, just trying to slow play it. And he got the job done because that could have easily been a pick six. But what's the young boy's name, 81?
Pop Douglas.
Pop Douglas did his job. You'll see him right as soon as it's picked up, he literally just starts backpedaling, playing it almost like a kicker or a punter once a long return is going. But great savvy veteran move right here by Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, I mean, Pop Douglas, Cole Strange is shot out of a cannon up there. Are you kidding me? Look at that
he
guy
is
go.
Yeah.
Are you shitting me?
He's an athlete.
Get that guy the
Hey,
football.
come on. That's a loaf right there. That's a loaf.
That's insane.
Put him at fullback.
We saw it earlier in the year. He is athletic. He got that first down, remember?
Beast.
He's hauling ass.
Look at him move. Talk about knee drive, arm swing. Are you shitting me?
That's what gets you drafted early.
Yeah,
That's an explosion.
That's first round effort right there.
Pop saved the touchdown right there.
Kendrick
So
Bourne also blew his ACL, so
good on
it was
him.
a
bro.
great game for the Patriots.
A big time play from Jalen Ramsey in his return.
Welcome back.
Yep, giving Mac Jones the pitcher he wants, slow playing it and turning that ball over. Boop.
That doesn't get talked about with Mac enough. He cares about the vets across the league, not just in the New England locker room.
Welcome back, Jalen. The game's better when you're playing.
Welcome back,
Missed you,
Five.
buddy. Here's a pick.
Let me give you a
Xavier
little
Howard coming back
confidence.
too this week, Gumps. Oh, here we go. Bracket coverage again on. I don't know if this is a man-to-man double or
What
if it's
the
a
fuck?
quarters coverage.
Right.
But it's
Back-to-back pages?
But
What
it's
the fuck?
bracket coverage. So I got them outside. You got them inside. Nobody has to run through. It's the same thing that happened against the Eagles. They give you a quick motion. Actually, rewind it back a little bit. It's going to be a quick, typical Dolphins. This is after Tua had already got picked off early in the game. Had a third and long.
I took my headphones out. I couldn't even fucking hear.
Had a third long. You got a reroute on Tyreek Hill. Duggar got in the window, got a pick.
Not good enough to make the program.
They were they lost.
Son of
they
a
lost.
bitch.
They lost. I don't put losers on the program.
That's not true.
So shift, motion, and then boom. You're gonna see both of these guys hesitate with this motion coming here, and you can't hesitate with 10. So right here, it's already over. He's
bye-bye.
He's leaving.
Oh,
Great
boy.
ball.
That's not fair.
I mean, just like this shit looks like it's in fast forward, but as a DB, like this got to be priority 1, 2, and 3. Like we got 10 over here. Like fuck that motion. Fuck all the play action. Like we got 10.
J.C. Jackson just
Like
got
what are we
there.
doing? Boop.
They just got there.
Why is he always open? That's what they say. Why is he always open?
Anybody could do that.
If you're gonna double him, get some hands on him and have a safety directly over the top. Yeah. And this is the Hill effect. This is when he's not getting the ball. This is the same one?
Yeah.
Okay, same one. We go to the next one, Waddle.
Well, Marte Mapu, the safety, is just a sweet rookie boy too. He's not some vet.
Got baptized. Welcome to the league, bro.
He wasn't even
Eyes
close.
in the backfield, you're done.
Welcome to the league, bro. That shit, it looks fast on film. On the field, it's even 5 times fast.
I think Jason and Travis Kelce were talking about it on New Heights pod about how
different.
a lot of people get caught with Tyreek. Just like watch him on field, you're like, all right, he's fast. Yeah. But a lot of people in the NFL feel like they're fast.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the fucking NFL.
Yeah,
I ran 4.3 at the combine too.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's talking about this, and then one time you just see him kind of go. It's different.
It's different when you're running with a guy. You feel that speed. It's like Deshaun Jackson. Like he was fast, but like on the field, like it was just he would hit different gears on the field. He's that same type of player. Now, obviously,
good play. This better be a good fucking play.
Yeah, it's a great play for the Dolphins. Right here, man-to-man coverage. Once again, pause it. You get motion to a stack, just like I talked about with the Cowboys plays, the verbal and nonverbal communication, knowing that even going into the game, because this ain't new. This is what the Dolphins do. Every snap, you're going to have to deal with motions or shifts. So these corners got to be on the same page of how are we going to handle this stack when it happens. We know it's going to happen. Both of these guys get confused. They both go to Tyreek. Jalen Waddle right up the seam. Once again, play action, right up the seam, throw it up. Waddle actually tweeted this, retweeted and was like, hey, this is the Hill effect. So, yeah, hey, we got 10 covered, but now 17.
Big. I mean,
don't want
I mean, people aren't talking about the illegal motion, too. Tyreek Hill's running towards the line of scrimmage right when the ball snapped.
He's not.
Yeah,
no,
he
he's
is.
not. He timed it up perfectly.
Yeah, he is.
Just like that Kayvon Thibodeaux.
Right there, boom.
Just like that Thibodeaux get off.
He's curling this thing up right
boom.
now.
Nope, he's still going to let him. Yeah.
No, that's illegal.
Still going to let him.
I think he's going backward.
That's illegal.
Yeah.
21 personnel and a two-man route.
Might be going
Yeah.
backwards.
Two-man route.
Shut up.
That's it. Play action. You get the play action. You don't even need to suck these guys up. Just boom, bam, pause.
Well, you could, though.
You could suck them
up.
Pause.
That's why the Patriots are up there.
You
Sorry, they like to get sucked up.
21 personnel, 31 as well.
They can't be getting sucked up with Tyreek Hill.
No, it's Miami.
Or Waddle.
It's Miami. You get sucked up when you go to Miami.
Yeah, I get it. Second floor getting shoulder rubs and tootsies. We ain't talking about Waddle and Tyreek Hill getting right behind you when you're getting sucked up.
No, but they're waddling their dongs into situations where they're getting sucked up.
That's the problem.
Was sweet. Second quarter, 10, first and 10. Mahomes, once again, I know he was sick. He had IVs in his arm.
Yeah.
Probably
Almost dead.
4-degree temperature. He got out there.
106, I heard.
They got
Really? He should have been in the hospital.
Yeah.
So this is kind of similar
outside, so he's all right.
to the Duggar interception that didn't make the tape, but when you're playing against these primary receivers like a Kelsey, like a Hill, even in your zone coverages, we got to make sure we get a hand or we stay right underneath Travis Kelsey. Be aware of where 87 is at all time. McMillan does a great job here, just sinking in that window, filling him. You got the middle run through, you got a deep safety behind, but just filling that seam route. Because of the seam route, you're trying to bend it out and get right behind that seam dropper. Did a great job just reading the eyes. Honestly don't know what Mahomes saw that he thought he could fit this ball, kind of past him in between this defender and that defender. But great job.
Yeah, you didn't even know how many people are on the field.
And it kind of looks like 87 is just going through emotions.
Well,
trying to find. That's what 87 does.
He no one to show off.
He finds the hole. He finds the hole. 87 finds the hole in the coverage.
Done.
I love love. This is saying that there's no love in the stadium. So what's he got to try
I think the big thing not being talked about. Look how similar that orange looks to that red.
True.
Yeah, you're right.
This guy had IVs all night. I mean, it was probably everything was blending together. What's that?
No, vision a little blurry, red, oranges.
Yeah, knees
a lot of men are kind of colorblind too. So
arms are heavy.
Sorry, what?
There's vomit on his sweater already. Mom, spaghetti. He was nervous.
Great job here, young
But on
fella.
the surface, he looked calm and ready to drop bombs. But he kept on forgetting that this guy just
boom, way to sink,
so
way to
quick.
feel it.
Yeah,
Get
what are you
back
gonna
in
do?
there. Great feel. Great feel for it.
Need him to be healthy again.
Big turnover.
Yeah.
He'll be all right. He'll bounce. He'll go out and throw for 400
don't a lot of
this
athletes go to Germany to get fixed? So that's probably going to be good for him.
Yeah, Chiefs Dolphins in Germany, by the way.
Yeah.
A lot of people aren't happy.
I believe Orlovsky's in the booth, right?
He is.
Yeah, with
Rich
McCourty.
Eisen and
Jason McCourty and Rich Eisen.
He's going to be sick.
There we go. D-Hop, one of his 3 touchdowns. This is a 61-yarder with Will Levis in the gun. It's going to be that kind of dig and go, pump and go. You're going to be baiting up this safety back here.
Got a P dropper.
Oh, yeah. Boop. So he's going, give him that little head nod. Boop. And it's a great ball.
Gotcha.
Great ball. You got to be willing to throw it. Obviously, you're going to dial it up, but you got to have a quarterback that's willing to throw it, that has the arm to throw it. And this is just how they dialed it up, just how they drew it up. 2nd and long, 2nd and 11. So kind of a get back on track down, young quarterback. You're not probably expecting a double move right here. But here you go. You get it high-low. So this is a route that they have all over their film. Run a little hook route, run a 6 behind a dig route. So, boom, we got a little change up off of it. So good job by the offense dialing up.
How many touchdowns?
Good job by
How many
Will
touchdowns
Levis
do you
doing
got?
That's 3, baby. Hat trick.
What do you think?
Hop trick.
What do you think of
called-
72's drop on that coverage? What do you think of 72's drop?
72.
We did your segment, asshole.
See 72's drop right here? Yeah, right
Boom,
there.
here?
Yeah, yeah. What do you think of his drop?
I think he should be rushing the quarterback.
No, check his drop out. It's a
That's
good
what
one.
I think.
Oh, good jab.
Look out.
Jab.
Don't come across the middle.
Hey, 8-man drop. Hey, he's doing his job. He's doing his job. He's taking away that low hole.
Okay.
Great body position. Opened up. Got his eyes back on the quarterback.
He was trying to talk shit.
Yeah.
Two guys rush the passer on that one.
Yeah, so you got two guys rushing the edge and one guy stay like I mean, yeah, you got 8 guys in
time for a double
coverage
move.
and no, so 3 guys deep. Great job for a double move because you're gonna have
Nothing
time.
was coming in here though. Will knew that.
No, yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
A lot of bodies in there.
You didn't even want to.
A lot of stacks today, D-Butt. A lot of stuff coming off stacks, bunches. We know that's tough to defend.
That's tough to defend. That's why you need that communication beforehand, and obviously know the tendencies. Speaking
this
of,
is another one.
another stack. Thank you, AJ. That's
Point guys got to you got him. Point guys got to get up and jam, right?
Point guy. Yep. So boom, pause it. So this is actually going to be. I don't know if it's man or cover 3, but with Jamar Chase, it's going to be another fake screen. He's going to run out to this corner and pretend like he's blocking and then roll up. And it's the first play right after a turnover. I believe, I forget which interception this was, but sudden change, take a shot right at the end zone. Once again, you pump that screen. So you're thinking Jamar Chase is going out, kind of faking a block, runs right up the seam. Do you have him? Do I come off and tackle this guy because I'm closer? Do I stay with my guy? Is this my guy now because he's blocking me?
Man.
That I've been in those situations. That's tough. That's tough. That's tough. A lot of times these are ones you just got to get beat by, and you're like, all right, if this happens again, this is how we're going to play it. This is tough. This is a good offense playing with the rules. And once again, on a sudden change, when you're in this part of the field, offenses want to get in the end zone right now. Take a shot at the end zone, get in our best player. Now, you know, you're going to have Jamar Chase blocking on the screen. I'm sure they do at times. But you got to know, once again, where's one? We got to take care of one first. We can rally and tackle Boyd. Even
He
if it's
starts
a
going that
tackle.
way.
Yeah, they're both. Yeah, so he's bubbling, and his eyes are there. His eyes are there. So they'll talk about it after, I'm sure. But that's a good play design, though. Good offensive play design in a stack. 3rd and 3. Well, 3rd and 4. Jamal Adams, talk about it all the time, in the box. Don't like him in coverage. If I'm calling plays for him, let me get him creating havoc somewhere in here. He's going to bring the pressure. He's going to get a deflection off of off his helmet, and then you're going to have Julian Love rally and get this tips and overthrow. So Julian Love is all the way on the other side of the field. He's trying to throw it quick here, timed up the blitz perfectly, right in the gap, get a hand up, tips and overthrows, go and get it. You got to take advantage of those. And that was a big, big, big point in the game for the Seattle Seahawks defense. They had another opportunity where they came out, I believe it was like 40 seconds left maybe, and the Browns had a couple timeouts and no completions, almost an interception.
Look at their
first
eyes.
down, second down.
Look at their eyes,
Yep.
D-Butt.
Yep.
Sorry about that. Underneath, especially Seattle, like the eyes on the quarterback. Like tips and overthrows.
Yep.
It's like all they talk about in Seattle and places like that whole Pete Carroll system.
Mhm.
Like eyes on the QB, tips and overthrows, got to have them, they always say.
Yep. And right here, you know you're not going to get to the quarterback. This is just as good as getting a hand up. Just jump up.
Is this as close to the Legion of Boom as they've ever been?
I mean, they can be. They don't have the reps yet. Like Legion of Boom was super talented, but it was so much with them where coming into – because they did, like AQ said, they played a lot of the same shit. You know, and a lot of people tried to copy it. A lot of the same shit over and over and over again, switch up a little dropper here and there. But when you get that continuity with each other, these stacks, the motions, we already know how we're going to handle it. There's no confusion. We don't even have to talk about it. I could just look at you and know how we're going to play it. So they have the talent, but they don't have that continuity yet with each other. But, I mean, it could be because I think their combo of corners are better. Their cover guys are better than the Legion of Boom was.
Damn.
Legion of Boom was just collectively on the same page.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
They don't have the front either.
He drops his head into this thing.
Wow.
They just traded for him. Yeah. They just
And Randy.
got him. But yeah, that front with Bennett and
Almost meant
Averill
to.
on that?
Julian Love coming at you.
Clark as well, right? They just got, or they
Frank Clark. Yep.
Mhm.
Frank
Yep.
Clark.
That's what Pete Carroll wants to do. Get after you. Have good eyes.
Genius.
He did it on
Tips and
purpose like he's
overthrow.
Messi.
Yeah,
Cristiano Ronaldo.
True.
Yeah.
He
He
headbutted.
actually said, yeah, learned this one from Messi. Diggs another ball hawk
That's what he
back
said?
there. Yeah, he said it. Learned this from Messi.
And he can't even get in the MLS playoffs.
Boom. What a joke.
Hey, great job, DB.
All right, D-Butt.
Really good work, AQ Shipley. Really solid stuff.
Good job, Kush.
You guys did better than these bobbleheads did making it.
That's tough.
A little durable. I got 3 dead Jakes.
You should raise how many people JJ has to give money to.
Oh, because of his bobbleheads being broke? 10 people, $500 already happened today. I think there's one thing that has to happen before the week ends.
Absolutely.
All right, we already had one giveaway, D-Butt, but
oh shit, is he putting?
Statistics tell us we're probably only going to have one
for
giveaway
sure
by the end of this
You
thing.
sure you don't want AQ button? I saw him on there earlier.
Yeah, that's why we don't. Darius,
you're dressed for golf.
Come on, D-Butt.
D-Butt, listen.
D-Butt looks nice.
Yes, he's also working out a little bit more now that he's back in the Hawk House, I believe. Beginning of the season, you could tell he wasn't in the gym. He was on the golf course for a while. Now he's kind of tightened it up. He has moved 3 feet closer to the hole than where he started at. But we appreciate
it. A little bit more.
There you go.
There you go. The
All
black
right,
dog.
with the mummy behind you there, bringing good luck. There is 7 balls. All you got to do is make 3 into that hole over there. And if you do, another 10 people will win $500. AQ Shipley has a golf course in his backyard. AQ, any tips for Darius who has struggled with his green mightily?
Pick a line and putt it through the ball. Don't stop the stroke. That's it.
That was really good.
Never stop the
AQ
stroke.
actually almost broke one of those windows. He was chipping on this thing earlier today.
Yeah, I did hear about that. Appreciate you doing that, having zero respect for the Thunderdome as a whole. But nonetheless, 3 made putts here, 10 people, $500. D-Butt!
Oh,
good confident stroke though.
Yeah,
that is a good confidence
It
stroke.
is.
Hit that thing off the green into a sand trap if we're at a nice green, but a nice course. But that does not matter. Just 1 miss. Need to go 3 of 6 now. No problems at all for Darius J. Butler. Great everything.
Oh, no.
he
He's
called.
got the end.
No.
Little pump
How you
fake.
have to do that?
Little pump
On the
fake.
second ball.
Drained.
Yeah, we knew that one wasn't going in, but this one is going to be the one where it gets started. All Darius has got to do is make 1. Then he'll learn the line, he'll learn the touch, and then he'll rattle off 3 in a row, and 10 people will win $500. D-Button, some fresh Air Forces.
Oh,
Is that a lip?
Burn the edge.
It counts.
Currently 3 for 24 on this green, keeping track of the last couple weeks. The stats are up on the marquee, I do believe.
No.
We have analytics. Game revolves around analytics.
What?
3 of 24 up
Is that
there.
accurate? That's not accurate.
It is.
I think it is. It certainly got to a point where we did not expect it to be this bad. But if he makes this one, he'll make the next 2.
Oh,
Another lip?
That's 3 of 25. It's the same lip.
Yep.
All D-Butt's got to do is go 3 for 3. He's gone 3 of 25 in his last 28. But if he rattles off these 3, 10 people will win $500.
Come on, D-Butt.
Darius, for the people, you've learned the course. You've learned the hole.
come on.
The mummy's wishing you well, as are the people that are viewing this show and us as a collective group.
Got it.
All right.
Nope.
That was good effort.
That
There you
was
go. 0 for 6. 0 for
Make that
7.
go in.
All right. Thought those last 2 maybe go in. It's all right, buddy. Got a lot of season left. A lot of season left.
Guy plays a lot of golf, huh?
Butler Birdie's going to be tough to get those. You can't roll a putt in. But if you have good enough irons, you can be just like Scotty Scheffler. And that's the way Darius J. Butler plays. And we can't thank you enough for joining us on this glorious Wednesday. Safe travels, D-Butt. We will see you back here on Saturday. AQ, thank you for stopping by. Great in the trenches today. Great in the trenches today. Big shout out to Kirk Herbstreit for stopping by in the middle of all his meetings, JJ Watt, and obviously the NHL Commissioner, Gary Bettman. Watch some hockey. It's an incredible sport, especially on these nights where maybe NFL and big-time college football isn't happening. But with that being said, Maction's back. There's a lot of great stuff every evening. We appreciate you for following along with us. We'll be back tomorrow here, and then Friday I'll be live in Alabama, and then we have Saturday's MegaCast happening where we're doing a Red Zone Frenzy night.
Yeah,
Should be fun.
Should be fun.
Reese Davis is hosting that, so a real professional will be in here, which is great news for all parties. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. Like, for instance, Darius, you'll make the next putt.
For sure.
Might not be true, but
3 of 27, says the boys in the back, which seems to be an accurate stat. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.